so that we can break this first layer of defense as quickly as possible. That's my expectation. We saw Kate being removed, we saw Ace being removed. I anticipate Bandit as well.
They got rid of the mirror, so they can't really trick IT. It's going to shut down the side of the map. Going to make it a lot harder for DC to contest that wall.
Oh gosh, no. Is it working now?
Our first map is done,
All right, cool.
but to kick off our series and to get more in depth into how these two teams and their legacies on the line are going to shape up, we've got our casters standing by. It's Death and Pengu.
Thank you very much, Rain Day. Yeah, it's about time to get kicking into the quarterfinals here at the Esports World Cup. Pengu, this is already the play-ins group stage, and I gotta say,
dude, can these guys just like start to like play the game? I don't get why they haven't started the game yet. Now just was supposed to start at 9.
Let's go! Kid in the candy store, but it's going to be a tough match going up against the major champions.
But it might not be the end. I think that's the most exciting part about this entire match with DC and Weibo. They legitimately could take down the current major champions, but it's not going to be easy. And I saw the players, you know, doing their prep work. I saw Golden looking at these boys, infusing them with confidence.
Try to go for a spawn peek.
First round takes down J9O right off the whip from that spawn peek attempt, and that right there is shutting down DC's confidence and gaining Weibo and much of their own.
Yeah, huge opening pick. I don't know if that was a spawn pick intentional from J9O, but he was caught by the window very early on the Azami, an operator that has regenerative utility.
Exactly.
So J9O is not getting the full value out of that Azami whatsoever. One of the most pivotal operators, especially in the late round on these defenses, especially because, Pengu, do my eyes deceive me? Have we gone to the kitchen bomb side on the first round?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Weibo might have learned something from Wildcard, where you start in the weakest bomb side. Or sorry, DC has learned something from Wildcard from NA. You start in the weakest bomb side and kind of work your way into a stronger and stronger position. And it's a matter of throwing a curveball, right? You go into your game with your match prep expecting they're going to go top floor, the most common bombs that they work out to basement and then tertiary. You kind of remove that prep work, throw them that curveball, and make the players find for in-game adaptation rather than relying on prep work from the coaching staff and the analyst. So losing J9O this early on that regenerative operator of the Azami is actually going to be even more damaging because they're a much weaker bomb site statistically.
Yeah, but of course this bomb site, it is weaker in theory, but if you can bunker down and stay alive for as long as possible, it does become difficult. The attack can stall out. However, that hasn't happened so far. Weibo, while they are focusing on the vertical game, they've almost killed Faults, a lot of damage taken, and as you say, the Capital fire is still there. However, Kino is on for a flank, spotted briefly. Weibo seem to be dotting all their I's and crossing all their T's.
The only scary part is that if they can clear Faults with, you know, that fire from Capital, for example, the only real damage left on the board, by getting rid of those Womai magnets, that can literally win them the round. The Clash is the only stopping power for the plan to be successful. And then we saw Kino earlier try and go for a flank attempt, but that too was figured out by the drone work.
This is a great position to be in here for Weibo. However, DZ retaliate. They fight back and they kill the most important operator here in that Capital that was meant to finish off the Clash. However, Hoven can get the job done with his DMR instead.
Numbers playing Roblox and listening to Mommy ASMR.
What a big
wait,
one tap though.
That's not him.
That's
not
from
the one
Kino, not from Newers. But Speakeasy going down does put Weibo back on the back foot.
Good for you, Dalen. Good for you, bro. Good for you.
Windows, not a favorable spot to be in, and last guy's gonna go for hash drop. Gotta hit their shots.
It's not likely to work as the gadget does get impacted
shot
by
DZ
Kino.
comes back,
it's a
right?
last-ditch attempt to get into the bomb site. DZ.
I don't know if you guys saw, but J9O got first pick off a spawn peek. So it was a 4v5 for, it was a 4v5
they
for
always
DC.
have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. There's always these small moments to around where they have different ways of playing it. And we saw early on,
Dylan, I heard that
that's going to be the win condition, right? Try and play the game of disruption.
One of my other viewers had tornado warnings and like tornadoes.
Then he dies eventually.
Is it that type of season?
And then it's a matter of understanding where the attacker is actually entering from. Have a guy watch the hatch from Soda Machine. Have a guy watch the window from the corner of the bomb side. Now we're locking out the attackers who are in very poor positions to take a fight in their favor, and they make a 3v3 actually go much more on their side, despite being on a weaker bomb side.
Yeah, no refrags there from Weibo of any of those pushes that came out from DZ, the retaliative peaks, and what's more, I think particularly losing the Sens gadget. Once that got impacted as it was tossed down, you just can't safely drop down that hatch. You can't aim down sights while falling down the hatch, and once you do land, there are feet holes in that wall, which means the defenders will see him, and he's just completely shut down. Very fast time to kill in this game. So yeah, you can't afford to be holding on to a hope and a dream that you can just drop the hatch and make something happen. Not in this matter, not with that utility to support it.
But I will say, that was a very successful attack from Weibo Gaming. They got all their steps accomplished, right? Top floor control, opening pick, verticality, deal with the clash. They just didn't get to a proper bomb site execute. But they got into a position where they could go for an execute. And I think that actually is going to be a big win for them. Yes, it's a round loss, but they're starting off on the right side of a loss. They weren't like getting spawn peak continuously, couldn't breach the wall, so they could get the vert done. The right operators, the right utility, the C4 tossed out, either shot or sapped, either way, not successful. And this is what Iconic spoke about on the disc, right? When you're banning the wall denying operators,
whatever you think.
You're gonna get this mini game between the C4, the Bandit, the Tubra, the Maverick, and there's like 1,000 ways it can play out.
6:30.
For the attackers, Hobbin is playing the Maverick, trying to either open the wall. That was too risky, but he sapped off the Bandit battery. That now enables Gutsy.
By the way, I saw
to get into a safer
Ram drone get like electrified or shot before he can go down.
Sure, the wall gets opened up.
Again, we're 5v5.
Exact prime position for
Weibo.
The big question is what happens in step number 2 when you start choosing where to attack. Is it going to be Catwalk Rafters? Is it going to be Aqua? Is it going to be servers? That's where most of this round will be defined if they can find those opening picks.
Yeah, Weibo are playing
they didn't go Ram.
Similar to what they did last round, but that does make
Where's
me a
your
little
vert
bit
on
worried.
this side?
Yeah, exactly. Bit predictable, which means that as that time starts to whittle it down, once we've got 45, 30 seconds left and Weibo look for an execute, DZ, if they have the numbers, might be able to lash out. The critical thing here will be taking down Jane, or even Kino, and Speakeasy counter on the Blackbeard. The gas and enough damage there to help out Kino. However, a backstab from Weibo finds a little bit more damage. DZ, however, win the exchange. As Reaps enters the building, he has been spotted. Now, Bombsite is actually down in control, and that defuser still remains on the top floor.
And again, DC, as I said, in front of one. They have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. When Kino said the action is happening top floor, NGL Newer started playing much more passive by the bombs and saying, if Kino falls, we still have a 2v2 on site. Or 2v3 maybe, if it all goes wrong. Instead, they had numbers advantage until that very moment. Hobbin finds on the HGR. Kino low on health, no gas in pocket, meaning that timer of 40 seconds, it's accurate. So there's actually plenty of time left on the clock here. We're able to make the right moves, divert destruction, cover a couple angles. The big question is, do they leave an attacker above to watch down those holes, or do you stack together on the bomb side?
Oh wow, jump straight inside to try and bait out any potential C4 or traps. The danger here for Weibo as they go for an execute is plant denial. And that could come laterally from above or below here for DZ. Kino
at the same time
and Newers together look to try and push on the same bomb site, on the same floor. Instead of playing the vertical game, they're out of position and they have been outhandled. Reaps from the vert. We'll take down that final player from DZ and guarantee that planter's safety. It's a response very swift from Weibo Gaming.
And again, so much confidence to their actions. They do go for the quote-unquote risky play of having one player above, one player below. It's risky because if that cover isn't perfect from Reaps and the verticality, the planter dies, round is over. But on the flip side, if you don't leave an attacker upstairs and a defender was to walk up that staircase, now it works against you. So it's a lose-lose situation. But they start planting, they get about halfway through, they get off the plant and they swing together. They try and force that 2v2 into a 2v1 on their side, and then the plant is much safer. So Weibo, in terms of fundamental skill and decision making, again, they're good 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah, particularly from Kino there at the top of the blue stairs with the smoke. Just enough damage to get the down onto Speakeasy, combining the gas babe with the shotgun to the feet. Kino, a very prolific shield player. Despite
smoke player.
Yeah, and a smoke player at that. Despite having his unfortunate moment with Monty a few years ago, which you rinsed him.
That's always going to haunt him, I guess.
It will, but I think that really made him determined to nail how to play shields, and he's one of the best shield players in North America and the world as a result. But I could say the same for Speakeasy, arguably, top 3 shield player in APAC, and there are a lot of good shield players in APAC.
Maybe top 2. Maybe it's Annie and him.
I think so.
It could be like that, actually.
I think so.
I also think, more importantly, it's not the shield player himself, but can the team play around the shield? And I will say CG, they're phenomenal playing around the shield operator. I think Weibo, similar story. So while you have a good shield player in Speakeasy and Kino, DC and Weibo both understand how to support them, what they need to thrive in a round.
And also how to counter them. That's what Kino was very good at last round. And that's what Fultz is leaning into. Second round out of the Clash pick, one of the best shield counters.
That's a bait, right? They're trying to force the Clash ban, just like, get that out of the way, then force the real playstyle after.
No.
Oh, here comes the shield once again. It's Speakeasy. Instead of the Blackbeard, he goes for the Blitz this time. Better in close range, but weaker at long range compared to that BB. Funnily enough, the Monty actually hasn't been banned here. And Speakeasy quite likes playing that as well. So talk about baiting out bans. After this next round, we get another set of operator bans, one per team.
These guys are kind of going a little bit
Speakeasy
fast
hasn't
here.
yet shown the Monty.
They convert already.
Afterwards, if they decide to ban something else.
Same story for DC, right? With the Clash, like I said before, that can kind of bait out the 2-bro bandit combination later on, for example. One of many possibilities. We'll have to see when we get there. But for now, it's a very similar round number 3. Weibo force back DC from the roam game, starting a bit of verticality, setting up for the execute to come later. DC still have a little bit of roaming presence because of Newers and Cafeteria Hallway that could go for flank, but currently isn't. And then they have the Clash on the bomb side, giving information, C4 from Wamai, Toxic Babes from the smoke. They have a lot of different ways of dealing with the plant. They're also playing aggro on the cargo stairs, a double reinforced wall that Weibo haven't yet dealt with. So this is DC going for maybe a double flank. Newers in the hallway. If they break the keeper from cargo, they have 2 different angles of impact.
The question is, will they have any retake ability as the execute comes onto the bomb site? Speakeasy takes a lot of damage again. And it is a retake on the roam upstairs. However, the pick has been found on the bomb site. Finally, Force get active on that vertical game. And the Nitro Cell will deny the plant from NJR on the Wamai. Weibo have the bomb site, but DZ have retaken up above. And now they need to make sure that Weibo can't reclaim that diffuser.
Turns down plan pressure there with the gadget saying, NJ, I know exactly where you're at, but you have no idea if I'm pushing you or standing far away. Meanwhile, Weibo have regained top catwalk control as well, so it's a very awkward map state for both teams. Turson is helped by the bombs to go for a plant, and the roamers above need to find a kill or surrender the verticality, and then their own holes will work against them.
Smoke grenade denies one line of sight, but still active on the bomb site. Reaps will find his pick. Meanwhile, Gotti needs to find NJR. Can't do so. 1 HP on the NJR, the Wamai that denied the plant earlier on.
Has to answer.
It's all up to one of the best players APAC has ever seen, Reaps. As he fires the first one. Reaps. Something we have come to expect from this man. He pulls through when it matters.
That's
for Weibo.
nasty. That's nasty. Now that's nasty.
Momentum for the APAC squad.
But at the same time, this has been Reaps
What
and
a
Weibo's gaming's
shot.
biggest problem internationally. Reeves was shot down in big moments like that and started hesitating a little bit. There was no hesitation. He calls NGR. He got the info from Gotti. He is so low on health.
I gotta see replay on that. I gotta see replay. I gotta see replay.
So he starts the call up. He checks the UI. He sees the fact that Wamai is trying to answer the phone. So now he has a gap. It's a 2v1. But because NGR is basically dealing with the phone, it's a 1v1 effectively. And he knows DC, they're a smart team.
This isn't finals.
They're gonna
This is
crossfire. I peek the guy answering the phone. His teammate swings me. So he wide swings it off it instantly, then strafes back to his left side and pre-fires against what should be
that was way too smooth. Way
beautiful way of picking it apart.
Unbelievable from Reeves, and you're dead right.
That was a 3K in the round because he dealt with the Goyo above.
An online player. He's not as much of a LAN player. If you look at the 3 matches that Weibo played so far, hasn't had a positive rating.
Wamai did not have to hang the phone up, by the way. I think Wamai was full HP.
Rating. Mind you, this guy owns top 3 APL all year round. 100%, 117 EPS in APL itself. He's also, by the way, as we've always talked about, a very peculiar player because he runs the highest mouse sensitivity I have ever seen from any player. And he kills it every time. It's how he can pull off insane plays like that one. But it's not just about the speed, it's about the precision. And that's something that sets him apart. If Reeves can start delivering on LAN the way he delivers online, then, oh my god, Weibo are in for a massive upgrade.
The Arbor Bands, they have actually got shown here too.
Someone needs to help Kino.
And it's very interesting to us. Neither Weibo or DC took the bait. The Monty left open, the Clash left open, and because of that, we're going to continue seeing the battle for the wall denial and the breaching. The fact that the DC bans the Maverick, Weibo expected to ban the Bandit, ensures they can actually get through those walls.
That's good.
Had the Maverick been banned away and they banned the Clash, all of a sudden, 2-bro Bandit could lock you out from step 1.
And that's Reeves.
Big last round shot down by Jenna, no.
That's crazy. He's a 3K. His first pick.
Secondary util, but he's not the most instrumental operator for this round per se.
On the flip side of that, Jane, I know being the Wamai, is one of those operators that DZ really didn't want Weibo to ban out. And you can see they're now leaning into projectile denial and shields. However, good read from Weibo with Hoven on the Flores. It essentially bypasses those magnets and makes sure that shield gets destroyed regardless.
I love this about the new operator ban system is that at the highest level of siege, more commonly we start seeing like a second playstyle being hidden in the pocket, and this is that from Dark Zero. Heavy util, a gap being found from Turtle.
Oh no, that's the world's fattest gap. Why is no one playing electrical?
You have to go for that first fight.
Yeah, now numbers are even again here. DZ have lost their advantage. They've also lost a lot of map control. Rafters taken for free by Speakeasy. Critical kill though from Newers. Turd should never be losing a fight like that, especially not with the F2.
That's why DMR is getting a nerf right there.
That changes everything for this round. Mind you, with the Monty, there's one less gun on the board, and there's no verticality. There's no Deimos downstairs, Bach, Sophia looking for a kill, and it's all soft for beneath Newers' feet. But no one can find that angle, no one can get that kill necessarily. Now it's a triple crossfire on one bomb side, which means the other side, a lot more vulnerable.
Oh,
that's
wow.
a clash.
The Clash and the Chunker both counter this Montaigne pick here from Speakeasy. As you say, Weibo lack lethality here. They don't have anyone to go down below and kill these players vertically. So instead, they need to take gunfights on side, and Newers is always happy to oblige. A second kill with the DMR, looking for a third onto Speakeasy, but Weibo have truly stalled out, and they are surely gonna fall. Newers with a big 4K
for Newers.
DMR on site is simply
4K for Newers
and Dark Zero responding.
A Rooney DMR.
Okay, just understanding when you can play in the corner position. Had they known there was a vertical operator like the Deimos on the board, Newers could not exist on that particular area of the map. But they knew, guys, I'm counting the Flores, the Striker's dead, there's a Monty, there's, you know, Heartbreach or whatever. They don't have the tools to deal with us staying on these, what usually is unplayable positions.
Yeah. Ironically, the two operators that probably could have been swapped out for a Vert operator, the Solid Snake and the Striker.
Yeah.
Ended up not really being necessary. Of course, the Solid Snake is nice, it makes things faster, but yeah, not quite as essential as some kind of operator to challenge these power positions.
I think Pingu genuinely enjoys broadcasting. I like hearing Pingu broadcast. I like hearing like former players come back and broadcast and whatnot.
Obviously,
we're hearing
didn't know
Pingu, but I think we're going to hear
DC were
Iconic
trying to attempt in that round until they started meeting them in the middle. But the Nomad is like
good pro league players. They make great castles.
But there's no chance
you hear Iconic. You hear when Iconic starts talking, he starts being all analytics, all game.
Also
oh my god,
super
amazing.
Not activated, if you will.
Operator is that Tay?
Spare traps and flashbangs in pocket when 3 attackers are dead. So it's like again there were options for change, but this is the difficulty with attacker repick. You gotta try and sacrifice X amount of drones, 1 to 5, on how much intel do you want on the enemy's playstyle. Yeah. But then it's also a matter of how many do you keep alive to have more drones once the round begins. And you want to try and hit that middle area where you spot out maybe 3 of all 5 defenders. Obviously, you see the bomb site, and then you gotta make a decision. What operators do we bring to deal with all the problems in our path? Like, we gotta deal with both the mute jammers. That could be either verticality or sectarian peace. They got that from Dokubi. Then the castle. Well, Hibana is great for that because 2 Excalibur pellets will break the castle barricade. Then the clash. That could be the grenades or something else. But Speakeasy, who had those grenades, is now dead early.
Wow,
on the Blackbeard, he's 0-5 right now, not finding his kills. That's fair enough. He's playing the shield, but also he's been dead a little bit too early in 3 of these 5 attacking rounds.
An unlucky way to die as well. I think Speakeasy was just dashing open to breach that external wall.
Right now, Reese? Yeah, live right now.
You shouldn't really be exposing your head to a headshot there. So a bit of a mistake from
Speakeasy,
an unusual one, as you say, 0-5.
And the Blackbeard's first pick. How did the Blackbeard get first pick?
0-4 is a big red flag. When Weibo picked him up just a few months ago after the Salt Lake City Major, they said they picked up someone who just won't die. They said, we need someone who simply will not die.
And it's single elimination, it's not double.
The best survival rating in the world this season at 52%. He hasn't got a kill yet, and he's died every round. And it looks like the rest of Weibo Gaming are soon to follow. Reeps needs to pull off a bit of a miracle, but let's be real, it just ain't happening, especially not against that Clash.
No,
Essence is so high, bro. It's insane how he controls it.
Said, okay, what if we don't let them in the building? They don't work for execute. Falls goes wide for a swing and falls down, but that's just one of the 5 defenders upstairs looking for that battle. But now the rest of DC, they're more disciplined. They fall back, surrender top wall control, help each other with the assignment barriers, and just kind of peel back the layers. They got so much map space to work with, and only 60 seconds left here for Weibo Gaming, who's lacking verticality, soft destruction, and even ways to deal with these annoying laser kids upstairs.
We have one last set of 2x Kairos from Gotti, which can be used on the laser gates if required, or on the Kazami barriers, but the DMR will make short work of those. A plan here is nigh impossible because the retake potential from DZ is too strong.
The fact that he almost clipped Kino there,
can give it a go regardless, but no, not safe, and the Nitro Cell forces him out of position straight into J9O's hands. Great shot from Reeves. I cannot believe this guy does it on a sensitivity like he has. 8 kills so far in 5 rounds. Hungry for another one, but he won't have a lot of avenues to get back to that diffuser. Still SMG-12 in hand. Out goes a bait EMP, but of course it won't matter. Straight into the beeper, straight into J9O's hands. He has been tearing Weibo a new
Reeves
one
is disgusting,
with that
but Reeves is genuinely
as
insane.
the Americans take the lead.
From what you weren't here earlier, he clutched a 1v2. He clutched like a 1v2 for an nice little 3K. He was nasty. It was a nasty clutch.
A little birdie told me that DMR nerf is coming. Can't wait.
Speaking of little birdies, I saw Joshua Mills, game director, just bumped into him yesterday walking around the venue.
Nice. So he's going to be telling us about these changes, yeah, I reckon.
I think I've seen him. I think I've seen him one game where he's got negative, and then he amped it up towards the end.
You guys are looking lovely.
That was a game against Furia
that
they lost like 8. They lost 7-8.
The struggle of being
on
famous
Cafe, but yeah, he's insane.
Lobster to
He's actually insane. Yo, Speakeasy and Gotti gotta step it up, dude. They're both owing.
Are we going really back to the tertiary bomb side? All right, maybe this is just the real deal from DZ.
It's very unusual, but I will say the one time where I think it's not blatantly trolling going to kitchen is when Clash is open. Yeah. Because it's the only operator that really gives you a way of fighting for like the lobby control next to the bomb site. That long
Clash and the Izami as well. I mean, both.
Izami partially, but like that'll be shot by DMR, and then like that's it. And the Clash is like unstoppable by most metrics. Yeah. Unless you make a huge misplay as a Clash player, or get like, I don't know, blatantly counts, which is quite rare to find, you should be more than fine.
For watch,
playing
go
Capitan Nomad, that's going to be your counter operators.
Switch,
Nomad,
go to
make sure
YouTube
that
and search up
Clash
Rainbow,
into their faces.
RAINBOW, and then the number 6.
And then just burn them. But as long as Clash recognizes that you're up against a Nomad and a Capital and positions accordingly, the fire will do damage, but really rarely kill the Clash operator.
Are you sure Jenna knows the IGL? I thought it was a Fultz.
Like Kitchen is it really is a pocket pick.
Yeah.
And fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Oh, look at that was false.
Lose this twice, that is a massive red flag, especially considering Nighthaven Labs was Weibo's map pick.
Well, again, they're making good progress on the strat. The only issue is it's very similar to what happened previously, so it's a little bit more predictable than before.
Because you're only allowed to wear certain permitted gun skins that
is still up on the board.
Ubisoft
really
permits for
looking
these
for
events.
Gotti and Speakeasy here. Get your first kill before the half is over. Focusing on defense.
I really think Fultz is currently the IGL.
Right now,
he's the one that's always in.
You got those strong.
He's the one that's always on Clash.
You go defense. You're up against the Deimos,
I definitely think he's IGL.
The Solid Snake, the Shields. It's not going to get any easier to find your first frag, and finding that first kill is going to be a huge way to gain back some of that lost confidence. Newer 6 better damage. Both fires spent extremely early.
Oh, wow.
While they're pushing the Clash up above.
Yeah,
a lot of damage onto Fultz on the Clash. Can they finish him off? Indeed. Yeah. Speakeasy from behind, off the donut, and on for 2. As DZ feel the round slipping away from them to close up the half. Weibo are desperate to even the score.
Huge gap. That fire was spent very well. Smoke 2 was covering Speakeasy on the push downstairs, so they find, or rather create a gap out of thin air. And it catches DC by surprise. Predictable? No, they were not. They did exactly what they had to and threw them a curveball in response. But it's still those 2 defenders alive. Inside our kitchen is J9O taking a lot of damage, but still staying alive. And sure he is. He can shut down that window jump in.
He's in one of the few safe spots on the bomb site right now, but he won't be safe for long as he's lost his Kiba barrier, and a flashbang from up above is coming his way shortly from Gotti, who's still a little bit worried about that flank. This might enable the jump in here from Turd. Not yet. It's just the bees, and actually they're going for a plant. Hoven forcing that diffuser down. Cover of smoke, but it is next to a soft wall. If DZ knew about it, they might have been able to deny, but not to be the case. We're into a post plan. 3v5 on a nigh impossible retake for Dark Zero.
They got divert. They got the man advantage, and they got the better operators for this kind of post. And DC, they just gotta go for kills. They pop an Nomad, and they get injured.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen here. Low
Weibo's
HP on
Twitch.
J90, and New is trying to retake the hallway. Speakeasy, a third kill on the round. Low HP, J90. It's a flawless cap on the half for Weibo Gaming to tie up the scoreboard.
This is Weibo's map.
One man at a time. Just back and forth, back and forth.
map
And
is
if you're
layer
thinking
in the
for
Deciders
DC's
Clubhouse.
side, maybe not the best case to be, but for Weibo, you'll love having a close series.
Very much so. Let's have a listen to what DZ are
They're just
thinking.
clearing with the fucking Doke being the snake the whole time. Bring the mute out off the extension. We get, honestly, even if we wanted to, we could even run that last scheme, just swap the go out for the mute to give about a little more of a delay and swap somebody else onto the Goyo and put one on the water door. And that'll stop their quick water crank. It'll also make them actually drone and clear off the top. But we need to avoid kitchen. So if you're looking for that. Also, I'd avoid command too, quite frankly. I'd probably go supply and basement. Sure. First half. Like supply first, basement second, and on the basement second, just lean into the mute to counter the fucking snake in the Doke they're using.
Heard.
Yeah.
Heard.
Outside of that, fellas, macro level here for the attack side. Just at the end of the rounds and like these 2v1s and shit like that, prioritize the aggressive option together. Like they caught us a couple times. You guys already know the rounds I'm talking about. We were kind of playing it back a little bit. The trade wasn't as fast as it could have been. One when there was that plane go down supply, we just double styled through. It would have been 1v1 killing that guy, and the other one was like the 2v1 on the guy in basement. So if we're in a similar situation on the attack side here, probably aggressive. Just go together and beat together and go kill.
We're gonna have a bulletproof with the Goyo, okay, Goyo?
Yeah.
We're gonna have this. So every time they smoke, try to look the default cam, okay? If you see they are not coming from both sides, look the default cam, tranquilize the team, so we can still hold on top. And remember, how they like to clear on top. They would like to split first floor. One coming from kitchen or lobby side, another one coming maybe storage, maybe vending window, another one fork, another one down garage. They like to do this play sometimes. And also, of course, the default map control, 2 guys on top, and another 2 on first floor.
Wow.
Yo, Alicia's husband, thank you for
This
following.
is the first time I've got the pleasure of having team
Cash, thank you for sharing live.
coach comms in the halftime scheduled
Riley, thank you for
timeout.
sharing
And
live.
it was a little bit
Wolfie.
confusing hearing DZ because it sounded like they were talking about a defense half,
What?
Yeah.
even though they're now going into their attack.
Maybe I was trying, but I
You
was
said
thinking,
you
like,
think it
is
goes
this
to
from like
club, you
before
don't
the
think
game
DZ
started?
wins?
We're hearing the plan was going into the first half, but no. But
I don't know,
feel
we
like
gotta
when
see
go
both maps,
inside,
right?
it clicked a
From we
bit
gotta see
better for
both
me, right?
maps.
Because call out from DC's coaching staff said
All I know
that
is
ignore
3-3
kitchen,
split
for
is-
example.
it's-
And going goes, they always
it's
did
tight
the guy
right now.
kitchens. They did small adaptations, and I think call out was actually also talking about what they did previously when they were playing that heavy lap, so from their side, and what micro changes they could make for this second attempt, because Weibo will have prepped for that, of course.
Yeah, interesting.
But still a bit surprised or confused rather by the DC approach there.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to figure out what Callout was saying, but it did sound like he was making comms about a defense half. He was talking about lean into the mute, lean into this.
And we're gonna get a tech pause.
Which, yeah, is
So
obviously
he
what
goes
we just
21
saw.
rounds.
Yeah, they said avoid kitchen. I would also avoid command. Maybe they're talking about how to lurk.
I would not want to see that.
On the attacking side, because that was the big focus for Gohan on the Weibo side when we heard their comms.
Where they attack from.
It was very much talking about, okay, you're gonna play like this, play your setups. You know your setups, read your handbooks. But DZ, they like to lurk from here. They like to lurk from here. Of course, we actually haven't seen a lot from either of these teams on this map during this tournament. We've seen both of them play at once. DZ beat Secret,
Jorge.
Weibo beat EP.
You're calling me.
But the funny thing with the format here at EWC is we don't have a round robin phase. We have play-ins, which is double elimination. We have groups as double elimination. We have playoffs, which is single elimination, which means DZ have only played
Adrian,
2
thank you
games
for
so
liking
far, and Weibo have only played 3.
Like 2. I'll be off
a lot of
after I watch the
material
second
hidden
game.
in the back pocket for both teams, which means the name of the game is your adaptability, not what you can guess the team
I
is
don't
going
have
to do,
time today.
because good teams will have new stuff every single day.
Seeing a potential, maybe, fast tech here from DC, a glass in the mix, Capital, Black Beard. It's one of those lineups where you can find a kill pretty much out of nowhere, right? Sophia downstairs, 3 big booms, that can be a vertical kill, glass
This
smoke,
is
that can be easy, fire,
Weibo's
you get
map,
the
Weibo's
idea.
map.
There's a lot of different ways of getting that opening pick advantage, but also a lot of ways of dealing with various problems in a round. Should there be soft destruction required, a clash on the board, or an annoying to deal with position on the site. The only thing they do not have is any like reliable verticality. There's no, buck demos downstairs. Sophia has 2 more explosive canisters in pocket. We saw DC bend away the Kite Mirror, so similar fashion. A lot of work here on the hard destruction of step 1, ensuring that you just blast through those walls like it's stuck on the outside of the building. And for Weibo, they didn't want to get intel red pinged by the Grim Beast because they want to stay in those specific player positions and not have all that pressure upon them. And Thermite, for the exact same reason of the reinforced walls.
Patience here could pay. Never mind. J90 gets swung on from Turdster. Uncommon to see the guy going negative. He's the top-rated player for Weibo. And he's on the Azami, back on defense. Turtz is definitely a defense player. He prefers that defensive side.
Give this guy a spot, and he plays it beautifully. He masters that one spot. It can be catwalk afterwards. On Clubhouse, it can be catwalk right here.
Retake attempts. Aided with the Thorn Trap from Speakeasy. Speak about retakes, a lash out from Reeves. Onto Electrical as DZ try and get aggressive. Weibo very much ready for it.
Just gotta make sure that right now when you Weibo, choose who's holding what angles and leave no gaps. DC, they bring the fight to the defenders, and they just fall apart. It's gonna be a flawless first round here for Weibo.
I mean, to cap off what was a flawless end to the first half as well on the attacking side for Weibo. Indeed, it's two flawless again.
A flawless again. It's 2 rounds in a row.
For the APAC Squadron, and DZ starting to sweat a little bit. They will take their tactical time out, and Call Out immediately gets another chance to talk to the team.
Hey, you guys hear me?
Yep. Yeah. What are you watching?
Artez going off the base book here.
Pro League. Artez Pro League.
Was a completely different setup. So if we do see something like that, if we only see what we talked about before, only call the prep. If not, call it as we see it. So like an opportunity right there. If we go back to attack in the command later and we see they're giving up bottom and they're going to play top with traps heavy, we can just go
rooting for NA,
like towards the weed side, and then we can flip back into Rafter, or we can just start with Rafter. We don't necessarily need to go for a quick spread and something like that because they're not doing the 41, remember? Like right there. Correct me if I'm wrong, we said it was a 50. We only do that attack if it was a 41. Because we want to take the 5v4 in sight, correct?
Heard. Yeah.
Make sure we're reading that, fellas. Same thing, it's a CAG game here. Don't get married to any one tag.
Heard.
As we see it. Or keep it simple, too.
Yes, MC.
Be a little bit creative, be a little bit creative.
Indecisive. Hand warmer? Sorry, Nick. What's wrong?
Infamous for their cryptic comms. Call out saying there's a 41, there's a 50. They have code names for different strategies. Had an interesting podcast recently where Call Out and some of the boys were talking to Parker Intero on his podcast, and they have so many technical terms and so much prep, but really insightful there. Call Out said, guys, we got baited into what we had prepped for them, what we had voted them, what we expected them to do was not what they did. That is massive credit to Gohan and the Weibo Gaming side because they're changing their setup. And so Call Out looked at Fultz, the IGL most experienced player, former world champion from DZ, and said, okay, stop focusing on the prep, call it as you see.
I didn't get to see him in PL.
If
I know most coaches
prep,
are.
You can do it, but if
I would actually think all coaches
right?
are,
It's one of those understanding that we're in the moment. These guys have actually done a little bit of depth to the strategy.
For sure. Also mentioned the CAG game as well. Of course, it was a big surprise to see Dark Zero go a map down to CAG in the qualifying game for this tournament. They're actually only 2 rounds away from being knocked into the lower bracket by another APAC team who eventually didn't make it to the playoffs. They lost 7-2 on lead, CAG.
Super's your favorite coach.
Recall, that was a very dominant scoreboard against them. It's not common to see. I mean, they were
hopefully him and Shuttlefly can fix
NAL
up.
And of course, extremely strong at the Salt Lake City
Whatever
Major.
is
They
wrong
only
with
lost
them.
2 maps throughout that entire event.
Okay. Successful bandit trick.
We're running bandit
I like
shoddy.
this, right? DC sends a soul player downstairs. Can I get the wall for free? No, it gets sapped away. But because DC only sent that one attacker, all the other 4 members are still progressing the map, droning top floor, entering the building slowly, and continuing to gain some sort of map control. Or a lot of teams send 2-3 guys by the breach because, oh, it's gonna get open up, boys, right? Don't worry about it. You don't get it open, and now you're just wasting precious seconds.
I mean, you say they're taking map control, but they're actually struggling to do so. Look at the extension here from Weibo. The Solus has done a phenomenal job. Even Hoven roaming on the first floor. Dark Zero, a minute into the round, are only just hard breaching and entering into kitchen cafeteria, and they're about to walk into a crossfire again.
This is the big moment. Turtster again in that position where you're playing for your life. Either you get a kill or you die.
Jammer is also going to protect against the blitzes flashing close range. Good kill from J90.
Is that a whiff or like a...
cannot stand forever, but apparently he won't need to because Gotti and Hoven together have done most of the dirty work. Hoven almost hitting 10 kills, and Gotti with a nitro cell to take down the blitz of Kino. It's false. The man who was meant to call the strat now has to call a 1v3.
Play it as you see it. They walk straight into trap once again. Such a good crossfire there from Weibo, understanding who's peeking, who's playing that pillar spot from Turdstar, and they all get out alive. I say all, the 2 people did die, but people that were in those prime positions, the Gotti, the Turdstar, they got out. They were the ones that were supposed to die first probably in that strategy. There's a good C4 there. Now all they gotta do is play safe. Play by a jammer if need be, run away from the gadget.
It's true, but you also have 2 shotguns here on Weibo, so they'll have to be careful not to take long range
but this guy can't plant. 7 seconds of falls. You got 3 members, a C4, a Solace. And if he goes down any of those staircases, nothing is stopping Turds to anybody else from like retaking the top floor control and use the vert against him.
Yeah. Oh, you're damn right. I think the big thing here is Turdstra on the Solus. He's got the best gun. He's also got the gadget to call where Fultz is pushing from. And
damn, it was going to go up 5-3.
The only win condition here for the attack
not looking good for DZ.
is just if he can find a free pick here or there, or if Weibo make a mistake.
Huge mistake that would have to be.
Mute jammer, jams out the death mark.
Exactly, they use that one jammer probably by the bomber side. They just rotate players on top of that location. 20 seconds, trying to go for plant. Again, C4 plug with Speak Easy, and 3 minutes I can swing you.
And they're not getting baited. And
wow.
they take the kill as well. Big from
Mason,
Turdstra, big around from Hoven though, on the Goyo, on that roam. It's a perfect roaming setup. Every player from Weibo complementing each other, and a second round in a row where
dude,
Darkzero have no idea how to attack. They've had 2 kills in the last 3 rounds.
Yes. I bring it out just
when you
for
bring
Kobe.
out the bandit shotgun, it can be so tricky to get value in a round. Gatti found 2 kills. One with a gun, one with a C4.
Did he get the kill with the shotgun or?
I honestly did not recognize
pistol.
during the chaos of the round because I think he got the kill on the player jumping in the vending window, which could have been vert below, could have been from the stair. He's not entirely certain. But either way, he got his 2 kills.
Yeah.
So everyone's on the board now. Like Speaky's there, Gotsy's there, and honestly, big praise towards Turdstra. He has been a player that, you know, came up, was a little toxic in the beginning, got dropped from the roster, then brought back because he actually retrialed and beat everybody else in the trial system for it. And since then, I don't want to say more humble, but maybe more mature.
I think definitely Turd needed a coach who would demand respect, right? And Gohan, he's like 6'5". He's huge. Even before he opens his mouth,
this video as a graduation.
He's actually a very kind man and a very well-spoken, softly spoken man, very smiley, very gentle, but you can tell he's a no bullcrap kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna whip you into shape, and if you mess around, he's gonna tell you, okay, that's enough. Turd was, I think, 18 years old when he moved to Singapore from New Zealand to play professionally with Bleed. He's only 21 now, and while he is the best player on the team, and he was the 2nd highest rated player in the Asia League, he's very inconsistent. He went 4-12 against Furia, and then 21-9 versus Enterprise. So
it is.
he is up and down,
oh,
but
they tried to go fast.
Down at the moment. Good kill though from Kino. However, the barbed wire actually finishes off Fultz, and the push is very quickly thwarted here from DZ.
Yeah. There's no second go at this because there's no second shoot to go for that same kind of push. So you go elsewhere, met by Castle barricades, denying you an inch path forward. So Weibo get a bit of breathing room. Communicate, okay guys, how are we going to play out this round? Do we still hold on to top floor control? Well, yes, 3 people, only leaving Reaps downstairs by the side. Spare razor bloom pocket for information. And it's going to be very comfortable by side. I think the barbed wire also still alive on the window jumping, so he has so many different tools to work around. For DC, it's once again playing for an opening pick somewhere, hoping Weibo will make a mistake. But no one is swinging. No one's having an ego going, oh, I'm bored, I'm going to go for a peek. No, they understand. If they do nothing, time will be on their side. DC, they have to make the first move. And they have Castle barricades on all the important doors.
DZ are great at calling win conditions when it's in a 5v5. Very difficult to do once your main push has failed. And the Lion will telegraph that DZ are looking for something, as will that nade to destroy that castle barricade. When does Turd go for the swing? Does he time it with his teammates? He's currently holding a very narrow angle, hoping that he can swing off of Speakeasy's contact.
It's a really good crossfire established. Again, no ego there from any of the players from Weibo Gaming. They would peak that in the past, but not now. They are locked in. They're playing this as seriously as they possibly could. And DC, they're starved of options.
Could this be an early map point for Weibo? DZ are not looking too confident here. And finally, the swing comes through from Turd. It's goodbye to Newers. J90 and NJR, 2 versus 4. And again, they're just fishing for a pick. J90 knows there's somebody above him, but I don't think he's going to be gifted a chance. NJR, however, is. And Gotti to fall, that's a big player to take down. No more smoke available. And a second kill comes out as well for NJR on that top floor. Bomb site is down below, but the pressure vertically is now alleviated.
They're looking for Turdstra up the aqua stairs for a flank. They want to get the kill, but now he just run away. And he's got the case, 20 seconds.
Turd knows he can just fall back. There's no way NJR gets back to site and finds that kit with it. He's going to have to go for both kills. And Turd should know that. What a shot, though! 1v1.
No shot he gets this, right?
Reaps, who's 12-4. At the moment, he doesn't have the defuse. He's going to have to push for the kill. He doesn't know where Turd is. He goes for the kill onto Reaps. Close-up range.
Wow.
But Reaps withstands. Balls of steel, he will wait. And there is no shot for NJR to clutch. It is map point for Weibo.
So disciplined.
You said this is the warm-up map for DZ?
And again, they're not falling apart
I don't know,
in those
bro.
critical moments.
Weibo looks good right now. I know this is Weibo's map, but I mean,
and then Turst
everyone's
makes
gonna look good on their map.
decision
But
that saves the round again.
I mean,
when both his teammates around him top 4, they fall apart by getting picked off
better hope
guard.
it's warm-up map.
Well, he recognizes, oh my god, I'm getting pushed from Catwalk and from Aqua Staircase. I gotta pick a fight. He turns towards Aqua, gets the kill, runs away. NGR, heroic effort in like an impossible position.
Dude, NJR was low-key cleaning up.
Play after good play, more so than DC making inaccurate or bad plays.
Anything happened against
They've
Tag?
had the wrong read, the side rush, 50-50.
Oh, I know, Rage.
You get in, you get the kills,
They talked about that, actually, yeah. They brought that up.
They're willing to play that risky game despite being down 3-5. Maybe trying to catch Weibo by surprise, but not to be. They have been so ready for all the attacking pushes thus far.
3 map point opportunities here for Weibo. Reaps is having a hell of a life game as well. I mean, even just the skill required to hold on in a moment like that, never underestimate it. Reaps, I feel like this is a big moment for him in the tournament where he shows that he can have a big performance on LAN as well. It's not just an online fiend, right? A map like this is certainly a good part of that conversation. This is his best performance of the tournament so far. I mean, you look back, his EPS in stage 1, like I said before, 117 against Fury at 96, against EP 91, against Virtus Pro 100. He hasn't had a standout performance as of yet, unlike Turtster who went 140, Hoven or Gotti who went 120 and above. This is a big moment for Reaps and a big moment for Weibo to go 1-0 up in the series. All they need is one more round.
And it's all about holding on to that, right? If Reaps can show up right here in map number 1, that is half the story. We need him to be consistently showing up also in map number 2, map number 3 if you have to go there. Because you cannot write off DC too early in a BO3.
Dude, you are right.
You
we
also
haven't seen
cannot
much
get ahead of yourself and
DZ.
saying, if Reaps drops 12 kills here on the first map, he'll do so on the second. Because that has been the problem, consistency. DC, they are one of the most consistent teams with the
DZ's just getting swung and they're not reacting.
How they play the game. So for Weibo, I think we gotta look at every single round. Every round victory is a huge win for them. But the job is not done just because you're up on Nighthaven Labs. They're looking to get it done in 7-3 fashion. They got Speakeasy on the Clash to stop any of those pushes. DC are onto a more, let's say, consistent operator lineup. It's not going to be about the 3-2-1 fast push with the Glass, the Blackbeard. It's going to be about utility, picking apart the setup. And they're also playing into a much more default defense, I would say, from Weibo Gaming. They're going to be having fights in the more predictable spots, in more usual circumstances. And really the only thing DC are kind of lacking here is verticality. Yes, they have Sophia that can use a gadget downstairs for a single kill, but imagine you had a Bocker Deimos for this round, right? There's no mute on the board, and they're all standing on the soft floor.
NJR trying to hold the flank. His air jabs will help him on out. That is actually the trap thrown out by Reaps, who finds the kill.
Was he not full HP?
Onto NJR, 100-0 so quickly.
Wow,
this is not a good look for DZ, who haven't won a single round on the attacking side as of yet. If that trend continues here, I mean, it's done and dusted. We go to Lair.
Incredible start. There's that Sophia. Shoots out all the primary gadgets. So now, again, no value from beneath. It's all lateral push right now. It's all in front of you. But you're up against the Goyo Fire, the Clash Electrification, the Baba, the Asami Keeper Barriers. This is going to favor Weibo heavily. DC got to hit some gnarly shots. Brute Force opening somewhere on the map. And honestly, right now, I don't see any gaps.
Yeah, but there is a chance here to take down Speakeasy using the fire there from the Capitao. However, he manages to find a spot where the floor is not lava. Fault needs to find kills here. Making his way forward, but Weibo are not giving up anything. Reaps finds his 14th as Kino finally finds a gap for DZ. But it is not enough to find a way into the bomb site. No more util remaining except one flash in pocket for Kino, and he's gone down.
Look at the TCSG. Look at the TCSG, dude.
To take the first map handily. Indomitable.
How did was it NJR? How did NJR die to the Thorn?
One map away from their first ever semi-final.
Celebrations, handshakes, hugs here from Weibo's side, but as we always say, the job is not done. I think Gohan's gonna walk in and say, guys, good job, one more map, let's do that again. But this proves the level at which Weibo can play when they're at their very best. And it proves that this game, which people go, easy DC victory, not so easy after all.
Absolutely not. For the reigning major champions and a mainstay roster in North America, arguably one of the best teams NA has ever seen. They're one of the favorites to win this tournament.
John,
I think most people are talking about
Rico, I just saw what you commented
favorites. Well,
on my video.
have already shown that they can hang with the big
kids
make sense
here
the
on the
world
icon was
stage.
white. I know, Rage. I want to know where the thorn was. I really do.
A map up over DZ. It's a
Finger
huge
Paul, I
moment
can't pronounce your name, but Finger
squad,
Paul.
which, by the way, haven't been together for very long. Lottie is only a recent addition after a disappointing.
Wait, I just realized it was a 3-3 split, and then Weibo won 4 straight.
They fell short. They
like DZ didn't win a single attack.
The roster, and he fits like a glove. They get their revenge over
Fifth one
EP.
off so fast. But I feel like,
and now they're on the
but like Rage said, I feel like it was white, and then like he walked back into it or something.
Let's see what the analysts have to say about it.
Well, thank you so much,
like even he thought he was clear of it.
Third map
yeah, DT did sell a 3-3 split, not a single attack one. Not even a close attack too, actually, to think about it.
DZ. I mean, if you look at those stats, looking like a favorite. But of course, this team is trying to get to the semifinals for the very first time. What a performance there, Iconic. A lot of people surprised at home, but I think a lot of people also saying this is what this team has showed they're capable of, maybe just not consistently.
Yeah, I mean, for Weibo, that's a great start coming out. It's a map you want, especially being your pick coming out strong in this series, really putting your foot down
Not
too,
is a fat defender side of map. You knew it was going to be a problem when DZ left to the 3-3 split.
Really showing out with the 7-3. It was a great start too. The guys look confident, but if I'm a DZ fan, I would not be worried at all. I feel like this is right where you want it to be, and I feel like they're going to come back here.
One win away, Alpha. I know you're going to break down some stuff a little later for us, scoreboards, some highlights, but they're on the verge of breaking history.
Absolutely, and we've mentioned it before, right? In these kind of tournaments where the format is quite close, there's no lower bracket. Everything is based on momentum. One guy that carries the momentum right now is Reeps. He goes absolutely crazy. He's been so good. I mean, look at that scoreboard. He was always known to be the best APL player, but he never disappoints. He may have the highest sense in the world. Yes, okay. He may move his keyboard or his mouse pad, sorry, just a couple of inches to get a crazy 1v2 clutch in that matchup. But whatever happens, that guy always delivers, right? And I think today, the momentum is on their side. He doesn't feel the pressure.
You're right.
The pressure is on the side
These
of
are
the major champions.
BO3s for
We're not supposed to lose to Weibo.
174 rating. I love that the casters were talking about Devin Pengu.
That's a really bad half.
He's been waiting for his breakout game. You've seen guys have it on Weibo. It's now time for
Reeves
to step
up,
and
then you lose the next 4.
One of the higher ratings that you can have.
Just like,
I mean, 142 is what I think we have. Bay coming in and wildcard is as the leader in this tournament. So what a performance from him. The question, Iconic, to you is where do you go from here if you're Reeves?
You have to reset. You have to go again. It's 0-0 in the overall standings because, you won that map, but coming into your opponent's map pick, and then you have to reset for that. And then if that goes your way, of course, that'll be great for them. That'll be a 2-0. If it doesn't go their way, they're going to map 3. So obviously, that's just the beginning of it. And we know from seeing a lot of these teams play, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
There's that, Rafe. What I was saying with the intel, too, was the fact that they're able to clear certain parts of the map, but then they have no intel on anyone. Oh my gosh, anyone else.
Able to really put something finite to it in a moment. You can see how excited the coaches were behind.
Like you saw as they were trying to do like a top down clear. It was really bad.
I'll ask that same question to you. How do you keep these guys level now, knowing that you did well on your map pick? You've got 2, so you could lose one, but you obviously don't want to.
I think you can see it from the player reactions.
I don't know if like Snake or Dope is banned. I didn't see any of that.
Need to reset. I think if you're on the side of DZ, I know they like the mental, the quiet, the comes to always be on the same level. I think for a team like Weibo, they thrive on momentum. They thrive on chaos. You don't want to reset that energy. It's fully high, so you fuel that. Gohan will be riding them up, and I think that's exactly the right thing to do. If you look at many of these rounds, it's on the back of 1 or 2 multi-kills, 2 clutches on the side of Reeps that are absolutely crazy. That's what gets them fired up. Keep the fire
was right.
Let's
Reeps did have a nasty clutch. Let's look at the clutch.
For us. I kind of going to help you out with the mic there. Let's break down what made this such a good map for Weibo.
Yeah, a very interesting moment, in my opinion, was we talked about the depth, right?
Yeah.
In critical moments, how do you win? Well, we're going to start and we're going to have a look at this round. That's round 2, and that's a 2v3 on the side of Weibo, and you might think, In what world do they win this? The target will be NJR here on the Wamai. So let's pay attention to what's going on right here. First, you see that Wamai is stuck on the bomb site. And what is going on here? We see that Hoven, from above, has directly a line of sight. If you see Wamai pushing through the rotate, he's going to get killed from the vert. So you need Wamai to move. You need to create some pressure. And so Hoven calls for Rips to come in and create some pressure. Vertical play. That's it. Wamai is moving. And it's going to be an absolute free kill for Hoven from above. And suddenly, it's not a 2v3. It's a 2v2. Now, most importantly, they need to create a win condition. What do we see here? We see Rips staying above and create some more vert. They need to create movement. So Hoven is going to go downstairs and he's going to fake the plant. Not to actually plant, but look at this guy on the left. He's running. He's afraid. He does not want the plant to go down. And that's going to be the movement that they wanted. We're going to see the player from above get the first kill. That's Rips. And once again, they're going to fake the plant. And once again, another kill from above. They created a win condition out of nowhere from a 2v3, thank you, Iconic, to a 2v0. That's the tactical depth that we wanted to see from Weibo. What a way to win this.
So teamwork makes the dream work, man. That's how you have to do it.
It's a beautiful thing. I mean, a 4K as well in round 3 from Reeves, but you talk about the tactical play. What do now Dark Zero need to do, looking down the, I guess, barrel of a potential exit in this tournament quite early, Iconic?
I think you saw Kala talking about in their tournament, you know, not going against the prep that they've seen, playing to what they see in their eyes, and just playing it like any other moment, any other match that they've experienced. So I feel like you can really see them look to just reset their fundamentals and really go after this game.
You think that guy's E2 smooth?
Yeah, and I think the main thing is take away what's the biggest lesson here in the first game. They're struggling against aggression, quite clearly. They're going on a map that they just
no,
lost
you're actually
to
hilarious.
one of the most aggressive team in the world. So you just seen basically your team lose to that playstyle just before. You've that experience of that one map where you could not deal with that aggression just a few days ago. Surely you've learned something that you can use in this game. They have the same playstyle. You're playing a similar opponent on the exact same map. They have to learn that lesson coming into the second map.
That's a great point. We'll see what happens, how it shakes out in map number 2. But before that, we've got a club championship update with Chris over at the Kadia City Grid. Chris, what's up?
Where's the update?
Managed to make it down here at the Kadia City Grid. A lot going down, Lauren. You've had 2 weeks of competition for PUBG Mobile.
Yep.
It has been a, I wouldn't say a slug, but we're getting to the point now.
They have an esports World Cup for PUBG Mobile?
Potentially in the club championship,
Absolutely. We're in the last 2 matches of our 2-day-long survival stage. And the 2 teams we've been paying attention to the whole time, GK Esports and AGAL. AGAL obviously being the biggest one with them being on the top of the CC leaderboard right now. We thought they'd be able to do it. However, it's been a rough 2 days. A very close lobby across the board. Right now they're in 11th place, which doesn't sound great. You need to be top 6 in order to make your way through to finals. But that difference in the leaderboard is only 9 points. So it's not a lot. It's a gap that's very close, but unfortunately everyone's kind of been playing around the same level of capability right now, which means they haven't really had the pop-off performance they're looking for. If they have that right now in this match, they'll be safe. If they don't, it's all down to that last match, and you don't want that additional pressure on your shoulders.
Well, we're going to check in with you. We're in between maps right now as well, but we'll check in as soon as AGL and what's going on here. Big moment in the club championship. Lauren, thank you very much. Guys?
He thinks he can come in here and play my game. He knows nothing but go!
Tyler 1, you're done.
A lot of people are haunted by their past. I'm inspired by it.
They're not just playing for themselves, they're really playing for their entire family.
They have defeated their demons! They have crushed the curse!
Well, a very different image from one you just
Finally,
saw there
back
to the
to
one
EWC.
that's on stage right now. Dark Zero maybe searching for something there. Alfama, discipline was what came up in our conversation during that break.
Yeah, I mean, you're the most experienced team. You've just lost, what, at least 3 rounds where you were in a heavy man advantage situation. You're playing against a weaker opponent, someone that has not won majors before, that has not even reached a semifinal before. Surely, discipline needs to be the key word
look,
here.
the mental's
When you're in a
not that
manpower
bad.
situation, you close this round out, you breathe, you meditate like they've done, and you make sure you close the manpower situation.
I feel like too for Weibo going into this, just going a map up, making sure that you can actually maintain that pressure, because I feel like as a player, a lot of the time, the closer you get to the win, the further it actually feels, because you just start to think about it more and more. So being able to detach from that and go for it again is going to be very big for Weibo here.
Playing with house money because no one expects you to get past DZ. Now you're at the door of getting past DZ. Do you start to think about it too much? Now you're like, we're here. Wait a second.
That's the question here. Looking at DZ too, looking very calm, looked like they had a good reset going to this map. I'm expecting a lot closer one here.
Picks and bans here to kick off map 2.
I like the solid snake ban. I think it's been so useful on layer to clear out so many positions. You get a lot of intel just from outside of the building with that radius. So it's a strong one, especially to remove against such an aggressive team.
Capital too, going to help the top mez extension, especially too if they want to bring the clash for the chest extension too. Yeah, it's going to be just shutting down a little bit of the clear potential in the hard zone spots. Look to see some more Zofia Demos come out for that.
Best of 3 on the line here in Paris. Dark Zero. Wow, expectations so high for this team, but staring defeat right down the barrel if they cannot get this map win. It's Weibo Gaming now with the pressure to close it out. We'll see what happens as we send it back over to Dev and Pengu.
Thank you, Rander. Yes, we will indeed. Dark Zero have everything to lose here. As one of the tournament favorites, they need to step up on their map pick of Lair. But look, Pengu, in the last 6 months, DZ have only lost this map a single time out of the last 7 plays. However, that was against little old APAC in CAG,
So with the
and it was a
reinforcement on the right
dominant
side?
7-2 loss just 5 days ago. They haven't played it at the
double.
tournament outside of that result, however, have been very good locally within North America. I wonder if Weibo have been studying that DZ versus CAG map and picked up a few tricks.
And you said it best, right? They played this map a fair bit in North America, but going back to Call-Out's timeout that we saw in Nighthaven is the unusualness of Weibo that catch them off guard, right? Oh, they didn't do the prep work. They didn't know what we expected from them, and I think, honestly, when you look at APAC, that's always been the story. Yes, they tend to play a bit more simple in the server. Yes, they have maybe a little less prep work, but now we have imported coaches. We have Gohan behind the players. They got much more layers to them.
Absolutely. I think you said it, Weibo play weird. Well, if you're not used to playing in the APAC region, then yeah, you might think so. I think that a lot of teams get so familiar with how their region likes to play that they underestimate other regions. Now, there's a reason why Wildcard chose not to pick Weibo. Wildcard had a choice between picking Weibo and Furia, and they wanted to play Furia. Yeah, Furia over Weibo. So DZ may be getting a little bit more than they bargained for.
Wildcard said, now those guys, they play weird, man. We don't want to get into that.
We don't want to play that.
We don't want to get in the mix of that. It's just an unknown entity the entire way through. I like if NJR though swung out early, exchanged bullets with the glass. So him and Hoven are equal on the health bars.
If there's anything going for DZ here, it's that they're back on the defensive side. Funnily enough, Weibo chose to start on attack here on Lair, but DZ have been a lot more comfortable on their defense. However, this could be a cracking way to start the attack here for Weibo if they do land the 3 big booms with that Zoth.
Oh,
The first
beautiful
boom to land is
Nitro.
actually on Gotti, however, as Speakeasy takes a hell of a lot of damage as well. Big Nitro from Faults.
Sophia downstairs is quite nice, but
And
she's
Sophia
like
and
wasting
Damos
time
downstairs?
looking for that red ping to come through. You're not going to get all the value,
Yeah.
but Reap's simple solution.
And that's a
Damos
Tachanka.
track, get the ping, shoot straight through the floor, get that kill. That's NGR. There is still Kilo on the smoke, popping a bait, falling on back. Could even reinforce as well, but it's too busy with the verticality downstairs, so that rotation will stay open for Speakeasy to utilize later on. Newest on health, Hobbin Speakeasy on health.
They're giving up ground. They're actually just
Wait,
giving
what?
the entire Vox
Give them sight.
over to Weibo. Well, this is risky though, Pengu. This will have to be a retake. Speakeasy could be in a plant position
like
in just a
this.
few moments.
He's about to be. Track comes through, punch the desk, and there's 1 C4 and impacts in pocket though.
He's already low on HP. There needs to be a retake here to push Hoven off of his position. Otherwise, he will be able to prevent that flank. Hoven doesn't
What?
matter.
Hoven with the pistol
Weibo
too.
again fire up on their attacking side. And look at this, there's time remaining. They don't have to rush. It's up to Newers and Kino to try and cook something up, but it's not happening. The bait again and again as Hoven with low HP.
Wow.
Newers does find him speakeasy in the 1v1. This has been such a
good aim. Oh my
right
gosh.
1v2.
A shot.
Much needed clutch up for Newers to stem
yes,
the bleeding
Weibo on
from
map
Dark Zero.
Such a hard spot to be in there if you're hard, right? You're 1
Wow.
HP outside the window. If you jump into this barbed wire or a trap or a person waiting for you, you're as good as dead. So he's staying on the exterior of the building
that
until
doesn't
that
show
final
you what
moment in the
aiming head level
we
does.
had no other
I don't know
option.
what does.
But Newers, great job, pushed forward, isolated gunfights, found the first. Then it's just a matter of taking down the Blackbeard, which again, 1 HP because that C4 early on to Speakeasy did all the damage required in that round. A lot of good moments though again from Weibo. It's not a round loss where they fall apart early. It's a round loss where they do a really good job early on.
No, they didn't
Solved
change
on the
anything
fly,
up since
adapted,
SLC.
got into a plant position, and had it not been a trade between Kino and Turtsta to get into that 1v2, the coverage would have been perfect. So we're talking tiny details of adjustment here for Weibo.
Mark.
Or so DC gotta dig a little bit deeper probably in towards the problems. We saw it on Nighthaven Labs. Thankfully for DC, they find the first round, and the problems of the past won't chase them right at the heels. Not yet, at least.
5 seconds to go.
Still, there's one thing to win a round in a clutch, another thing to win a round because you played it convincingly. And a
round win is a round win. In 3 rounds from now, you won't recall what happened that first one.
Sure, but a lot of the micro went wrong there for DZ. Weibo have a lot of bite on their attacks. Don't forget, remember the start of last map? It was very similar. Yes. DZ won a lot of rounds off of small moments. Now, Weibo Gaming lost a 7-0 earlier in the tournament to Virtus Pro and came back to win the next 2 maps. I talked to Gohan after the game and he said, I was very happy after we lost that 7-0. We had an embarrassing result, but we knew exactly what went wrong in all these minor details. We knew exactly what to fix for the next 2 maps. And I think we've seen that in a few of these rounds where Weibo have let it slip. I hope that DZ are thinking the same because, especially on their attacking side, too much has been going wrong.
Turtsta Fuse LMG. Hoven playing the Nook, creeping around. Speakeasy on the Monty.
Spiker said it, they play weird.
Yeah, how do you prep for this? I'm not sure you do. A Clash Shield. Well, that means that Nook sneaking
There goes the
around,
sneaky
no longer
aspect.
effective. They'll be watching out for that. Newers looking for a backstab as well. Here's each other. Question is, do you want this fight if you're Hoven? Because the Clash can close in. You gotta get out of there. And he will jump out the window. Don't want to get 2v1'd. Yeah. Progress elsewhere is okay, but Speaky tanked the C4 earlier, I believe, from Newers, which means his health bar is not looking too great. Has to really respect Kino now with the Toxic Babes.
And you can see DZ continue pulling on back. They're happy to give up this map control again and look for a retake later in the round.
Smart there. He's worried about the verticality in the crossfire from that angle.
And here comes the Fuse to actually open up some of that verticality. This is such a strange attack here from Weibo, but DZ actually
really
also
is.
defending it in a very unorthodox way as well.
DZ's low-key holding it for a lot of time.
The Clash is an instrumental part of this defense.
Yep, that's the whole retake as well. Bit of a battle. There's like an island in the middle, right, that nobody wants to go into. Turtsta goes down from Newers, who's still downstairs by the rocket staircase, and so open things up with DC and further stall out the push.
Problem is here for Weibo is having top floor control is only good if you can go for an execute. Now they do pivot. We've got 2 players dropping down below. As Hoven needs to try and prevent the retake. Indeed, he does. He wants to try and get up in Foltz's face as well, as that Clash continues baiting back and forth. Meanwhile, the plant has been confirmed by Weibo. It's a difficult retake
even
now
know plant was down.
And Foltz. But with that Clash shield, they at least have a way to deal with Speakeasy. On the Monty. Oh, big shot on Gotti. If you can do enough damage on the Speakeasy, this might be possible. Newers tries to get up in his face. It's Reaps up on the vert above that needs to have a big impact. Speakeasy's taken down. It could even become a 1v3 if the revive can happen here. Indeed it will. But there's not a lot of time on the clock here for DZ. Reaps just has to prevent that counter defuse from coming out. And a shotgun kill up close from Jane.
Yo, that was lucky. That was so clutch from DZ. What a shot.
A little bit of a blunder there from Weibo.
What a shot from Foltz.
On the staircase where, guys, you have the 3 versus 2 effectively. Leave the guy injured, fall back, play the verticality. They were chasing for that kill confirmation.
I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that.
Monty extending inside the bomb side.
That was clean.
And you can fish for a couple
Janna was down. Look at the shot. That's a crazy shot.
Dies here unnecessarily.
And who's the Monty?
The revive and the retake and the round victory.
I don't know what the Monty is
that was a
doing.
bit of a shake there from Weibo.
Yeah, Weibo are shaking for the first time, but They'll take a tactical
Weibo call
timeout and
timeout?
immediately look to try and fix their mistakes.
I don't know if it's worth wasting a ban on him, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, Weibo did.
So
I agree.
just bring the mute out. Fuck
What do you
the
think
wall,
is what do you think is a good ban then?
Grim.
I think we're gonna go. Well, we're about to run a basement roam now. We could do Ram, then go for consolidation after, and like put Baja
Mirror
on the side
there.
type of deal for bunks, and then we play down for the basement consolidation after going roam here.
Yeah,
It
I
could be
think.
good, or
Yeah.
honestly just read.
If they repeat that, you need to be prepared, okay, guys?
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Come on. We are the best here, guys. Come on.
Come on.
We can win this shit, guys. Let's go.
Come on, guys.
Then we're gonna go for Armory.
Early round. When is Shopify playing?
Bit of confidence there at the end, just saying, come on guys, we got this with the best team that is here. And I think that's what they need, because a little bit of choking in the server, if you will, small indecisiveness,
Shopify is out.
and leadership.
They're all
a
at
little bit
home.
lackluster at the end of that round.
We just needed to stabilize for Weibo.
It really
Like, if
was a
you
matter of...
If you're Speakeasy, I mean, you've got a Monty alive and a post plant, you're going up against the Clash. What's the most important thing? Just don't feed the Clash.
Yeah, that's it, right? I mean, Holvin was in a top spot, found the injury, found the injure, and then just could not make up his mind.
Yeah.
Do you go up the staircase, do you push the Clash,
G2
you get out the
didn't even
door,
call for
wasn't
this
sure about it.
event.
But that's not the issue.
They
Holvin
did not
his
call
job.
for
He got the
EWC.
1-for-1 trade.
They
But
were
being
never in
outside
Paris.
the window, trying to fight back against the Clash,
the last
that's
teams left.
That's unnecessary.
And like I said earlier, I mean, literally, the
Obviously, DZ,
one reason why they
Weibo,
got Gotti instead of Ape is
Furio,
Weibo just wanted someone who
Wildcard.
simply wouldn't die. And I said this stat on the first map, but I'll say it again.
FaZe,
The best
Team Liquid,
survival rate
Alienware,
in the world in stage 1 at 52% of
Secret,
rounds survived.
and I'm low-key
And he's
forgetting
also
the
the
last.
top 6 at EWC with
EK.
41%, despite already losing 2 maps. You have other players who have played on teams that haven't even lost a map yet.
Yeah.
And Gotti is still in the top 6. And
These
yet
are
today,
all bad teams,
he's really
Arzen.
struggled.
There's
First
a
map,
reason
I
they're
wasn't
all
very
here.
impressed.
There's
Second
not
map,
bad teams.
1 and 2 so far. It's very
Who do I have?
uncharacteristic
Pigon?
out of Gotti.
It just means that he has to fix his own problems, so somebody else has to step up and cover for him. That was kind of what Reach was
Honestly,
doing
either like
in the first map,
Wildcard or
having a
FaZe.
stellar individual performance.
It's a
I like
problem for a lot of the
Wildcard right
Weibo players. Turd, Reaps, and Gotti have all been quite inconsistent.
Have to see though.
I tried to, Arzen.
For DC, they're gonna feel a lot better about this. They feel like they finally have control over the round, how to problem solve and reading correctly into Weibo. I think Newers in particular, I mean, he won the first round 1v2 clutch, and second round he gets 2 kills, and he finds the opening frag.
This is a
I mean,
direct.
that's massive.
Yeah. And I think DZ have really restabilized.
This is
a
a
lot of their
direct
read
with
on
the
the way
Goyo
that Weibo
insight.
are playing. They're happy to expect the unexpected and then play
This is
off
PC,
of what
this is PC.
happens. Last round, the plant went down. Didn't matter.
Arsen's
DZ
thing
say
recall.
that's fine. We've got 2 players. We can slowly find picks back. And another opening kill. Guess who it's onto?
Yep.
Gotti is dropping the ball. This is very uncharacteristic out of the Korean.
And DC also defending this in very unusual fashion. They're almost not even playing by the side itself. Instead, they're highly prioritizing holding top floor. 2 people watching the flank, 1 guy watching the vert. That means they're ready for a fight above, but also covering the player downstairs, Newers, who's playing that instrumental spot of locking down the bomb site. If he falls, they can push in deep, and then the round could fall apart for DC.
So close to that bomb site, so tempted to make a play onto it. Speakeasy does get inside. He knows he needs to find the kill onto Newers first, but he's straight into the crossfire.
Wow,
Great aim from Newers. Quickly minces up Speakeasy by shooting his feet, and a lot of damage as well, as Weibo Gaming are stalled out. But who other than Reaps will find the opening? Immediately followed up with the E1D, the Lions.
Does anyone know NJR is just ratting?
Well, we have players in the bomb side
Rank am
from
I?
Weibo. It's not enough.
M2 on my main.
With the shield
They have
being
not
dead,
getting a
who's gonna
chance
make
this
that
season.
push? I mean, you look how unsure Weibo are about the player locations. Nowhere
Nope.
Newers is.
No one knew.
But not about anybody else.
The vertical control is too powerful there, and Newers on the bomb side does eventually go down to Turd 1v3 as he can grab that defuse. Never mind, he can't because Foltz is watching it
Where's
from
live
up
at, Jay?
above. The most
Jay,
convincing
go
round we
to
have yet
Twitch
for
or
Dark
go to
Zero as
YouTube
they
and
go
search
3
up
straight on
Rainbow,
defense. Weibo burn their tactical timeout and
RAINBOW,
found
and then the
nothing
number
for it.
6.
A little
You
bit
should be
too
able to find
linear.
it.
A little bit too simplistic, but even when it's simple, it gets complicated.
Reaps is definitely your favorite
because
APAC
you
player.
have sole players, Speakeasy
From what
in the
I've seen
pipe,
from this
pushing
event,
Newers,
APAC has some like
sprinting, feet exposed, get shut
They've got
down by
some-
Newers
they've got some
immediately,
really
no
good players.
follow-up,
You
no
just don't really
trade,
hear about
and
them
also you
as
have the
much, you know?
diffuser. So they lose
There's
everything
Reaps,
with 1
there
member
was
dying.
Shuri on CAG.
Lost, lost Gotti early. Alberta Bands,
Also
Orion,
like
Deimos.
DD on CAG.
I'm all for it. Again, Weibo got to deal with so much utility. Well, Maya's gone, makes life easier.
Best player is
about the
Cyber.
verticality
100%,
and information
100%,
gathering lethality
100%.
off that vert. Bit of tilt because Speakeasy now 2 rounds in a row has made a couple of errors.
Yeah, he keeps dying on the shields just by exposing his feed. Perhaps he's not used to playing against players that are so quick and unfearing of those shields, and because it's a skill issue, right? Like, you have to quickly flick down to the feet, land enough damage to try and get the down. And with the TCSG, that time to kill, time to injure by the feet,
It's a few shots.
It's 2 to 3 bullets depending on how much damage you've taken outside of that. And Speakeasy perhaps not used to players being so quick to land that.
Bandits are out.
3 rounds in a row, Dark Zero found the opening kill, 3 rounds in a row, and they have looked better every single round as it goes. Remember that first round,
Well,
that top
what do
on
you
the top
think, man?
floor.
Yeah.
Weibo
Who do you think's the
looks
best
poised to
player?
win it. It was a clutch from Newers. Second round in, plant down, looking Weibo favored, and DZ retake. Third round was the first time that DZ looked well and truly in control.
And now they're flipped the way they're gonna win, right? Now they're gonna play 2 Burrow Bandit, and then playing Goyu and Smoke. All about the clock, burning down the timer. I think also recognizing that Weibo are gonna slow down the game right now because they're dying early, they're making mistakes, they're like getting caught off guard. So if you expect them to play slower, you're playing time denial, you're double dipping.
Yeah, this is good read from DZ.
You're also forcing them into like problem solving at, I want to say, like at the highest level.
Nah, you're trolling,
I
guys.
think
You're trolling,
the
man. You're
dance
trolling.
around the bandit batteries and the hard reaching is such a beautiful way of playing the game. And right now in the attack and lineup, who's supposed to go downstairs and deal with NGR? I mean, everyone has a primary weapon, but there's no operator right now where like, oh, we're gonna deal with the bandit. That's because NGR was hiding in server room the entire drone phase.
Yeah.
Weibo probably don't even know that bandit existed until the round started.
And one of the best counters to that bandit is the Deimos that DZ banned. The Deimos that
Sophia below would be good, IQ.
Very
but
true.
yes.
Any vertical operator. We've even seen Weibo recently rocking the buck as well. A bit of an old school way to do the vertical.
Of course, home with the bailiff second a shotgun could become that vert operator, but again, he's fighting against maybe a roamer. They don't know because again, Deimos track. They don't have solid snake available. The vert is there. He sees it and feels the pressure. But if you don't get those bandit batteries off the wall, the hard breacher cannot do.
Am I the guy that does the music?
That means that you have people in wasted positions, not helping each other progress the round, and you're not getting further.
Not even close.
Then you start feeling pressured and stressed in the server, and you start brute forcing a play, getting impatient, and maybe getting caught off guard again.
Yeah. And as we saw on the face cams earlier, a little bit of tilt from Weibo.
Dude, is
Very
Weibo
early
gonna
in the game
get
to
in the
tilted,
building?
I must admit. So they've got to make sure they keep their mental in check. And
Oh, Weibo won first
continue
time, I was
working
saying.
through
Sorry,
the
I didn't
checklist in
see
this
it
round
earlier.
because,
Early comments.
as you said, the win condition here for DZ is the clock, and they've already burned 2 of the 3 minutes.
And they haven't
Yeah,
done
they really
the hard
have.
reaching. Turns is AFK the entire round watching a flank. Hobbin look up the vert. Now they're getting gassed up on the main staircase. I mean, what exactly is the win condition? They're going to have to flip the attack for the 3rd time. There's not enough time left for that. 55 seconds.
This is a
and
little
only
aggressive
2
from
people, now
Kino, but I
3,
mean, you
have
get a
even
shot.
entered
I
the
like it.
building.
Kino's got the read, but he might be revealed here
What a
by the Grim
flank.
Bees. And indeed, the flank from Foltz with the TCSG in hand on the Goyo.
I don't think they know either.
DZ are in perfect positions to win this, and they don't even need to make the first move. Turd, an unusual
Missed every
miss from
shot.
him as Foltz are able to get away safely. Kino as well contesting with the shotgun in close range, hungry for more. Gets taken down, but Turd is also on the floor. Reaps finally
the timing.
wrenches over the numbers advantage here for Weibo, but the time is of the essence. DZ still maintain the map. They still have the bomb site. It's going to be 15
He's right
seconds
there.
What?
left. How do you not see him? Gotti finally takes an NTR. It's J90 and Foltz to clutch up, but they have an impact and a nitro cell between them. Now it's just
5
up to
seconds.
J90. This was looking like the best round Weibo had had up until Reeves comes up big with the
What
triple.
if TCSG was on attack? I'd
Finally,
uninstall the
Weibo
game.
off the donut and onto the scoreboard.
Not the way you want to win a round, but thankfully they just get the round regardless.
You know what I think
Everything
killed
fell
DZ that
apart.
round?
The time, the wing
Going
condition, the
for a
only
flank
breeze
when
to
it's a
reinforce well there from
5v5.
Gotzi with 20 seconds left on the clock. And no easy way forward even after getting that breaching done. Thursday went even upstairs as Simon thankfully ran away. Turk gets revived to get 2
Reeps is
kills.
that guy
Kinda
on this
bites
team?
them
Yeah.
Enough
Oh, yeah.
space in the server.
He is, dude.
But
Reeps is nasty. He plays on a high sense too.
Right
like, that sense is super high.
Difficult problems to solve in the server
Hudson,
and not showing their full hand in the drone phase. So they're now making Weibo play how they
from the
felt
doorway.
like
I don't know. That was NGR, by the way.
Oh, they're not doing the prep work. Now we gotta adapt on the fly.
I don't know what he's doing.
It feels like that's the kind of flair they're putting into this matchup, saying, hey, you don't know what we're doing. Have fun figuring it out.
But again, mid-round mistakes can cost the round. For example, NJR was the bandit prone on the floor in the bomb site.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was just the noise and calamity of what was happening in the server, but he didn't hear the breach open up behind him.
Maybe he thought it was clear, like he rotated away or whatever.
Exactly. And it meant that he wasn't in a safe position. There are a lot of safe positions still to play on that bomb site at that time.
Yeah.
If DC
I'd probably go with what Raid said.
Play the clock just a little bit more, perhaps they would have won 4-0.
Also, small thing, Kino did burn 2 toxic babes on the rocket staircase when there were nobody from Weibo because Force was downstairs. Yeah. They arguably probably should have thought that it was clear.
A lot of respect for Weibo.
Well, Weibo did rotate off it because they did have that person. They did flank
Snake
it
is just genuinely insane.
But if that toxic babe was on side,
I think he's a lot easier to use than
what
Dope.
if?
Still a bit scary. A round should not come down to the clock having less than 10 seconds there for Weibo getting into the bomb site. But we'll see. This bomb site here was, again, a very strange attack last time and a very strange defense from DZ. They brought the clash out once again for the second and final round of the half. Oh, Newers might be on for a run out here. Doesn't have the read. Doesn't know Speakeasy's droning. That would have been a free kill.
Again, just a bit of quiet before the storm happens. We know that once the fighting starts, it's not going to end until the round is over. DC, they will either lash out first with the clash, utilizing a push with a gun behind it, or it'll be Weibo finding a gap somewhere and finding an opening pick. Newers has been so good at playing the solo lurk game.
Yeah.
Just his game sense of understanding where he should be and where the enemy could be as well. When you saw the window prep, there was 2 attackers right outside. And then things, okay, don't get me called, they might know.
Gonna go for a plant.
Thatcher, Smoke, Monty.
This could very much be on. Is there any smoke in position from Kino? NJR has to get active right up close and personal. He doesn't realize that she was blocking the damage, but not enough.
What a play from NJR. That's bomb there.
Has been denied for now, which is exactly what DZ needed. The win condition has been found as Kino immediately follows up onto Hoven.
Dude, I think that Monty was like a second off from getting the plant down.
Round maybe would have been possible if Reeps had found that kill. Now he's in the bomb site. He has the defuse. He might be able to EMP out that bulletproof camera and look for a plant himself, but it is a fickle affair. There's a vert above him. There are flank opportunities, especially from the main stairs.
They have no real intel either. Smoking it in pocket of Gotsi though. Maybe Smoke can go for a plan, but then Gotsi has to pop off with the coverage. Ideally, you find a kill here for Weibo, but DC, they can just sit back. They got a camera inside, so that's no longer EMP. They got full intel on the push and the plant.
It's time on the board here for Weibo to play this out for the next 10 seconds to feel out whether they can take a 1v1. A 2v2 might just be possible. Reeps, though, needs to land his shot, and it's not going to be easy when the angle there from that staircase obscures his position. Now he once again does go for the denial of the info, but Newers is still watching the vert, and this is going to be a 4th round for DZ, I'm sure of it.
Planting on top of the vert.
This should be easily deniable from the vert. A good read from Reeps to take down Kino, but surely not going to find a second or even a third. There'll be 3 seconds of 0 on the clock as the Nitro Cell
How does that Nitro not kill him?
He's forced off, and DZ will win the round on time.
Wow.
We're talking half a second, James.
Dude, that was so close.
Saved the round
that
for
was
DC,
so close.
sprinting on in, waves the entire
game-winning play right there. It was NJR. NJR's kill on Monty.
Speakeasy. But also, you're planting in the smoke. You can't see through. There's no glass behind them. It was just a regular gun. I think it was Reeps himself actually looking. Yeah, right there. So that smoke and it works both ways. It's super risky to plant in the smoke like that. I guess they are hoping to catch them all by surprise, and they wouldn't be thinking, oh my god, they're going for a plant. But guys, when you're smoking and EMPing with that, you're kind of telling them that what you're going to be doing.
For sure. I mean, there's no way that
everyone else uses the
DMR.
I think it's better.
In that position. And the smoke coverage was not vast enough to obscure the plant position, right? Like, you've got one smoke, you know you're somewhere in that smoke, you can pre-fire a lot of the obvious positions. If they threw another smoke deeper, then they might have been wondering, oh, is the plant happening a little bit further up? Maybe he has to pre-fire more positions. But as soon as he starts shooting and he hears the bullets hit the shield, he knows roughly where that Monty is. Another option would have just been flashing while that smoke was there, because even if he knows where it is, while he's flashed, he's not going to be able to land those shots. I mean, his chances drastically reduce. So DZ, look, another round where it comes down to such a narrow margin, but a win is a win. Yep. And 4 rounds of defense is exactly what DZ need when they fail to attack even for a single round on Nighthaven Labs. I think they'll have a lot more confidence moving into the second half here, especially if they can find fit.
It also does make the story of a third map that much more exciting, that it's a close loss on the second so far for Weibo in the rounds. Yeah, it's not been a landslide. You cannot write them out just yet.
Scoreline might not be close, but the rounds certainly are.
And I also will praise DC's playstyle. They are not giving, I was going to say, any easy openings here for Weibo any longer. They keep falling back, playing the layers, giving up map control.
Archie, I do think it's just defenders.
And the reason why they can continue to do so is they keep playing utility operators, right? Whether it's going to be the Cass and the Jaeger like right now, Plan Denial, Lactashanga or Smoke, then still having information for the gunfights in traps.
Thank you for the follow.
Notably here, the Ela and the Thorn. But they also have Slayer, Util, and Pocket. 2 Griswold Mines from NGR. 1 Razor Blue and Thumb, Kino on the side. They're expecting active usage against Shields, for example, but also, as this round will change, they will start putting down those traps in areas where they need them. So for a specific staircase, a specific door, when they surrender the flank watch, for example. So when a gun can only watch the angle, Grisma goes out, now you're watching the angle for me.
I tell you what though, Speakeasy here is running primary shotgun on the sledge, which means that once he creates the vert, he's going to be fighting Kino, and he will have the HP advantage in a shotgun v shotgun battle, which he should realistically win.
But it is Kino. It is that guy believes he's a bit more shotguns than anybody else. It's a bit more lethal, does a bit more damage on range, he shoots a bit faster. That's the Kino special. He's going to be the playmaker, stock and toxin behind a shield, stock all the way deep in the corner. Very unusual location, but it counters the vert. There is a frag grenade in pocket of Speakeasy, so if there's no ADSs, he
I think there's an ADS on his shield now.
But if he has a bit of coverage from that Jaeger device, that could be everything.
Oh, never mind. Speakeasy goes down. Yeah, I don't think they knew that Nuaz was holding this position deep inside. Reeps has snuck into the bomb site, takes a little bit of damage. They know where he is. This is Holven. Reeps, though, does finally jump inside, take matters into his own hands and take down Nuaz. He's now deep into the bomb site, but falls with it. A chunker will finish off Holven. Defuse still remains on Gotti. Weber have 30 seconds to get into the bomb site and look for a plant position. They are deep, but they have to go for the pigs and the cover there. The crossfire. As the flank comes through from J90, DZ maintain dominance on their defensive side. Is turned up against the world, and he can't even find the first. It's a 1v4 for the young Kiwi as he looks for a second. J90 and NJR say absolutely not today. It's DZ with a 5-1 domination on their defense as we move in to the halftime vibe check.
What was that?
All right, real quick, we're doing the base package here. A couple things I need to recap though for us. Bulker, for whatever reason you want to go for a trophy side OPK, remember the protocol in case they have like the Cade / like tube extension. We actually put you on that window. You bounce the nade off the top to get rid of that tube if we want to open that wall up early. Make sure we're doing that. If we want to do that for whatever reason. We're actually putting you on the window. Don't play it from deep off that. And then Jack, obviously, you're going to be holding for his fucking rocker run down on that. Other things to note here, fellas. We're doing the standard bans, which means that bathroom side with a Thorn ban. It also means that the shields in play are going to be really good right now because they're not going to have the clash.
Hey, big and bro.
For the third ban, you guys are going to read it based off arc, obviously. The only thing that I would say to watch out for that I could...
Hey, relax it. You are every round trying. Oh, and now. Bro, you don't have Dalbats. We have a plan and you follow. Okay? This is the big problem here, guys. We have a plan and we are not following. Instead of doing what we are good, we are doing what? Things that you are trying to discover now. Guys, this is not, you know, this will lead us to defeat. The thing is, pay attention now, guys. They like to come on top floor. Zulu, shield split. Bathroom, 2 guys on shield, on art. So the thing is, pay attention on that. We already have a plan. We need to follow. We don't need to try to improve 10 times one thing we don't need, you know? Yeah. That's the thing, guys. So let's trust in the map. Let's trust in the map we have. Until now, you guys are just trying. You lose 2 rounds and start to get scared to lose. Guys, forget about this. We don't have pressure. Remember yourselves during the game now. Remember, they have the pressure. They will have a big pressure to finish this.
It feels very much like a battle of the coaches. Both mentioned the presence of the shields in the bathroom with the Thorn Pen and where the attack will happen and where the defenders start to
watch
fight
it on
back
Spike?
as well.
Go
and
to Twitch or YouTube and search up
here
Rainbow,
you become afraid of
RAINBOW.
losing
And then the number
you can
6,
play to
and
win,
you'll find the
or you can play
broadcast.
to lose. Always making the safe play, not taking the risk, and also doubting yourself in those moments. We saw the hesitation when Gotti had a red ping on Kino's Thorn, refusing to swing for the gunfight. When he did go for a swing, he's hip-fired, looking the wrong direction, extend being a bit scared of failing in that big moment.
Yeah, for sure. Also quite notable the difference where Corlat was all strategy, all tactics, all, okay, this is what we're going to do, this is what they're going to do. He does also leave a lot of power with the players. He says, if you want to do that, that's what you can do.
You're not muted.
On the flip side of that, a lot of Gohan's tactical timeout for Weibo was mental. And when I spoke to him after they beat Virtus Pro, which of course they lost 7-0 on the first map, he said, I think this team's mental game right now is the best it's ever been, and I'm so proud of them for that. But we haven't seen that so far on this map, because as Gohan said, why are we trying new things, right? You don't need to try new things mid-game when you know what's tried and tested from before. You're coming up with an idea to counter something. I mean, it's nice in theory to play loosely, but do that after our defaults don't work, right? If you lose one round to a clutch, that doesn't mean you have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, as they say. You can stick to what parts of the strat work and try something more. I think this will work better for Weibo. Now they're on defense. Yeah. They don't have to iterate as much. They can come in with the strats that they've written, with the prep that they have brought into today, and stick to their guns.
You don't think anyone says that?
Aspect, but
I know. I don't think anyone
says
that.
Not enough in my mind. I mean, you have to be basically flawless to have a fighting chance.
I like the smart plays. I like the IGLs.
Anything is possible, as we always like to say. Do not count anybody out too early, but it just feels like DC right now, the way they were meant to rotate on the defensive side,
still hasn't gotten a kill. The same thing happened last game too, even when Weibo was up.
Have that same mentality on the attack. Utilizing Kino's shields with the Clash and Thornban. It is gonna be Kino's game to win right now on the attacking side, because he has almost no direct counters against him. I'm surprised he went for the Blackbeard, but this is the time for it, because he's much more sheltered given those other events. The Muncie would be the super
That's a really good keep. I'm feeling that one.
Yeah.
But you're going to get the frag grenades, worst gone.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you do really expect DZ to lean into the shield here, as Kino, one of the better shield players in the world. American flag there on the commando for J90. The 4 Americans on the squad for DZ have really helped forge a new era for North America. Of course, Kino as well won the most recent 2 major wins for North America. One with Dark Zero, one back in last November in Munich with M80. Nice vert game here from Newers on the buck, as Hoven starts feeling that pressure, though somewhat supported by the keeper barriers.
All about the process right now for DC, right? The place that they excel at. Step 1, get the buck downstairs, get a bit of use the flashbang from the window repel, and then walk in the Blackbeard. That's all you need to do. Kino will lead the charge on all the entries off this map. That's step 1, conquered here for DC. Upstream control. And now, they've also shown a bit of their hand, right? The moment you hear that buck skeleton key downstairs, you need to start communicating as well. But okay, what does this mean for us? Mirror window locations are very scary all of a sudden, because you can get pre-fired from beneath. So now you have a choice to make. Send the defender downstairs and fight for the vertical space beneath the bomb site, or simply just say, don't play in the usual pre-fireable spots. We can see bottom right, second floor, second floor, second floor. No one's fighting downstairs up against Newers. So Weibo are now backed in very specific player positions, trying to avoid the verticality from Buck downstairs, but also the Blackbeard pushing laterally upstairs against them. It's a very tough spot to be in if you're Weibo, and they have to be super sharp at where they use the toxic bridge from Gotti and that 1C4 from Speakeasy, which is prepped right now in his hand.
It's actually a flip as well from DZ. Kino keeps changing his mind. He was going to push R6 room a moment ago. Nitro Cell for Speakeasy is one of the only tools that they have to deal with Kino. And 2 impacts from Reaps. He doesn't have any other Grizz.
He got 30 seconds left.
As the drone sneaks onto the bomb site. Speaking of sneaking, look at Turd. He actually has made his way downstairs, eager for a flank onto Newers, who's looking to push Bane at the moment. DZ continue changing their mind. That's a very early blow of the Nitro Cell from Speakeasy. You have to find a kill in this game as Reaps is feeling that pressure, but Kino walks into the crossfire as Speakeasy finds one before he's traded on back. DZ are falling, but now J90 knows exactly where Reaps is. Doesn't matter, he still wins the fight regardless. DZ get their team to the bomb site, but cannot bite down.
Am I playing ranked today, Josie?
Very
no,
good job
I'm
there
not.
from Weibo.
Not
Again,
today,
almost doing what DC did against them. Again, playing the right locations with a good crossfire, so no one swinging, isolated. And this also going back to my previous point, I was surprised about the Blackbeard. Munty will walk all over that setup because there's no way to die, really. Blackbeard does have that slight vulnerability. The Griswold Mine, the Soul C4, and the Crossfire angles is a lot more effective against the shield. That's not the Munty. And Kino did struggle a little bit. He gets in, but he's in the Crossfire like I mentioned before. They get the intel, but not the follow-up. It's going to be a slow and steady grind. But mind you, if you're Weibo, there's more to play for than just the comeback on this map. There is a possibility of a third of Clubhouse. And right now the goal is also just getting settled into the series. Going like down 1-7 on the second map, and now you play Clubhouse, doesn't feel very good. Not a lot of confidence in the mind of the players. If you go, you know, 3 rounds straight here for defense, you lose 7-5, for example, it feels a lot better. Guys, small issues, not a big deal. That clutch, that round takes down with OT, like, you can start almost like gaslighting yourself in a way, but in a positive manner, saying that was a super close game. Because the scoreline easily shows it. It's a lot harder as a player to lose 1-7 and go, I know all the mistakes we did,
Reeves
they were
is
super
genuinely,
minor.
he's the only one carrying Weibo.
Yeah. Look, if we do get to Clubhouse, it's going to be a very curious one because DZ play a hell of a lot of that map. They played it 8 times
fits it.
in the last 6 months. Weibo on the flip side, they've only played it thrice in the last 6 months. One of which was a 7-0, so not a lot of info from that. One was an 8-6 over VP, very close. DZ also went 7-8 against FaZe on that map. If you push FaZe that close, oh my god, that was a nuke.
How did he survive that? I was Ram alive.
From way off the pitch. Fultz thankfully doesn't die, but he was probably a bit confused. How did I just take 40 damage?
Harvin sticking around. Again, you want to min-max how many drones you can find. There's 3 reasons for falling back on an extension. You kill enough drones, you burn enough time, or you get enough kills. You reach any of those criteria, you can fall back happily. Shotgun be not shotgun. Gotti, of course, successful against Newers. Though could be off the board. A huge operator later in this round. And with that kill, you get that checklist. Guys, 5v4, fall back to side. Keep numbers up. Reach finds another. They're not done fighting just
yet. Dude, DZ hasn't won an attack yet on Weibo.
Still a player all the way on the top floor is Toad as well. DZ
turn
has
this around.
so much work to do, and we still have time delay. For Weibo Gaming, there's a Vulcan canister which can now be popped. A little bit of an unfortunate angle. Reeves has also gone for a flank on the ground floor, and he's not the only roamer as well. Gotti and Turd still remain. NJR and Kino have a mountain to climb. And I don't expect them to be able to take more than the first few steps.
See, this is the issue. When the Munty becomes one of the last attackers alive and not in the entry battle, you're not really able to play around the shield. So General falling early, Newers falling early, trying to go for the gap finding, it's almost like a contradiction to the playstyle. Of course, you can try and go for both, whatever works. Wow. You know, finds Gotti. Again, he plays the smoke, he plays his shields, he knows what the weaknesses are.
I shot they win this, right? 2v5.
He has to find a few more than just that. The Nara Laser, Goyo Fire, and the Illa Griswold Mines. He is fighting the whole world and the whole server and dies on using his heartbeat scattered on that wall.
All up to NJR, 1v4. As most of the players have made their way back to site, Turd still on the very top floor. A little bit of an ill-advised peek from Reeps. You can afford to have one player do that. Do not feed him, 20 seconds. One more flash in pocket. Here comes the vert from Turd. And the round for Weibo.
Neither team can attack on this map, but the thing I will say is when DZ left it at a 3-3 split for not hitting and then lost the next 4 attacks. And they've lost these first 2 attacks on layer.
Or loosely play the Munty, because this right here, if Newers gets the kill, insane value, right? Almost like round defining. But on the flip side, if he dies, it's the same story. It's super high risk with super high reward. But when you got the Munty, it is the most stable, consistent, and safe operator in the game on the attacking side. So it feels a bit like you're trying to do too much there in the server. But DC, when you're leading with 3-4 rounds, whatever, in the half, you can afford to try and play a bit risky. See if it works. If you get shot down, now you switch it. The only other issue here is that if Weibo wins this upcoming defense, you get operator ban
Ghosty, thank you for the harmony, Ghosty.
All of a sudden, that combo changes. Now we're looking at 5-4, still favoring DC, but with the Munty being gone. And yes, they've invested, a ban into the Thorn and the Clash to enable the Blades, the Fuse, the Blackbeard in case of a Munty ban. But still, it is going to make your life just a little bit more challenging. And also force you to change your playstyle if you're Dark Zero.
It's funny seeing that Gotti has now found the last 2 opening kills in a row. but also has 2 opening deaths to his name as well.
No,
Very
DZ needs to win this
unusual. Like I
attack,
said,
or
this
they
guy
need to win
usually
this.
plays on the back line. I wonder if something is changing for Weibo with the roles a little bit, where they're happy to put Gotti in a bit more of an aggressive position, but it's strange to see. It's working sometimes, it's not working other times. There was one game in the tournament so far where Gotti had an unbelievable showing. It was against Furia, their first match of the tournament, 136 EPS. I think he dropped 10 plus kills. Very unusual to see Gotti, the man, to have that kind of an impact here on the front line.
I woke up at
Weibo.
6:30, bro.
But now on the defense, they're tested yet again. It's a different bomb site. And a new day of the week for Weibo Gaming. DZ look to try and attack the tertiary bomb site.
Again, all about the Monty. First in the building, guns following after. You get a constant string of information. Kino goes somewhere, you follow him. Now, when you are doing that playstyle, you gotta be very mindful of one thing in particular, the verticality. All this floor beneath them is soft. Having a player or a drone downstairs, just kind of checking in. Is there a C4 downstairs? Is there a person roaming? Well, Speakeasy says, I'm here.
First pick on
Takes
Falls.
down Falls in the
Jeez,
thermite.
dude.
They have 2 C4s in pocket, one upstairs and one beneath. Plus, of course, the Solace. So DC gotta play both floors at the same time.
Oh, Grishmar does lead Kino to take a lot of damage. No more in pocket here for Gotti. I think the right move here is to fall on back. Peel back the layers of this defense. Weibo still have such a fortified position. And Monty does leverage an opportunity here for DC. Time to lash out for Reeves. Good kill onto NJR. Kino still needs to have an impact with that Monty. Needs to enable Newers and Jano to find kills. What are we doing? Going for a bait peek. Trying to go for the cheeky little play, but it doesn't work out whatsoever. The duo of Speakeasy and Gotti happy to counter up that shield. It's Newers in a 1v5 as every single round that passes looks better for Weibo on their defense. 2 straight as DZ are yet to find an attacking round in this series at all. It's a 3rd flawless round in this match for Weibo Gaming.
Such good position again. Weibo taking the fights in the correct areas. Crossfire downstairs. The verticality being utilized correctly. Kino trying the multi-take, but when down in numbers, not enough guns to support him behind, it's not a favorable fight to take.
Yeah, kick Kino off the Monty, bro.
So DC,
I don't think he's doing anything.
Bit of a
He's
struggle
really not doing
attacks.
anything.
I'm curious if we do see that Monty ban, or Weibo deem that it's not actually a big problem for them because they've been great at countering it. On the flip side, what would you ban for the defense? Could be the Goyo, could be Intel, could be Wamai, could be Smoke
And
as well.
Smoke.
Dark Zero immediately take their tactical timeout.
Yeah, if they don't bring them out.
All right, Bulger, on master side, push the Jones here. If they're extended out trophy, I want to do that like old school rush that we do, where we open up the fucking exterior breach, and then because they're probably going to compare those wall now, and then we go in with the Sens and the Thatcher on that. If they are not extended out, they're consolidated back. Let's take the hard reach, get bond the vertical option of establish pressure on trophy side, and make sure we have redundancy of hard reach for the supply side as well. And then we can either look to go catalyze tank or through supply off that. So it's kind of if or they're extended on that. If site's bunks right here, we're going to look for one of the top cranks, preferably tank side, just due to the fact that we banned the Thorn, or we can look for the site rush, like straight on. And then basement, I don't think they're roam like that again. If they do, either hit the Amaru crank or just go straight for site. But in general, I can't really predict what their basement's going to look like. Push the Jones, just call it as you see.
Good.
Wow. That's the word right there being mentioned more than once. Crank it. Right?
Crank, bro.
It's the DC slice former, SG slice former Charlie's classic that they love to use. And honestly, I'm all for it. And a big stylistic change here to come up for DC as well.
Bro just uses tactical timeout to call about 5 different rush strats for
It's
different
the options, right? This bomb site, this kind of strategy. And what I heard from a lot of that is a lot more dynamic. It almost speaks to like...
the Weibo cracker.
It almost sounds like more like the gap finding meta where we're not going 4 guys behind the Monty looking at one door in front of us. We're going to fan out, attack a lot of areas of the building. We're going to bring more hard breach than necessary to apply that destruction pressure as well.
Redundancy.
Exactly, redundancy with both sides. And then you also kind of call their bluff. If they go basement, I don't think that they're roam like that again.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good read as well because Weibo have been bringing pocket strats to the equation and to great success in this BO3.
Yeah, but DZ did call, if they do go basement again, we do the Amaru crank. Now, I don't know if you remember, we casted a game in APAC. It was from Daystar, and they had one of the most incredible Amaru strats to rush basement. And you're thinking, wait, there are no windows on basement. How do you rush? Rush through the sky bridge and then into the hallway to rush the guy at the stairs. if we end up seeing basement, I really hope that DZ try and make that play. Perhaps they won't realize that it was also played in APAC.
That's the thing. DC will know NAL quite well, but it's not common to watch every game for every region all the time.
That clip did go gangbusters on Twitter, so
it did actually do numbers.
Hopefully for call out, they have seen that strat and they will realize Weibo definitely will be aware of it.
Could also be a different crank entirely. We'll have to wait to find out. Hopefully they bring it out though, because I do love me a good Amaro round.
Oh yeah, me too.
Just for the surprise factor. For now though, he mentioned the Sense also, that's being brought out.
Yeah, they were talking about a rush plan on the top floor, but I didn't quite understand exactly where he was thinking of placing these Sense gadgets.
So it's either or, right? If we see the setup that way or this way. And I think for DC right now, we'll almost go back to the card as you see it, because right now you have options. You have frontal attack, you have back motion attack. If the frontal can work, go for it. But I see it to Shanka.
Oh,
I see it with Mayan and Warden. I feel like the frontal attack is going to be incredibly dangerous and quite risky to pull off unless you find a pick or two. And how can you find them? Newer's downstairs. But he's solo checking the flank Jones, solo doing the vert. He isn't being given a ton of resources. So if he's going to be the playmaker, the main man from below, I would like to see DC investing one guy or help him do that job.
Well, one way or another, Pengu here, DZ will either find map point or Weibo will finally catch them, tie the scoreboard. Kino goes all the way through the hallway on the top floor. Does he continue lapping up more map control? He's about to meet a few more choke points, and he cannot risk facing some of that Tachanka fire, as it will guard break his shield.
Wall finally opened up as well.
Oh, wait, hold up. This guy's screwed.
But either way,
oh, he's playing on Mamais.
Holman just jukes it, he sidesteps it. He does, but now he's vulnerable to the buck down below as his Azami Keeper barrier has been taken down. Newers will finish him off. Opening kill for the first time on the attacking half for DZ.
Planning is possible. Sense wall goes out. Kino can play default, but Tachanka is there.
Oh, the Tachanka
goes out, doing a lot of damage, and this plan spot might catch them by surprise. They have no idea.
Deep enough. Does he continue firing at the Tachanka?
Kino,
someone
it misses him. What?
The
Tachanka misses? Wow.
Be a 4v4 retake here for
wow,
Weibo Gaming.
wow.
Speakeasy still has enough fire to kill Kino remotely if he sees him. Such low HP, the Nitro Cell almost takes him down, missing the gap there, but Fulton, Kino, and Newers together find kills.
Wow, look at that. They call attack timeout. Easy wins their first attack on Weibo.
On the back of that Blackbeard plant will make themselves
first attack win
in prime position to take the map.
It's a game we're talking a couple of seconds.
Easy might be 1 and 8
in the server. If that Shurima
like
fire
that.
from Tachanka reaches the correct plant location, it's an easy
1 and
plant
9
denial.
actually.
But the sense with the Blackbeard, it enables a new plant spot that you
can't
don't
do
see
that. I
very
think it's 1 and
often.
8.
Instead of the default wall on the right-hand side,
Look at that.
just go all the way
Now
left.
we're into
the Tachanka fire
match
doesn't
point.
spread very wide or very far. That's what the smoke does. Tachanka gets a lot more of them, but in a smaller area.
And there was a Solus pick,
how are they
but
gonna
it
do
wasn't
with
in
this,
position to make sure. Oh wait, no.
this
Am I getting
round?
that wrong? Maybe it wasn't a Solus pick. I'm looking at the wrong round.
I was going to say, I don't remember a Solus,
I'm
but
looking at the wrong round.
Oh, wait, yeah,
So
cool,
I'm
I'm
looking
sorry.
back at the operators that were brought there. There was potential for impacts on Ella and on Goyo, but we didn't see them placed because the impacts could have potentially destroyed the Sen's barrier and...
Yeah.
No, I'm looking at this round. I'm looking at the wrong stats again. Ella and Azami could have brought impacts there to potentially deal with the Sen's walls.
You can also impact deny the breach, and then you force them in the door, right? There's options there.
I think they used them earlier to stall out the hard breach. Look, credit to DZ. That was a very good attack and very lucky for them that the Tachanka fire didn't land, because in theory, Weibo had the ingredients to deny that plan.
They did. Also, gotta talk about, right, Reeves is 15 and 6. That first game, you know, performance is definitely bleeding into the second match as well. And
I mean, dude got 15 kills on the first map. Now he's hit 15 on the second.
That's
This is
30.
Reeves is going insane, dude.
What's the best of 3 lane kill?
I want to say 55.
I think so. Look,
55.
Unlikely that he breaks it, but you never know.
It is a very, very tall order. Again, the record, is that the best of 5 I'm thinking of? It feels like...
Let me double check. I can double check.
We'll double check
Give me a second.
I looked at it recently, but BO3, BO5, LAN online, there's a whole different...
I made a new channel in my Discord server called Records.
Yeah, I sent you the graphics.
Best of 3 is 50 on LAN. KZ and Dan have tied it. And best of 3 online is Citizen and Ambi have tied it.
Okay.
And then best of 5 is Gunner with 63.
Oh, 60. Okay.
But yeah, in a BO3 50, I mean, he's only 20 away from it. Anything's possible.
Yeah, still, I mean, into OT right here. No,
you know, on
with
the
that
Blitz.
conversation, but for
He was on a
now,
Monty
Weibo
last
has to
time.
get us there first.
Gotti falls back early, like we say, high survival rate. It does mean that when he's an extended player in a roam position, he will often surrender map control maybe 5-10 seconds before people usually would, which does mean a quicker roam clear here for DC. But then there's a second layer. Turtstad's top floor, still very much active on the roam, looking for a backstab later, while they push the front as well. That's a blitz. Do not want to get near it. Oh, the impact does a lot of damage on Aquino. He wants to try and bait him in. A lot more damage again. Tough, guys. Oh my. Still hasn't finished. Oh my god, he buys enough time to turn. He sweeps back down the staircase and finds 2 kills. Call out said Weibo would not have the guts to roam for a second round, and he was wrong. Pace off massively. Turtstad still actively though looking for more. And General finds Speakeasy, so all of a sudden side a bit vulnerable. The roam game is very risky because it can get back together to that staircase. They're on 2 different sides of the hallway. So Turtstad being abandoned almost to play on his own. They're wants to keep also thanking Lobby. This is super risky, guys. Reeves as well trying to back up as he decides to fall back to the bomb site. But Gotti finds fault. I don't even know where that happened. Perhaps
from where? From Breach.
Is now a flank
yeah,
opportunity
from Vert,
as they get active once again. Hoven for 3 in the round. It's J90 in a 1v4. Weibo have found their mojo back again. They just need to finish this round off, and then they're touching distance to OT. J90, once known as a clutch god, he has to sprint through that smoke, straight into Reeps' waiting arms.
6-5, bro.
16 kills on the map.
Wow.
31 in the series as Weibo continue pushing this map deeper. Bit of a pocket play once again. Catching DC by surprise seems to be the best way for Weibo to win. But doing that on defense is much harder than when you're on the attacking side, because they got the drone phase to scout out the bomb side and the general orbital lineup. That gives you intel of the idea from the defenders. So Turtstad going undroned, unnoticed, and unwatched on the flank while they distract them here with the impact grenades. It's a great play. But doing that again to get us into OT on a different bomb side, probably unlikely.
Do I have winning ZVR?
A little bit of frustration. The round
looks like it's going to be so Weibo right now, even though they're down.
They were missing. That thing was turd.
I don't know.
And the hide and the
DZ's just like
DZ's
just literally terrible at attacking
the
right
wing
now.
because you're gonna sprint to the building, just pop the heart breach on the wall, boom, they get sapped. And then you go, okay, we spent 1 or 2 Selma charges or can openers, and now we gotta go upstairs, do vert, etc. Oh, but that's what the roamers are. Okay, plan B, what's that gonna be? And that takes 20 seconds of conversation. So just by bringing the bandit and hiding it, that gives you something.
There's no real like standout on DZ. Like DZ's top frag is Newers, who's 10-7. The fattest standout right now for Weibo is the fact that Reeps
while he's holding his shield at a distance, as it is an electronic gadget. They've also got 3 nitro shells plus.
Well, it's not even that GBR. It's just like DZ's attacking,
so much ammo.
DZ's only won 1 out of like 9 attacks against Weibo in this series right now. Like DZ just can't.
Backup smokes here on Capital as well.
Whatever their attacks are, they're being countered
in the blink of an eye. Wherever they would like to go. For now, it's about establishing a foothold in the building. Landscape comes out. They're attacking top of a bathroom, like I spoke of earlier. Last chance to get it done. Regulation here for DC, but they find quickly a first trade.
Oh, that's Reeps. That's actually the Solus. That's actually not.
Hoven with a double C4 out of nowhere.
Wow.
Weibo Gaming have the advantage all of a sudden, and whatever the plan was to cook up here with the Glaz seems to have been stalled. It seems to have been thwarted. The defuse is being held by Turtstad. But DZ have 2 players not too far from each other, ready to try and execute. On to Speakeasy and Turd onto that top floor, testing distance back to back. These 2 Weibo players look to hold on. An awkward spot. The hatch is soft, not opened up. And Speakeasy has to rotate on over and open it himself, makes a lot of noise, and they get caught just running away from the fight. So I think right now we're gonna battle it 2 people v2 upstairs and have a backup safety and Hoven playing by the bomb side. But there's so much time. Minute 30 seconds. DZ can just slowly inch forward, make a bit of sound, force a bit of movement. I think if Turtstad and Speakeasy stay absolutely still, they will not know. But NGR, he's heard something. He's heard something indeed. They need to try and isolate kills one at a time. NGR does so. Turd falls back. He doesn't push for the refrag. He needs to win his 1v1. Full HP for him.
MR, whatever you say, man.
NGR and Newers, he still misses his shots. From the 2v3 now into the 2v1,
to 2v1.
It comes down to Hoven.
Don't sell it, right?
This round for Weibo with the double C4
50
kill.
seconds,
Now
they
he needs
broke
a
out.
double kill to
They don't
close
have
it.
drones.
Mind you, they got the glass team
They
out.
do
They
have some
can
drones.
pop the
There you go.
hatch. They got soft freeze from the Ash of Newers. They can force the
Oh,
mobility
what a
there.
good drone, actually.
Harvin doesn't see the drone. I believe they have information on him. Yellow ping's coming out. There are no smokes, so glass ineffective with gadgetry, but it's still a good DMR gun.
Should not be won here.
Oh boy.
By Hoven. DZ have every advantage they could possibly ask for, and he doesn't have a safe rotate hole with one player from watching above. Newers looks to peek him on the bomb side.
Newers
12
could
kills
go-
to his
could
name.
go for
Hoven
a plant
protects
now.
himself. But Newers will look to go deep. He finds the first one. DZ! You're feeding the beast!
Oh.
Don't let Hoven clutch up against you! Newers for the map. 12 kills, looking for number 13, but Hoven waits with the MP5K. No plant possibility. Newers needs to go for the kill.
Oh.
But he gets it.
Oh,
as
that's
Hoven
terrible.
hides
That's
away.
wow.
Slings
That
back
was
into his
close.
shell.
That
He
was
brings out
close.
the
That was
shotgun to
close.
no
Like, thank you for the follow.
and Dark
That was
Zero.
close.
A Dark
I would have
pulling
probably
their
wanted
punches.
Newers
They
to go
dig
for a
deep on
plant,
map
but
two
like, oh
and
my
send us
gosh.
the distance to Clubhouse.
Heartbreaking into the second.
You would have
map,
won
and to
that,
make
Meow?
matters worse, had that shotgun come into action.
You're in a
he had no
1v1
shells
you're in a
left.
1v1 to
Remember,
go into
he had to
OT.
rotate. He spent all 3 bullets. He would have to reload.
you would've won that Pro
So
League.
in the very final moment, with the
On
pressure at its
stage.
highest, it's
I don't know.
Newers playing it better, bit
Dude, those
smarter,
pre-fires
patiently
were like
baiting
a
out the
second away
location
from
and
hitting.
going for
Like
that final
every single
kill.
pre-fire.
But that's Weibo succeeding in a way as well. They made it close. They almost brought it back, and that's going to give them enough confidence to have a fighting chance on Clubhouse.
That's right, but as you say, Weibo, the team that has been praised for their mental fortitude, the only team that I know this
It's
tournament has come
genuinely
back from
crazy.
a 0-7 deficit in a series. They lose because the mental game gets the better of them. You're
How
right.
did
Hoven
Shotgun
had
Boy
no
lose
ammo
that
in his
corner
shotgun,
upstairs?
and he
No
still
idea.
had
We didn't get
enough
to see it.
bullets to take the gunfight in his
We did not
primary.
get to
Yet
see it.
He swaps away.
He
and
definitely
dies
panicked.
for
I
it.
think he probably
Weibo had a chance
I don't know
to
if he
push
meant to vault,
overtime,
honestly.
And they had every right to do so, but Dark Zero looked the better
might have
team
fat-fingered like the
when
vault.
the white lights are on their faces.
unlucky. You can't play it. No,
Third
no, you
map
can't play it.
required.
Like that guy's
DZ.
he had it. He had it. It was
showing
super
that
close,
they
but
have
like
the quality
it
of
goes
a
either way.
major
It goes either way.
championship. They've shown that before. Can they do it here in Paris? It remains to be seen, but to bounce back from the first map puts DZ in the best spot that we've seen from them today.
Yeah.
But I mean,
And
Weibo,
honestly, at this
like-
level of play,
like-
when you're in the top 8, you're on the
dude,
big
this
stage
third
with the
map,
crowd
it could go to
watching you.
anyone.
I wanna
I'm
see
probably
more
thinking
from
it
them.
could
I wanna
go to
see more
Weibo
closer
more,
games, bigger moments, and right now,
just because of what
we're
I've
in that
seen.
perfect
So like,
position where DC are showing up. They got
no,
the
Clinical
counters,
Ball.
they got the
That was
reads.
not map 1. That was
Weibo
map
got their
2.
pocket shots,
Each
throwing
team
them a
is now up
curveball. They're
1-1.
unable to solve that in the server. It's a
Up
beautiful
1-1.
back and
They're
forth.
tied
But
1-1.
Clubhouse is a whole different level.
And here's a
Yeah,
stat
the
for you.
next
I
map is
believe that
Club.
is the second time in the last 15 or so maps that Hoven has gone negative in a map. Very unusual to see him. Usually the consistent player, but cannot get it done.
What game is this?
In the limelight in
Rainbow
that
Six?
1v1, and we'll break it down with the experts down on the desk.
Either that or it's the first game of the day.
Well, some say
no
the
problem.
night is dark and full of terrors. I say that last one certainly is going
I
to
want to see,
keep
dude.
Hoven up at night
Reaps
as
on
well. A
Weibo is
moment that
genuinely
could have sent
carrying his
Weibo
team.
to their first semifinal. It's Newers who, on the better side of the trade, sends it to a third map, and it's going to be Clubhouse that we're heading to. Welcome back to the panel. Great cast there, Devin. Pengu, Rain Day here alongside Iconic and Alphama. Guys, let's talk about what we just saw. It was a moment that decides potentially the history of both of these teams, and what a moment it was. What better to have a 1v1 kind of decided?
I mean, all the pressure stacked against you, New with 1,000 names on his back, all the DZ fans riding for him, pulls it out. I mean, you just see how tight these games are, how close these rounds are, and I feel like this is an amazing game of Siege right now.
Kind of came off the back of some slow starts for Weibo Gaming on that second map. We knew Lair wasn't their map, but I mean, they turned it around with 3 flawless rounds just to get to that position.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it all starts with round 1. I think Newers getting that 1v3, insane kills on the MPX. It's exactly what DZ needed. You need one big movement, one big move from one of your players to kick off that fire again, and I think that's all they needed afterwards. DZ, they established their game plan, they have the lead on the defense, and props to Weibo, they never gave up. They never gave up. They had multiple players going for multi-kills, and I think on their own, they also believed they could go back to overtime and take it. In the end, it's a 1v1. I know Hoven's gonna hate himself. I don't know if it was a fat finger to go and vault on that stuff, because I know he didn't have any ammo on that
Definitely think it was a
secondary,
fat
but
finger.
you know what? That's where major champions come from. Mentality.
And you just see it in that reaction after the game, how intense, how close he is, and his mouse falling off of his desk, him standing up out of his chair. They're on the edge of their seats right now going for this.
This is a very important moment in a player's career. I mean, we've talked about Godu. We're going to mention Reaps in a second, his performance. But when you look on Dark Zero's side as well, these players expected to come in. They also have pressure. Alphama trying to do something that you said, let me see if North America can win back-to-back big tournaments in R6. But my question to you, for those watching and trying to narrow in on this, is what was the difference in this map?
I think the main thing is the control. I think that's one thing.
Yo,
right? The main thing
Falcons
is when
lost
they
to
played Weibo,
Secret.
they struggled to control them. If they did
They
so
got
in the early
0-2'd.
round, they struggled in the late round. That's how they lost so many rounds.
kid you not,
when
they
had
got
the manpower.
0-2'd.
On that one, they controlled the game plan. They controlled the pace. Yes, they were able to play a little bit more turtle, a little bit more disciplined. But the main thing to me was the association of the two players. You had Luers in defense, rowing, creating a lot of pressure, ready to backstab. And on the other side,
Well, you don't
had
like
Kino
Falcons?
as a turtle player, basically making sure that the side control was there and they could deny the plant. The association between the two of them was really beautiful to see, and I think they're the main two stakeholders of the victory of DZ.
How did you feel about the halftime conversations? Because I'm just in the back watching this, saying this is such fantastic information to see these coaches and the different mentalities. You mentioned the coach on the side of Dark Zero and saying, you know, I don't think they're going to try this home again. They ended up actually doing that, and it caught them off guard. But both coaches had different approaches to how they got their teams ready.
Not one
I feel like with the
sponsored by
Dark Zero side timeout,
the
you
one
see
person?
that it can confuse a lot of people going with something that doesn't seem so right then in front of you. But as a coach, you have to be thinking about the deep game plan, thinking about where the series could end up, especially on that Nighthaven map.
So we're gonna go to map 3 to see who
They
takes it
already
all.
know what they're going to do on the attacking side. So the question is, if they get to that overtime, having the defenses ready to go, so you don't have to take a timeout forward. And that's really what it's about. It's just about using what time you have available and really making sure your team comes into it with a plan, so that you don't have to waste that timeout on something that you could say in the halftime timeout, because it's so new and you have so much more time, so you can really give a lot of deep state game planning in that moment.
Yeah, and also sometimes back to basics, it seemed like, you know, on the other side, Gohan was kind of saying, what are we doing? This isn't the plan. We didn't come in with this. You're just thinking up new strategies in the middle of a quarterfinal on stage.
And that's the nerves really getting to you. So it's really good for Gohan to see that and allow his team to get back into the game. And you could see there's a change in play after that.
It certainly worked. I want to talk about and narrow in on Reaps. I know you prepped something to talk about with him, because he's been phenomenal.
I mean, just look at the stats.
Dude.
Map 1, 15 kills. Map
He's
2, 16
31
kills.
and 11
Mind you guys, he
right
lost
now?
the second map. Still dropped double digits, more than double digits. He was closer to 20 kills than 10. I mean, to me, you know, we've always said Reaps is absolutely crazy. He is known to be the best player we have in
31 and
APL,
11.
right?
Yeah.
The
Dude's
main thing to
running
me
a
is his
3 KD
consistency,
right
but the
now in
fact
this
that he
series.
does that, especially here in
KD doesn't
playoffs,
really matter
in a
right
BO3,
now, but
that
jeez.
despite his team is losing, he's the one that brings it back with 16 kills. I mean, if he can keep up with this, you know, he may be on for a world record on that BO3. I mean, he drops double digits almost all the time. Honestly, what a gameplay from this guy.
Yeah. Really is, and I feel like they're really coming into this series. You know, a lot of times they've really struggled into these matches to go further in the tournament, to really kind of get into the game, kind of letting opponents roll over them. I really feel like they're putting up contention, they're fighting for ground, and they're really fighting for this matchup. So it's going to be an exciting map 3 here.
Clubhouse, I mean, we're going to get to that in a moment, but just taking a look at some Reaps highlights as well. How important is this map? Because it's been a few weeks, I believe, since we've seen Dark Zero play it. And it's also been 3 days since we saw Virtus Pro face the same position Dark Zero were against Weibo and lose. It was Weibo taking it 8-6 in that final map. So they're comfortable with it. Maybe isn't going to be a stomp or something that they feel too strongly about, but it's something they know they can win, especially a tight matchup, as it seems like this last map will be.
Never.
And yeah, you know, DZ, a very prep-heavy team. We saw in the timeout hearing that we're not going to go for the prep. The work we saw, we're going to go for the playing it like we see. And we're going to see how well Weibo have been able to change what they've shown against VP, come into it with fresh stuff. This Clubhouse is a map that we really can't do too much. It's just a lot about taking the right decisions in the round and making sure you're in sync.
I'll ask a different question too, because, you know, sometimes when you haven't seen something, I would imagine it's more difficult to prep. And so having the fact that they did have that really tight map, I mean, you're already kind of shaking your head. Does that give Dark Zero a little bit of a look inside as to what Weibo are probably trying to do?
You gonna prove me wrong?
Yeah, I mean, already
okay,
we've spoken about
do
it.
it.
They've got one vote.
I need
they can
you to.
watch. Really recent. That's one way to look at it. The main
Go
thing is
for
Weibo,
it.
I don't think, have the same depth as DZ. Not the same experience. Not the same strategical depth. So what Weibo have done, you know, they will be able to change only so much. And I think the main thing is where their playstyle is, they like to
You're
play
the
what I
next
call
boy.
spider. They like to spread around the map, have multiple
Whatever
pressure
you say,
points,
bro.
and trying to
Whatever
find a
you
gap.
say.
That's what they've done on Nighthaven Labs, because it's a
I
really
believe you.
close and small map. map, right?
I believe you.
Clubhouse, really methodical. Everyone knows the steps to do it, but it's a map on which you can do the same thing. And so I don't necessarily think that, although it's a methodical and slow-paced team, you might think that DZ are the team for this map. I actually think that Weibo have their own chance. I think they've looked incredible on Clubhouse, and if both teams can play to the level that they showed on the 2 map, we're in for a banger and maybe overtime.
Okay, let's talk players because we highlighted several stories here. We heard from Hino earlier on in the interview. We also talked about Gotti, and there's also this amazing story from Reaps and his performance. Which player on the side of either team that you're highlighting do you think, who's going to be the turning of events? Who's going to be the person who kind of it comes down to, whether it's on Dark Zero and Weibo? Who do you have your eye on in this final map?
I think it relies really on the IGLs, the captains, Speakeasy, Foltz / Kino. You know, piloting this ship into the stormy water, I call it. It takes a soul who's really in touch with himself and being able to not really let your personal fear get in the way of your team's success. So I feel like whoever can let go of those expectations and allow them to just kind of navigate these waters and really lead their team through it and through that unknown of Clubhouse, I feel like they'll take it.
I love the way you speak about that because you're speaking from personal experience, knowing how difficult it is. A lot of people might say, well, you know, they haven't been playing this operator too well and all these, you know, mechanical things. But Alfama, there's so much to it in terms of internal trust in a moment like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we've seen that trust on both sides. Both sides have been able to have crazy comebacks, and both sides have been able to trust the RGL
But
for
DZ
it.
looks weak right now.
Going back to the question of the main players and the ones that are going to make this game, I think thinking of DZ, clearly to me, it's Kino and Nours. We've spoken about it. Nours was the main guy in this matchup. I think he's the main guy on the map too. He's the one roaming in defense. He's the one entering in attack. He's the one that wins the very critical gunfight on the round before the last round on the last map. And the main thing is, if these two can keep playing the way they do, we're gonna be good. If Reaps stops performing the way he does, Weibo is in trouble. They've been struggling despite him going 16 kills. So if that guy stops his solo carry machine, then suddenly maybe they're not in contention for the win anymore.
Do you focus on that? I mean, do you try to say, listen, if Reaps isn't doing anything, there's no way they even stand a chance?
I mean, I feel like...
Is there a way to focus on it? I mean, let me ask maybe a better question. Can you?
It's difficult because I feel like it's really momentum based, and honestly, with DZ, you're going to be focused more on the whole system than picking out a player. So I feel like if your game plan is going well and Reaps is kind of getting shut down, Clubhouse is a very punished map. So if he does find not really a lot of success on these opening engagements and gets shut down early, that could be devastating for Weibo.
All right, Alfama, as we head into it, any thoughts before we throw over to our casters?
You know what? I want a target on the back of Reaps. I want them to chase him down, get him down, eliminate him, and that way no more double digits on their side.
One map stands between history
and
for
3
both
Clubhouse,
teams. North America trying to move on. Weibo trying to do something they've never done before. Make it to a semifinal here at an international R6 event. One map, Clubhouse, will decide both of these teams' fates as the picks and bans show up here.
I think we're going to see a similar story, right? Solid Snake has been abused
DZ's
again and again
too.
on those master windows on the top of Clubhouse. You get all the top floor information
this is
just from those windows on the other side.
DZ's like one in...
Iconic. So far in the defense, it's quite
still,
obvious.
DZ's got like a 30%.
Yeah, we've known about it.
I think DZ's
attack for me right now.
You heard it here first.
I see you, Lucas. What's up, Lucas?
NA bias.
NA bias. I gotta say,
What
you
can I say?
it's refreshing every now and then.
Nah, just don't give him easy picks.
A little bit of NA bias never hurt anybody.
He's low-key, he's been running around a lot, actually.
Here as well. Let's send it over to our map for our casters here to take us to our final map of our first series of the day. Pingu, Dev, take it away.
Thank you very much. And don't worry, because we got some APAC guys right here next to me. James, just tell me a bit more about how much you enjoy watching Weibo, how you love the playstyle, the players, the histories.
We've got the North Americans on the desk, so it only is fitting that I get my chance in the limelight as well.
Balance.
I have to say, though, I think I have to be careful because I'm getting ripped into on Twitter at the moment by Fett and his fans.
You picked the fight you're not winning, buddy, because his army is much bigger than yours.
That's for damn sure, but the only battle that I care about is the one in the server right now, and I'm going to be an APAC shill until the cows come home. Of course, great point there from Rain Day. Weibo have never made it to a semi-final before, but get this, Speakeasy has. 7 years ago, the only time we have ever had an international Rainbow Six event in the APAC region, the Tokoname Pro League Finals, and Speakeasy played for a little old team called Airwolf. They took down the #1 seeded European team, Giants Gaming, which, by the way, Alfama played on that team and was dropped shortly after. Speakeasy won that game.
His career in Europe.
And then played a semi-final. Do you know who that semi-final was against?
DC?
It was against Dark Zero. And of course, well. Speakeasy did lose that game, and DZ went on to struggle in the grand final and lose to Na'Vi Citizens team at the time. Crazy history,
thank
of course,
you for the follow.
between these two teams. A lot of the players have been around the block more than a few times. Faults, I mean, he's won a 6 Invitational, for goodness sake. And all these 5 boys on DZ have won a major as they look to try and continue that momentum here in Paris for the Esports World Cup. Turdster falls off his roam completely.
Okay, a lot of zombies there. He's only got 2 in his pocket now.
Operator to help the rotations fall back towards the bomber side right there. Double
Jacob,
keeper off the pool table,
for
double door, and can drop down the heads nice and comfortable. This DC with some early aggression, taking good bit of map control on top floor, cleaning out the mute jammers and what was the Romans at a gym. That was Thursday was dropping down. And when you get top floor control, you kind of get the area beneath it very quickly after, because the verticality works in your favor now. So Weibo Gaming have made the call. Guys, let's mostly fall back towards the bomb side, with one exception, really. Reeves is hiding in stock room, also when the hatch open for a fallback. And so far, he's gone undroned and unnoticed. And if they don't go and check him,
this is actually going to be massive.
The only weakness here for Reeves, SMG-11, long-distance gunfight, not where you're typically favored.
One more map? No. Rage, this is the last map.
Coming down on the back of the smoke, but Faults, of course, is about to meet Gotti. The Warden has an advantage as he can peer through that smoke as well. But this is a big play here from Genino. Meanwhile, Reeps is going for a flank, but Genino is the playmaker. He's in prime position to take down Gotti from behind. DZ have snuck through. They found 2 players.
Where's Reeps?
And with that, the round should surely be theirs, unless we see a big flank from Reeps.
Oh, there it is. I knew he was flanking.
A little bit more against Faults in a brief moment, surely, as Hoven's gone big as
well.
Faults, what's happening? How has he just team killed Newers? It was the gas pipe that took him down, and now he's the last one remaining. A 1v3 quickly becomes a 1v2. Steal your nerve, Faults. It's just 2 more to find, and you've got plenty of time left on the clock to do it. Hoven
Isn't one of them like
separated
on Bert?
all the way upstairs in kitchen, and I think Weibo that defuse is down at short in the hallway. Faults doesn't have it, and they've got the cross onto his position.
That was looking so good
it's
for DZ.
Weibo bounce back from the 3v5.
It feels so similar to the first and the second map, where it comes down to just
Janano got in there, got 2 picks, and then like everything just crumbled. I don't know how.
Start off in a fiery fashion, gets him.
Which, to be fair, that bomb side is the most defender-sided bomb side. But still,
Reeps in the meantime,
how did everyone die?
Stock into bar, and then have to drop the bar hatch and catch the guy with diffuser in short on bottom main. So there are 2 battles happening at once, but the real MVP. Whoever shot open all the Goyo canisters there from the defense, because they were just isolating players, and I am Nicholas Morrison, but you know me as Bingo, and that is a bald version of myself, which I am succumbing to quicker and quicker day by day.
That's my favorite cosplay I've seen in quite some time.
He showed me the sign, he said, but there's more to it, and I guess the bald head is the more to it.
I love that.
Great job, Extreme, by the way. Shout out to you.
Same fellow who brought us flowers, the Paris Grand Final.
Yeah, he was there at SI.
Oh, legend. Love
this
to see
man.
that.
Love when the fans they show up.
You know what I love? I love when we have close rounds. I mean, obviously, I want to see APAC make it, but I also want to see DZ playing well when that happens, right? Like, if Weibo are to win this game, I don't want to see one team that's favored.
No Monty?
The David and Goliath matchup.
Kino's on the Monty, Kino's on the Glass.
And let David have it.
That's actually a little interesting.
I want it to be a contest. I want it to be a battle. I want to see a match deserving of a result. Even, you know, you look at what happened in Salt Lake City. Enterprise, for the first time, made it to a quarterfinal. The first time that APAC's done that in quite some time. But who do they beat to get there? They beat Weibo. They beat another APAC team.
It's not a deserving way to, so to speak.
It's different. Yeah. It's different. Weibo beat Virtus.pro to get here. VP have been such a prolific European team ever since their roster reboot. And if Weibo were to take down the major champs, that'd be a whole nother kettle of fish, especially if DZ are in form. And look, DZ are looking good. Their attacks left a lot to be desired on Nighthaven Labs, but now we're into Clubhouse. It's a whole different ballgame.
It's similar as well in there, right? It's been the attack inside that's been problematic for DC across the board. But look at this, Mulligan finding round Barb, where the sound cue pre-fire goes out. If that thermal charge was a second later, they might have masked the sound, but it didn't, and Gotcha gets 2 kills because of it.
They're going for Broke. Oh, they get a third one! South Korean player is
what is the
showing
play
that he
here?
can bounce back after a slow start. Going up from the stairs, Newers runs straight through that barbed wire. I think the read has come through from Weibo, though. They know where he is, and the order continues to ring on out. It's Newers up against the world.
What was the plan?
He was team killed last round. He will go down last this time. Flawless for Weibo. That's 4 flawless rounds for them
Bro,
in the
what am I
series.
watching?
You say you don't want Goliath to roll over, or you kick him down from where he's standing, because that right there is Weibo striking back in the server. Another round in a row where DC trying to just create the gap. I'm expecting them to be disciplined. Step 1, step 2, breach, and then go catwalk and clear the rafters and go breach again and then go for
I don't know what the plan was. Like, Nomad walk through barbed wire, win the gunfight.
But instead, they're doing the, we're going to catch you by surprise. And I think the play was good. Exothermic charge on the external breach, and you walk up the staircase. But there was about a 1 second desync. Because the exothermic charge, it went off, the sound is gone, but you still heard the barbed wire rattling on the staircase. So we're talking 1 second, maybe 2 seconds of difference, and that's Gotchi hearing the guy pushing the staircase or not hearing the guy pushing the staircase. And Gotchi got 3 kills.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I wouldn't sweat too much for DZ as of yet. As soon as Weibo got their flawless rounds on defense on Lair, DZ won the next round. They've also shown that they're very good at taking their tactical timeouts and converting them. Callout has a lot of insight for the team, especially when, we talked about this before. In the first map, he used the halftime break to talk about what would happen in overtime. I think when Callout took the tactical timeout in round 9 on Lair, which was right after they got flawless, went back and immediately won the next attack round. Because he could sit there and call exactly what's going to happen. That's fresh in the players' minds and immediately relevant to the round at hand. So if Weibo win this round, right, we get 1 more operator ban per side, and I think then Callout takes the tactical timeout. And I think if that happens, DZ will bounce back.
That's actually an interesting matchup too.
Let's see it. For now, we're freezing open the walls. Just stalling for about 12 seconds each canister. You get 3 of them. And there's not a lot you can do right now if you're DC, but you just simply wait. The con wall, the single one, will get popped immediately though. No response there from Tubrow. He's playing inside a cash room. But NGR, he's just a patient man. He's waiting, and they're going to play on the server repel, cutting off any possibility of a peek or retake in towards that area. But with this secondary level of hard breach into the inside wall of cash, it could be that DC wants to attack it. But looking at the player locations on the roof, going towards the Kusi, I don't think they're fully locked in what the attack's going to be. They could fight for the roam clear with Kino joining, but they also could hit the side if they find a gap. NGR, he finds Reaps.
However, Speakeasy immediately replies, Newers is having a terrible game so far.
Nice chat. Thank you
Good gap found though by False. Surely Weibo will have to peel back now. The bomb side is getting
weaker. Do they have any idea Hoven's routing red? They never cleared it.
Hoven is the sole player on the red stairs, but I think they don't realize it. Surely they'll be able to find the kill. The Blackbeard somehow manages to find, but no. Hoven will find one regardless. Meanwhile, his teammates have fallen on the bomb site. He's the last one standing. Foltz will go for the plant. No impact in pocket, but still he finds the shots onto the toes of Kino. 1v2. This is how the second map ended. Hoven failed to win his 1v2, and they've completely abandoned this. They can play it vertically. Hoven is low HP. Does he just jump on that kid, I wonder?
Tough defuse spot. Has the yellow ping, but it's fake information. They're not
impossible.
Still there. It's a great plant spot, by the way.
Yeah, I just don't see this as being possible to get the retake on. He's going to be completely exposed to the hatch while he goes for the counter defuse. And he can be swung from multiple different angles. Spots the first one, but then JR will take him down. It's 2-1 before we get the next set of operator bans.
Bro, DZ needs to clear better.
As they pounce on the gap on the bomb side.
That rat on red almost.
That was a lot better. There was a
Almost
frontal attack and the bomb side pressure, and wherever they were going to find the kills, that's the attack they go for. And it landed somewhere in the middle because they got a kill on the roam and a kill by the side. Hoven could have had a great double there, but it doesn't matter because DC, they conquered the bomb side control rather, and that's all they need to go for a plant. Hoven stuck on the wrong side of the building. Can't quite get back in time. Also, of course, no surprise here, Bandit Kite in the first rotation, Mira in the second with the third operator ban. Just all about the wall denial.
Yeah.
Just guaranteed to break them and don't get stuck. I mean, you still two-brow freeze it, but it's not going to stop you from winning. Just
barely slow it down. And realistically here, the way that DC are playing, hard breach is the first consideration.
Yeah.
We heard Callout talk about redundancy. They brought 3 hard breaches. You got Thermite with 3 exothermics, you've got Ace with 3 Selmas, and then you have Zafir with the tin can openers.
Back down the base bomb site
as well. It's just opening up every possible avenue for DZ, which means at the drop of the hat, as soon as they find a kill, as soon as they see a gap, as soon as they count, hang on, there are only 2 players on the bomb site, one over here, we can 3v2 this guy, they send it. And that's exactly what won them that last round. Because they did win that, there's no tactical timeout called. Because realistically, you win 2 attacks here for DZ, that should be enough. I think you still gun for 3, but with how defensive favored this series has been, I would say that 2 attacks looks pretty good for DZ.
Double shield here from Dark Zero.
Unusual.
Could be a matter of having the ability to push dirt with a shield, but also have a shield elsewhere, either for roam control or dropping the hatch for a plant. Because, you know, Monty, you're safe, you're planter, you're drone information kind of operator. Blackbeard, frag grenades, AR, go for fights, close the gap. It does give you a spearhead with 2 tips, right? A double stab, if you will. But first you gotta get into that exact position. Not a ton of roam presence though from Weibo. I mean, look at the bottom right, you see B basement, B basement. They're just not really upstairs. A single player Thursday in garage on first floor, but that's it. So once they join out all the stairs, they realize, guys, there is no roamers. This map is fully ours. I love the Kino just making it very safe here, destroying the gas pipe, despite the fact that there's no real threat. You never know what can happen later in the round.
I mean, remember that Newer's got team kill with a gas pipe?
It can happen. It's still a relatively new feature, only about a year and some old.
Yeah, especially if you combine it with an impact or a nitro cell.
Yeah. No reason to.
Is this champ lobbies? Yes.
DZ is so quick here.
Yeah, I mean, 1 minute 40 seconds, they've breached pretty much everything that they need. Just missing a little bit of self-destruction in kitchen probably, but then they have all the tools that they want. And they got the Monty. Again, this could be a very different round where they play for a plant-oriented push rather than playing for kills. Yeah. And that's
right,
because they got 2 shields,
there's
they got
smokes,
they
there's
it's just so effective.
yo-yos.
So DZ so quick. I was speaking to a team that was boot camping and scrimming DZ in the lead up to this tournament. They said these guys are so good, you literally cannot get more than 1 round off of them in a 12-round scrim. That is how well efficiently oiled they are. And we're seeing that here on Clubhouse, a map which is just the staple of Siege. It's all about hard breach, it's all about execute, it's all about roaming. It's got so many different flavors of Siege rolled into one map. DZ struggled in the first 2 rounds. Now they're looking a lot more organized, but still in the 5v5, we don't have an answer to what's going to happen.
Oh.
A lot of damage on Aquino as the first shield drops down. I think it is a bait. Both shields are down in there. As Fall starts to take damage, he looks for a safe plant spot. The coverage is good
Can
from
Folds
MJR.
get the plant off?
Will Weibo look for a way to
Folds can get the plant off.
It's 2
Wow.
shields covering
Bombs
each other
down.
to guarantee that that plant will go down.
Wow,
As
wow,
Weibo
wow.
forces the
5v5 and you have all the
retake
vert for
here,
it.
looks to try and lash
Yep,
out
they're gonna
with
have to
the
retake
Blackbeard.
vert.
No nitro cells or impact grenades remaining for Weibo, which makes it such a devilish task here to try and retake.
Nice.
And Foltz has got an active. The double shield strat seems to be working out as both of them eventually will fall. Now it comes down to Weibo retaking up above into the 2v2 as News holds down 1. It's all up to Gotti in the 1 versus 2. With both players
You believe in Reaps?
upstairs.
Dude, Reaps
J9
been
all
killing
the
it
way
the past 2
outside. Now
maps.
Gotti does not have the time.
Right now,
and
he's
News will
2
find the
and
kill
3.
from the vert. It is picture perfect from DZ.
Jay,
the double
are you
shield
shouting
strat
yourself
works
and
like a
me
charm.
out, bro?
I love how they
Is that what
double
you're doing?
down on the protection right there. So when Monty goes to plan with his shield on his back, his heels and ankles and feet are still exposed. So therefore, the Blackbeard dropped with him and blocks that final bit of area that could be vulnerable. While they're doing so, they're spamming the Ingodelas, that a couple of smoke grenades go off, chaos in the server. And the reason why I do that is because the player on AKs could just shoot the toes if you don't get blinded. And that's a way to just instantly lose the round. So it's a full commitment, rush of a push, after going for the roam clear.
Crazy.
Works out perfectly. And there was no intel there from the defense of Weibo of where and when that plant was going down. So the toxic babes were in pocket. They weren't even being tossed out. Now they had
Is
no
that
real
Spoit? No,
information on
Spoit
what was
is
going
Spoit's
on.
at home,
They
dude.
barely broke the back B softball.
Wow.
It was completely intact.
Isn't Club
They were not ready for that one,
is
that's for
Club
sure.
attacker sided or finish sided? I like to
I
think
love
it's
that. DZ are coming in.
actually
pocket
probably one of
strats,
the more
they're
50-50
cooking.
maps.
They're ready with this prep, and they're keen to just go for it if they see a gap. But what will Weibo do to adapt? Because that's the name of the game now. As soon as your opponents are doing something different, something you haven't seen before, you have to adapt. Well, Intel and Plant denial. And we got both of them in the Echo pick here from Speakeasy.
We do. My only worry about Clubhouse in general, you know, when we saw the map video before the game even started, is there are... When you play Clubhouse, a lot of the rounds go down to the micro, the teeny tiny details, right? When you play Carol Graphics like Thursdays right now, can he trade himself for 1-for-1 kill? On basement, do you know the plan is going down? Do you have a smoke or C4
I want DZ to
to
win,
go
you know?
for denial? It's not as much about playmaking.
I don't care about the underdogs, at least for like.
I lost like 130
and I think that's just a
on
favorite
USC.
Darks here because Weibo, how they were coming back on
you're
layer
betting
was
with
again
no
disruptive
intel, no
gameplay
knowledge.
patterns
Look,
and playing for
this
the early
guy,
game.
he was
Much
like-
more challenging here
he was
on
like
Clubhouse.
99%
The way they won the
to
first
win,
map on
right?
Not Even Labs
No.
was about
And
setting
it
up
went up to
problems
3
that were a little bit
rounds,
unfamiliar
and
to
then
Dark Zero,
he
which
won
again on Clubhouse, a lot
the
more
other guy,
difficult. The map's been out
he
for
won
ages.
by this position.
I like the
And
strat
it
here from
was like
NJR.
1%
He's
for the
using
guy
the ace
win,
to breach
and it
open
shot
the
up all
catwalk
to
walls.
99%.
Weibo are prolific at holding on to rafters.
Knew his
Turd is a
first pick on
phenomenal
Reaps.
rafters player, but Reaps has gone down
Wow.
early. He's one of the deadliest players
On
for
Reaps.
Weibo.
No, he's not
31
doing
kills
good,
across
man.
the first 2 maps, but not
Hey,
looking to
that's 'cause
break
you
a
need
kill
to
record if he
do your
doesn't wake up
research
here
before
on
you bet.
Clubhouse. Does mean that Turdster is all alone holding
Not
on
that
to
you should
rafters.
bet.
Actually, I
But
think Gucci might
if
be
you
playing
do
this
bet,
as well.
Downstairs
if you
lounge
do
big right
game
now,
plan,
but
you
yeah.
should
Even
do
the
it.
So right now,
commentators, they're
Weibo,
like,
they
smart.
know
In
that
my
Turdster is stuck on
opinions,
rafters.
the other guy
DC know
won.
this too. So they get opening pick, plus
Reaps,
there's a
bro,
kill.
bro,
It's
Reaps
effectively a
killing it
4
first 2
versus
maps.
3,
I'm gonna be talking about that because I mean, dude, he's on
can lock him
fire.
in spot. That's NGR on the main breach right now.
I wanna know how he
Meanwhile,
got
they're
first
clearing
pick, though.
master bedroom, connector, office, and he's applying all this bit of pressure. And they've shown us now that they have flipped the attack. They're gonna go for backside take. Hobbin swings out and punished by
So these
force
guys
on
aren't
that
doing a
single wall,
basic
just
take,
walking
you
on
know,
in.
like
This is starting to look very
choosing
scary if you're Weibo.
to
DZ
do more of like a
have come
back
into
over.
form in the last 3 rounds.
They're not doing that like
And
garage
I frankly
take
don't see a
that
way that
everybody
Weibo win it
does,
from
you
here.
know?
They try and
Wow.
lash out, but DZ
See,
are
look,
ready
there's
for it.
the
With over a
Azami
minute
stuck in
left on the
Raptors, and now
clock.
that in the
DZ,
walls
they can execute in a
double
5v5
reinforced.
last round. I have no doubts
Hey,
they'll
what's
be
up,
able to
Doc?
execute in a 5v2, and they decide to go
Why is his
deep
shield
instead of
running at
playing for
him?
plant. Kino, though, takes a lot of damage. He will go down. Be careful here, DZ. Don't let this fall back. And Terse has also lashed out and fell one as well. He's now left all alone as the plan starts to be confirmed.
Back on siege.
He doesn't have a way to deny it from his position, and he's being watched from 2
What's
angles.
your name?
from
Your name-
outside
name's
the
just Dot.
window
I don't-
will cut him down. Surely Weibo need to take their tactical timeout now. DZ 3 in a row. They lead by 1 round as we have 1 remaining. In the
Levi.
half.
You see the problem, right? Weibo, they feel the need
Levi.
and they have the urge to make a play and do a
Got you,
disruptive play because they feel like if DC get to the bomb side with 5 attackers alive, they can win.
It's true. You can't let DZ execute in a 5v5.
But it's
That's
Clubhouse.
crazy.
There are
DZ
so
really
few
did suck on
areas
the
where you have
attacking
even a
side, but look, they're up
50% chance
3-2 now.
of working out.
Starting off
50-50
attacking.
is what we say an
If they
equal
get
play.
this next round
Everyone's game
on
for
attack,
that.
then
But
they're
almost
winning
every
this.
single fight that Weibo are choosing
100%.
to take is like 30%, 25% in their favor,
Because if I actually have
and
to
so
think
much
about
more
it-
against them. So it's like either from
DZ's
the very beginning of the round, and this is what I like to see: Mossy, Scopus,
From what I've seen,
Solis.
they're
This
not-
is a
they're not
fighting
terrible
lineup,
on,
and this is exactly what I was going to talk about.
Clubhouse.
If you, from the beginning of the round, say we are going to fight, you're all
I don't
committed,
know, Levi.
you're all understanding of what the game plan is going to be. This is so much
Levi,
better
use me
than
and
picking
Oregon,
plant denial,
defender
play by the
brocade.
bomb side, and then realize, oh, we lost that breach. Oh, they killed that player. Oh,
Oh,
we
Reach
can't
is
play
going
that
back on
corner.
Solus?
Oh, they have Monty.
So
Now
they're
we're
switching
swinging
it up.
that position.
Solus.
So there's a big switch up for the final round.
There's
and
a
the fact that the
Solus,
players
and
came
now
to this
there's a
conclusion
Scopus.
without the
They're
tactile
going for a
go
roam
hand,
now.
I think it speaks volumes that they're
Last
willing
time
to
they-
make
they,
this adaptation, which can be
bunkered
seen as highly risky.
Drake.
Yeah. And of course,
Thank you
after
for
this
calling.
round, we'll get the
That they're using
half-time
my
timeout as we
strat.
swap sides,
Like, I really
which means
evolved
Gohan
the
will
game.
be
No
able
one's
to talk to
using
the
it.
boys.
Yeah,
But
You use
unfortunately, I
Goyo?
mean, that is pretty much game.
They need the 3-3.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not the end of the world, because I do think this map can lead attacker favorite in the current meta. But just for
DZ
the...
have been really bad on attack in this series, frankly,
Exactly.
up until
Exactly.
Clubhouse.
That's why it matters so much.
Okay. Bye,
Alvin
Levi.
hurt the player and drones outside the door, has to respect it. Falling back options, dangerous. Main staircase window, watch them outside. Blue stairs window, same story. Hoven can go super deep as a Scopus player and always TP back to a safe location. The other teammates,
So
like
look at
Gotcha and
that. See,
Mossy,
Reaps
different
now
story
with the
for them.
first pick.
Reaps
Ah,
finds Lewis,
okay.
his line removed from the action. That's huge because now you can move around a lot more freely on the map. Hoven now lost
There's
the shell, by the
3
way, and
top
is inside
floor.
the
Are they
chip.
gonna hit
So
side?
there's no TP back towards the bomb side. I think they're just counting on staying around for as long as possible, and then
They're gonna
that
choose
makes
to
the
hit
bomb side a lot
side.
weaker.
Wow.
Which is why Fulls with the diffuser is looking for the sides.
I have to pop the Goyos
Oh, he
here.
got baited.
Wow, Speakeasy somehow manages to find the shots in the feet through the wall. He knows the diffuser is down. He now needs to make sure he doesn't get overwhelmed on the bomb side. Takes out a second player, big from Speakeasy. A third one
ECSG.
for the Singaporean. It's Kino up against
D, man.
Now on the Monty as Weibo look to restabilize after what has been a very troublesome last 3 rounds. They find another flawless.
See what happens when Reaps gets the first pick, or just Reaps gets a kill in general.
So guess what now?
Gets him fired up.
Time for
33 split is
D time.
what?
Remember
For a reason, Bulker, this does go to overtime. They're prepping on that same roam back. That's exactly what we were prepping on.
Yeah,
I know. Against that next time. Yeah, you'll just hammer them on that. Because they're going to start floating around again. And if they do more of the consolidation, obviously you can call.
I like the sight hit.
You were right.
That was just genuinely,
like,
that was insane from, who was it? Who was that? Speakeasy?
They have nothing to stop it.
That was an insane round.
We floated around them, having to surrender them. So it was a teeter, but it could also be a tally because you forgot. Teeter because you remembered.
Fair enough.
Teeter on a tally because you forgot type of deal.
Fair enough. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Look at that. Mental's good. Mental's actually, it's looking pretty good for DZ. I don't know, man.
80 on prep. There ain't nothing to say.
Yeah,
most people would be more serious, I guess.
So where we going first? On top head, okay? Positions on church, shield, a lot of stuff for church. We can bring Thatcher, counter everything. So the thing is, you need to remember from basement. We're gonna have the map control. We're gonna have the sense walls. You're gonna push your shield on dirt. So the thing is, always try to push your shield in a way that you don't gonna die dropping hatch. You don't gonna die for easy pre-placed C4s. Okay. This is the main goal of this attack. So we're gonna improve a lot compared to last times we played. But yeah, guys, we have the best map in front. Club, attack.
Team is selling. Welcome back, Levi. Welcome back to Rainbow Six Siege.
So, a little bit more context this time. We
Alex,
heard that Colin mentioned overtime, so you and I
love hearing the coaches. Dude,
on the
me
previous
too.
maps. Like, he's talking about defense, but they're going into the attack. What's that about? Fed, coach streamer, also
Me too. There's different coaching styles.
To talk about what happens when they go back to that same side in OT to fix the
Oh,
problems
Reeves
of
get the
the
kill
past,
on
because he knows that the players have the
Strat.
solutions for the present. And we heard there, DC stopped talking about strats. They're like, guys,
DZ's
book's
coach.
open, now it's
Bro,
closed.
Callout is always
I don't have anything to
super
talk
like
about. What about
conflicted,
you? They are so
compared
prepared
to
going into this, and the
like,
players have so much
Fabian.
self-control in the server where Callout only has to step in as an absolute
Always gonna
emergency.
compare coaches to
Whereas the
Fabian.
thing for
Yokino's
Weibo, if Colin had
0-5.
3 tag timeouts,
Nah,
he might
he's
actually
gonna
spend
switch
all
it up.
3 just to get more involved.
Totally. I think in particular there's a lot more to
Levi,
say
welcome back
on
to
your
Rainbow
attacking
Six.
side than on your defensive side, because your defense, you're the one
Welcome
that
back to Rainbow Six
got
solo
the
queue.
paper booklets, right? That say you put your gadget here, you might have some last minute adaptations or say play
First
strat
ban
A
is
instead of strat
Monty.
B. But for Weibo here, it's about making sure they
Monty
know the
Cade.
setups from DZ. They're countering the setups. The Thatcher was mentioned by Gohan.
Yeah,
Habana,
Habana,
interesting.
Mira.
The shield was also mentioned, not
Mira's
Monty
fine.
in particular,
Habana,
instead, but just like the shield plant.
Yeah, I mean,
now,
Speakeasy will
Trying
play
to get
one
to bronze
shield or
this season, you
another,
got it, Levi.
what gets banned.
But it's so
You
much
got it,
more
bro.
challenging without the Monty, and that's
Very
always going to be my
that's
go
the
back to
genius,
DC. You're
always
such a
wearing a
great
suit.
shield team, and you said it so well on Lair. We see how quickly Newers with a TCSG
He's
can
loosened
shred
up.
Speakeasy when he's not crouching, protecting his toes. So it really comes down to Speakeasy playing a more sheltered version
Nah,
of the shield.
he's got the drip
when he
on.
plays in
The
APL,
DZ,
you know, you're playing 60 ping,
Polo.
playing against weaker aimers, arguably. Now you're in LAN. 0 ping, perfect hit drag against some of the greatest fraggers in the world. You die immediately before you realize what's going wrong. So a lot of attention right now, I think, on pressure on the strategical elements relies on Speakeasy's positioning as a shield. On the other side, for DC, we just gotta see Kino now pop up with defense. He's been playing a lot of shields on the attacking side. He was last alive a few moments in a 1v3, unwinnable spots. So his scoreline being 0-5, not really a true stat line, but he now has a chance on the side swap to change that that story for himself. There was a fear from Alpha on the desk about what happens if Reaps the carry stops fragging out like a madman. And this is the thing about Weibo
Looks
game
like he
when
wants
they
to
play
get
the
in on the
highest
action.
level. They can take turns. Hoven is at a big clubhouse. Big Easy had a huge round there in basement for the final and a half.
Oh, wait,
Turnstile
Hoven's actually
can
the top
pop off.
frag
He's at a
right
quiet moment. He's now on Solid Snake. That's gone unbanned. He's going to feel super comfortable on a particular operator, getting a ton of intel.
Yeah, a lot of intel for the roam clear and perhaps for an eventual execute. The problem I see here for Weibo is going to be DZ with their hard setups on the bomb site with Wamai, with the Goyo, and the Azami.
Is this a
is
full
slew of
bunker
util
from
that is
DZ?
extremely difficult to
Like
counter.
no one's roaming?
And if DZ can burn enough time at the start of the round, and if Weibo are inefficient with their
Full
roam
bunker.
clear, then they're going to run out of time to go for an execute.
Also, no Thatcher, which they did speak about. But of course, that can happen in a later basement attack as well. Don't show it all in the first round.
He also said be careful of pre-placed C4s, two possible
keep the shields
nitrates.
alive. We're playing for the late round. The thing is, without the Thatcher and the Bandit on the board, that was, Church is no longer attackable, I don't think, with this lineup.
Yeah, this is very slow.
So what we're looking at, Dirt
that's
Tunnel
Eno
Kitchen
on that
attacks,
matchup.
that DC has seen a billion times before. They got C4, they got Toxic Babes, they got the Wamaya Sami set up, the Goyo canisters.
Oh, are they going to impact trick the hatch?
This feels a little bit like Weibo are playing into DC's defense, and I mean that in a negative way. Like they're countering themselves, but not having necessarily the correct read. And I think a lot of this will come down to the opening pick, if they can find it.
Yeah, I'm wondering the same. Look, this is going to be... all the ingredients here say that DZ should be favored in the round, unless if Weibo can pull off something miraculous. I don't think the kitchen hatch has successfully opened yet, and the impact trick unsuccessful here. So credit to Weibo, they managed to make that work. Now, the plan was to go for a dirt push. We have to use the final piece of hard breach utility to open up dirt for Speakeasy to make his way forward.
The stock hatch isn't
still
open?
has an impact grenade to try and battle with that Blackbeard.
Right.
I don't like that Speakeasy is solo here because the kitchen hatch is open. DC know that. That means they cannot fall back unless an Asami Keeper barrier is positioned to enable his safety.
Look,
and there's
it looks like a
fire on
free
the ground.
plant
So this is going
for,
to stall for 20 seconds. There we go. That's 20 seconds. Now we're talking 29 left on the clock. If there's a second canister, Dirt Tunnel is off hands here for Weibo Gaming. And while they're waiting, they're not progressing. They're in kitchen hands, they're on the main staircase. Everyone is waiting with no progress. That applies more and more pressure as those seconds are slipping away.
And DZ are pre-smoking the default plant. They now have one gas babe left. Might be burned a little bit too early. That nade might actually destroy some of the sensors. There needs to be a backstep here for Weibo. That's the only way they win this round. But Hoven has somehow managed to go all the way up long and find a kill.
Wait, they have no idea this guy dropped oil.
Backstab Newers does retain control.
Right?
Is now up to
No, they have no idea. Wow, what a backstab.
Oh,
that's Planner, that's Planner.
That plan, it's all up to Reeves, making his way down the stairs. But NJR
that was close, that was close.
recompose for Dark Zero.
I don't
little
know.
bit sketchy, but they find it nonetheless.
I thought Weibo had that at the end. That was a good, little
sitting beneath the hatch, looking
backstab
at the
from
planet
whoever
for
the snake
5 full
was.
seconds, then one taps it, then ensures a second kill follow-up as well. He's like, guys, I got this on the back, do not worry about it. But Hoven found the open, like I said, down the main staircase, in through long, takes a player inside a church double door, but then thankfully traded back by Newers and DC, who was playing that Moto position, closing the gap that was once created.
Basement's going to be a very different bomb site, though, to these other two.
By far the most different.
Taken by DZ. On the basement, for DZ, you can just have 5 on site with an impeccable setup, especially with these bands, right? With the Wamai and the Bandit in play.
But the other bomb sites, you got to fight for the extension. Here in CCTV, you got to fight for
Levi, you have to get to Silverman for
stronghold downstairs when Newers is currently reinforcing, because you cannot just play 5 guys on side. There's not enough playable positions for that to be possible. But also something that I feel like might be happening if this goes the distance as well, the bar bomb site. We saw DCB out kitchen on laps twice.
Oh man, I would love to see a bar bomb site choice from DZ in overtime.
It's always going to be a bit of a risk factor.
Clinical, you want Weibo to win now.
They have been the strongest version of themselves in this BO3, where they've been doing something unusual against Weibo.
I can say that for both sides.
Yeah, I think argument goes both sides for sure.
I mean, we've cast enough of Speakeasy in the APAC region to see him push dirt 100 times on the Blackbeard.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to, but he got denied.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem.
That often you'll end up going, dirt early in the round. You fight for dirt control. You leave one player there because they can't reach it because the kitchen has gives you a
That wasn't you, okay.
They went dirt last up against the Goyo, and it's like,
My fault.
that's just not going to work.
Too little, too late.
But the plan B flip, I think, for Weibo was a solid attempt of a round. It wasn't that, oh my god, they're panicking, they're stressed. It's like, okay, they're going to full send it in APAC fashion, and they actually got close.
Potentially 3 rounds from a semi-final. Dark Zero lock in on Cash and CCTV for this next round. How do Weibo look to clear it? It seems to be a Rafters intention here. There's a lot of util to go Rafters. I think particularly the Blackbeard and the Dokkaebi will be very useful for dealing as much damage and flushing out that position as much as possible. But DZ are sitting back and relaxing with that Wamai in play, with the Azami to support, even the Aruni with its deadly DMR. DZ should be able to hold their positions comfortably.
They should. C4 goes out, doesn't find much there from Kino, even just 1 left for NJR. Again, opening pick is so vital here on Clubhouse because it's all about watching as many gaps as possible. One defender dying early will leave something else exposed. Florzone goes through to deny the Bandit tricking, but NJR gets right back on it. There's not an attacker downstairs to deny the angle vertically because that's what Newers was playing earlier, reinforcing those walls. Right now it's Fultz downstairs instead.
He's all out.
They're protecting NJR for as long as humanly possible.
A lot of damage dealt though, thanks to the Dokkaebi. Now he's forced to move. But Weibo aren't able to capitalize on a kill just yet. He's standing up on top of the desk. He would be exposed to the breach, but Weibo are not playing that breach aggressively. In fact, they haven't even opened it up. This is a very strange attack here from Weibo. To fail to open up the CCTV breach seems like a very costly mistake.
There could be a bait here. Forces downstairs right beneath the breach with a shotgun in hand on the Thorn. Planting default is not going to be a possibility, and I don't know if Weibo know this just yet.
Weibo are not doing enough of the normal checklist items on this bomb site. You need to have CCTV open.
Kino's 0-6 right now.
Especially, as you say, if they don't have control down below the bomb site. We need a level of spice out of Weibo here, but I'm not seeing it as of yet. Reaps needs to go big. He tries to make an entry. It's Turd, he finds one. Reaps will get his first, but immediately NJR is there to find a 3K. Turd will trade back, but he is now the last one
one's
standing.
in sight, right?
And the plant will be denied from below if he tries to go for it. He won't get the chance.
Whoa. What's up, Levi? What's up?
Shut out of his position as Weibo cannot breach step 1.
I don't.
Small issue.
That was such a weird attack,
here from Go. I'm
dude.
just waiting for the confirmation call. I saw the mic being flipped down.
Surely.
I don't want to get into a long point and to cut myself off. Yes, Weibo Gaming calling their tactical timeout.
Yeah, I gotta hear it, bro.
Shield, not opening space, being the last one to push, bro. If you're gonna pick the shield, is to put pressure, is to play fast, is to open space. I told you guys, look, they play very spread on the map, they give big areas, but you are playing full safe with the shield, bro. Use the shield or a fucking drone, you know?
So if they go gym, you want me to use shield or just clear or go?
No, the thing is, bro, check the comp. Bandit, Wamai, bro, we need to bring the Thatcher to solve the problem, break the bunker. We need to break the gadgets.
He did actually tell him to bring a Thatcher.
It's all about that, guys.
For
Come on, we
all
can
of
do
these
it.
rounds, all these attack rounds, and they have not brought
it. We
it.
can take this game. Come on, guys, come on. We are the best. Remember, guys, the pressure is on them. It's not on us. Remember this. Okay?
Gohan with so much conviction saying exactly the same thing he said at the start of the half as well, which is we need to break the bunker with the Thatcher. And you said it at the start of the half. We didn't see it once from Weibo.
No, we did not. And to make matters worse, the Thatcher does simplify the problem. The solution for Weibo was right there the entire time. Those bandit batteries on the CCTV wall can be shot through the soft wall from connector. From the door, with a couple of bullets, from the breach, couple of bullets, but they never did it. And they did have one spare exothermic charge from Thermite when the round ended.
Would have been a very different round if that breach had been open.
Two different defenders, Newers playing by Serverek, and I think it was Kino Bandit sticking by the corner, or whoever it was, NJR actually, they wouldn't be able to live anymore, right? They'd be like, rotate to a different location at least, right? And that bandit battery is a 100% deniable with any weaponry, but nobody made that connection that, okay, now we got the breach, let's go for a plan. But say, oh, what about getting every breach? What about getting all the angles? That never happened.
I think Weibo were also focusing so much on some vague win conditions, but not seeing opportunities to get kills. For example, the player on the defense, I believe it was NJR, on the Bandit, who kept dashing around. He was in a very vulnerable position. If Weibo had the foresight and the utility to say, let's target this guy with a grenade, not just with Roteros to get rid of the batteries, but let's target the player. We might actually be able to capitalize, get a kill, numbers advantage, and then you can spiral around, even if you don't have superior positioning or breaching, if you have numbers advantage. And the Bandit continues to be a problem here for Weibo Gaming. I think they have to ban it now. If they're struggling so much to counter it, they're going to need to ban it after this next round.
The issue is, right, because Dodge is playing Thatcher, he went away from Thermite. They have a single can opener in pocket for the entirety of this round, James.
Bro, what?
That's the only hard breach they have.
They have one hard breach?
Point of contact. Mind you, this top four, CC wall, con wall, Jacuzzi wall, and single con.
It's the opposite to what DZ.
My gosh.
On a breach.
Yeah, I mean, DZ are bringing 3 hard breach operators on Clubhouse most of the time. They're bringing Ace, Thermite, and the Zofia. It's very unusual that Weibo are doing the absolute opposite.
On the purple app.
The issue is now the Thatcher becomes not ineffective because it still deals with certain gadgetry, but look at this round. What can you catch? A single C4 or a toxic bait midair? Actually, sorry, 2 C4s.
And they have another?
There's
no,
no bunker down the
so,
same way.
Jacuzzi wall is the only wall open. Logi wall can't be open.
A Thatcher that's arguably a little bit ineffective.
Cash CC, that breach can't be open.
It's gotta come down to an APAC round. You gotta go frag hunting.
Yeah, and I have to wonder, what's the point in bringing the Lion when DZ are, for the most part, playing in power positions rather than roaming? Now, we are seeing a bit of aggression from Fault in Garage, but Weibo unable to convert it into a kill. Missed opportunity.
Hold up.
For a backstab.
This is the gap. This is the gap right here.
NJR is watching from a prone angle. This is a very off-piece position here from NJR. And he will not find Reaps.
What
he
a
lands
flick.
the first bullet, but but Reeps, quick reaction time, finds the first kill. This could unsettle DZ.
Where are you looking,
Kino? Where are you looking? He goes
looking?
down. Reeps has single-handedly brought this round back for Weibo, but DZ recompose a flashbang.
No, that's Reeps dead, bro. What a kill from Fault. Wait, this might be a Fault ace.
This round, it's Gotti.
It's not a Fault ace. It's not, man. Wow.
If
you guys are struggling to hit a gap, that's what hitting a gap looks like right there.
We'll give them a chance on Clubhouse.
Oh boy, what
wow.
I say, don't hide behind the shields, don't be afraid, take the fight to DC. No breaching, no problem.
Which is crazy too. They had no breaches. I don't know how they still won that.
Will it be that bandit like you said, James?
Come on, gotta do it.
Yes, it will be. Breaching easier. Thermite bandit response. It's all about the walls. It's all about step one here.
Can you choke that round? Dude, I don't know how. Honestly,
I think we need to ditch the Lion. We need to get more ace.
This flick is crazy right here.
I think the Lion was instrumental for this specific round. The timing of Reeps walking up with it meant that Kino couldn't go for a trade immediately in bathroom, so it gets that timing inside a logic connector. But generally speaking, outside of those chaotic moments, the Lion is hard to get value out of.
Yeah. Kino had no idea. I mean, I'm gonna be so weird. The floor just kind of like walked in, right?
What space do you have to bring?
I don't know. I don't even know where NJR was.
Difficulty, right? When you're up against the line of the DC's bringing, wall denial,
I think Fultz went on a major flank,
you are
right?
stretching the attack so thin. Because either you'll have a bit of solutions for everything, but not one clear plan of action, or you'll go into like, this is how we do it.
NJR is always getting caught off guard.
But
to be fair, that was an insane flick. Like,
this round right here is where Weibo need to be bringing that Thatcher.
You have to understand that Reeps is on the world's like highest sense ever, so that flick is like just that flick is just so easy.
The Clash, we're talking about
like that's just
the Wamai, the Warden. Particularly the Goyo and the Azami, which are both vulnerable to grenades. But we don't have the
But
Thatcher
their base now, they're all bunkering, right?
What would this be?
So, yeah, they're all bunkering, so this should,
while the round is early,
theoretically, this should be a 6-4 right here. DZ should take this.
We'll see. What would you replace?
My
because
gosh.
going through it, the way
My
you get into the
gosh.
bomb site, the way you plan with
Get off
cover,
ace.
that's what Glass is doing, right?
I don't think we need to bring Deimos and Snake. These are, for the most part,
Reeps needs to get out of APAC, bro.
We're not
He needs to, bro.
So we're getting rid of one of the two at least.
Yeah.
You get onto the
But he needs
Thatcher.
to.
Now you get a bit wider in the bigger picture.
I'd get Capitao instead of Grim, to be honest. Capitao can flush out the AK's position. It's also a better clash counter. I mean, it's easy because we see the comp. I don't know if Weibo did enough advanced droning and prep phase to see the exact comp.
You've lost a lot of drones, so I hope you saw a lot. But yeah,
on the Warden.
the big issue to start things off is going
We
to
need
be
to see
forced to
Kino
clash
just
and main
like at least
staircase.
like
Kino
3,
and Warden
you know?
C4 to support him.
Get
What
him
teams
going.
often do is the Clash
Get
going to
him-
try
get
and
him with
start a fight,
something.
slow the attackers down with sapping them, and a C4 from downstairs to try and get a kill. If DC finds any kill that goes untraded, that is the strat working out to perfection. That's what they're aiming for with the setup.
Nitro could win a freebie here onto Halvin. Kino is allowed to play so aggressively here, looking for his first kill of the game still, but yeah, he is forced back, targeted by the Deimos. Now the worry is the pre-play C4s if you're Weibo. J90 and Kino both have chances to try and land shots with them.
Okay, so
Playing back,
step
playing
one
bodies.
is cleared. They got a bit of
But
breaching
it's
done as
truth.
well. Second step here, right?
They wanna
Because
break
you
the wall.
got the Deimos and Solid Snake, I feel like you're forced to try and take some fights on blue and go for backstab like Tursty did last time, because how can you go for a 4-man kitchen execute like DC did with this lineup? Not to be.
Ooh, Nitro
How do you take third tunnel? Not easily because there's no shield. C4
Good
goes
Nitro?
out, could find these strings. Oh, he stays alive.
He's 2 HP. He's literally
It's so
2
critical
HP.
that he stays alive there. If he had died, that would have also been his tin can opener with him, and this hatch not likely to get opened up. Final Nitro cell, wasted by
My type
Kino.
of Nitro right there.
As the ace opens up the triple wall, there is not a lot of safe positions here for DZ. Weibo now have a
Gotta go.
chance.
Okay.
That's
Goodbye,
the gap that I spoke about. Solid Snake, that's going to be a big win condition. The issue is you need to find the first kill.
Still
create the
5v5,
chaos on the
30
server,
seconds left.
Make DC spin around in circles looking for the angle to cover. Weibo, they have to find the first.
And the Clash marches on forward, but Kino has gone down to Gotti. Now looking for a big turnstile. Oh my god, he baits it! And now Weibo look to execute together. Turn has found another one. It's J90, the only one left.
Patience.
He's trapped at AKs. But the plan has not been confirmed as of yet. Does he know where that defuser is? It doesn't bloody matter!
Bro.
Reeps is there! A reprisal of form!
And we're
What is
here
Faults
at
doing?
break point, 5 rounds apiece.
What's Faults
Or
doing?
if you're Gohan and you're watching that round, you're thinking, if this doesn't work out, they didn't listen. But because it worked out, it's all okay. DC called their attack timeout.
Raptor side on this round. And then if we do go back to basement, did he print off the fucking fake roam for us?
Yeah, I think we have it.
Let's go cash and let's go back into the fake roam after that. Slow them down a little bit off their clear. They already think we're roaming shot, so.
Third.
DZ's just kind of being dumb.
Little simple A rounds, all it is. They're just dropping hatches and flying down staircases and shit. Just call it crosses. Simple.
I don't know what Faults was wanting to do with that
for
clash.
The
I really don't.
What is our hardest Raptor strat? It's just like base, master contest, yeah? And then Bayou get in there?
We have the cash ratatouille prep, where I hide in there.
Yeah, let's do that.
I love hearing the call-out adaptations there for the side, just kind of making it very simple for Weibo are trying to accomplish, right? They're flying down hatches, flying down staircases, and that is the view of what happened if you're against them. But if you're watching from our perspective, like, they had no other choice because they kind of scuffed themselves in the operator lineup to begin with. I am very curious, though, if Weibo will make that adaptation and go and call break the bunker.
Dude, I don't know,
because
man.
they could get baited otherwise.
Bro, Kino's 0-9.
The big adaptation for that round from Weibo, while they didn't counter the power positions like AKs, which ended up being the last player alive, by the way, the critical thing was hard breach, right? Having that ace in the lineup, having that bandit and Kai banned. If there was a Tubarao that round, I think it would have been a completely different story.
Yeah.
But of course, the thing that was called there by DZ in that tactical timeout was this cash round, right? And they were talking about a particular strat. I didn't hear the details of it, but
fake roam?
No, that was for the next round.
Okay.
So they said if we lose cash, regardless of what happens in this round, next round we go to a fake roam. So keep that in the back of your mind. There will be a fake roam next round, unless if DZ change their minds.
The biggest thing for me though was Weibo's ability in the chaos to calculate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I feel
who's
like
gonna
if
make
Kino
the play, right?
can get
Turns
it
the walks
done.
down blue, baits the clash in, drop the hatch, get the kill while the tech from Motor Thor. Yeah. The fact that they can navigate the chaos of that end round is why they're currently
If
sitting
Kino
on 5-5.
can just get one kill
the APAC region,
in any round, PZ will win it.
Souffle and Pika and all the Daystar boys, all the Souls Heart and Orchid boys, they used to Chaotic Siege.
So I think right now, I mean, look at the attacking lineup. This is exactly what Gohan wanted. Breaking the bunker. You got the Capitao. You got the Thatcher. There's no more wall denial on the breach here, but there are 4 impact grenades. This is where you would want the Thermite Hibana, but they both been bent away. Look at the value here. Impact goes out. And all of a sudden, you have a really bad prone hole and a really bad standing hole to peek through. There is a third Selma pocket, but guess what? There are also 2 more impact grenades. And that means that's all.
Well, you also wanted the
Selma
Selma to get the garage wall,
you
too.
You cannot go for a can opener for Hobbit because, well, it's exposed now. So this just means that you can't enter from the breach, you can still peek through it. But it also means that if there's no attackers on it, and you patch up the hole in the Sami Keeper barrier, it's just fake pressure doesn't exist anymore. So just late round watch for that.
I do wonder as well if there's a chance later for the Selma to detonate. Indeed there is, so there you go. Problem solved for Weibo. They are able to have an entry into the bomb site, and now they target the players and the utility that remains.
That's right, but I think that garage wall is double reinforced.
Leading to catwalk rafters. If they want to go for a garage attack, they're gonna have to brute force it. Garage door, bottom garage breach. There are 2 catwalk players. Okay, Jaina and Noah is playing in that position together with Newers. One by the window,
double reinforced.
one by rafters position 2.
Newers is just hiding.
And right now they're committed. Look at the player lineups. They're on the garage door. They're downstairs. They have to make this entire round work off catwalk. If they clean both kills, it will be free.
The EMP comes out, though. That might enable the fire from the Capitao to go out into the first position, which is on to Newers, who's trying desperately to look for a peek. They haven't landed the shots as of yet. Out comes the first fire. But that's the last of them. And Faults finds one. The jump out doesn't work for Faults. Unnecessary pressure from DC.
Why did Faults jump out?
Weibo with the
Faults,
exchange.
what are you doing?
Going down, but at the price of 2.
Maybe lead catwalk now. There are players stalking catwalk rafters. No, they're going to commit to it, actually. They thought it was clear, but it's not.
Newers. He might have just given a lifeline over to Dark Zero. Hoven takes the 1v1. There were no Selmas left for Speakeasy to try and breach that catwalk wall. There's actually no rotate as well. This is a critical moment.
The timing.
If Gotti can find that kill, what else can't he do? It's now up to DZ. Kino with 0 kills, Newers with 10 to clutch up and prevent Weibo from stealing the match point they thought was rightfully theirs.
The no garage is clear because Newers is downstairs, so they can take that control, but there's almost no time left.
Yeah, there's literally no time. Who was bombed? The Thatcher has bombed, so he's got to drop it from across. Who's holding it right here? That's bomb. Wow, wow.
DZ might have had the numbers advantage.
Did you really like that? Even if they get garage, they can't do anything with it.
All they needed to do was prevent the plant. And
they impact trick the aces on the breach. Now you gotta waste. Now you gotta. Oh my gosh! Now you gotta waste that one ace to make sure you can actually walk
Such
through.
a small detail, right?
The
Thatcherian piece, they were sapping
CC breach.
they were sapping the Jaeger ADSs, but there was one that went unsapped.
And Newers, I really like that play.
That first Carrots of Fire arrow, it was spot on. And then they're gonna have a player on the outside breach.
Kino gonna kill? Oh, Kino was the L. Oh shoot, let's go.
At the same
Hell
second, the ADS
finally,
the
I told you.
arrow,
So Kino gets a kill to open the round.
That's a winning microplay there from
Both
DC.
playing aggressive for no reason. Promo, I think this whole match he's been playing really aggressive, and I'm not used to seeing him play really aggressive.
DC, they said,
but
guys, now we're making it
he's paying for it. Volts is genuinely paying for it.
That is the fact that
the hop out from breach was really unnecessary.
That was only a single reinforcement.
It was that round before with flash. Really unnecessary.
This is so hard because
he just put his flash down. Someone dropped on him.
Wanted the boys to break apart the bunker, and this is maybe where the one weakness
now
of APAC comes to shine through. You get zero practice in domestic play at that setup because they don't play that style in the majority of APAC games, especially in Asia.
This is a really good series too. Like the game, the next game was supposed to start right now.
Out of their comfort zone, out of their practice
really
element.
good.
Look at how they attack the basement attack. Pure chaos,
he's winning, which means it
gunfighting,
doesn't matter, but this match means so much he has to lock. I think he understands that. He'll understand that now.
And now we get to see DZ show us the fake row.
I'm pretty sure DZ is going to play a lot more bodies this round, obviously.
At the moment, it's not looking particularly fake. There is Newers all the way upstairs, the top fragger for DZ. He's fallen back to stage, and he might be about to come back to the bomb side as well. He can continue using his gadget, however. The Solid Snake on the other side will be soft countered by the Vigil, but can still allow a lot of map control to be taken here for Weibo.
It's all about trying to bait him in right now. They know roughly where each other are attacking or defending from. And Newers has been so good today, especially on layer, playing that 4+1 strat of just doing his own solo roam game. And I think they both roughly have an idea, but he can be scored back by Force with a pre-fire action. But these turns are getting good value by effectively doing nothing, just waiting for the gunfight that will never come his way.
And this fake roam is working. You can see the mute jammers have really stalled out the droning on the top floor. Also, Speakeasy's onto his shield.
I know what they go and say. Do not hide behind the shield. You pick for it, you're gonna get in there, you're gonna fight, you're gonna get intel, be in the front lines. Right now, he was on the roof for half the round, only just entering gym after his teammates droned the majority of it for him.
He said, if you're on the shield, I don't want to see you droning. It has been a slow round from Weibo. The only saving grace will be their explosivity in the late round.
This is such a hot round if you're a pro player. I've been here myself before. Timer's ticking down every second. You feel the pressure.
Dude, this fake roam is genuinely working.
Which would be historic for your
one
region.
Hatch open. Haven't even gotten the kitchen hatch, right?
Increasing. They expect to qualify for majors. They expect to go to players. They expect to now start breaking into top 4 territory. And to do it against DC, who just came off a major victory. Historic for the players. First time for everyone but Speakeasy. And Gohan would be so proud. And it's gonna come down to this. Impact trading 5v5 in the basement. C4 goes out. Impact grenade as well, denying the hard destruction. Combined with the Hibana ban from earlier, it makes this attack fall apart in the late round before we even get there. There are
40 seconds, kitchen hatch isn't open. Nerves are definitely getting to him. This fake roam works. Kitchen hatch isn't open.
They're flipping it again. The issue is, this is the third time
kitchen is not open. What?
Where Tursta goes down blue, where somebody follows on the hatch, they go down Hobbit main staircase, and they drop Moto. They've shown this twice already.
It has to work. It's go big or go home now for Weibo Gaming as the major champs.
Oh,
sit back,
first
relax,
pick,
and
Newers.
Oh,
traded back.
Nope. Needs to double up, but he can't do so as of yet, and he's trapped. Speakeasy, good for one. Traded back again. It's Reaps.
What is happening? What is happening, Reaps, with everything on the line? Oh my gosh. What's up, Paul? At the end of the day, Promo's right. The nerves got to them. The team with more experience wins that.
Round for the fans of Weibo
Wow.
Gaming, but a DC that holds on strong, unbreakable mental, well prepared, going to every single map.
This good game, it was a really good game. Like DZ definitely, it's insane.
And against it.
Props to Weibo. Props to Weibo. Props to Reeves.
DZ called it perfectly. 2 rounds prior, call out says 2 rounds from now, we're gonna go for our fake roam, and that fake roam baited
Weibo, of course. No. They should be proud. Obviously, you're not proud of losing, right? But in general, they should be proud. That was a really good. That was a really good series. I mean, they gave him a run for the money.
Is a resounding success here.
And I low-key thought Weibo might take this map too, you know?
They will knock Weibo out of the tournament, and with that, APAC's hopes of making a semi-final.
It's incredible how this game between APAC and NA, a team that just barely makes top 8 events versus a major champion, came down to strategy, depth, adaptation, going to a map like Clubhouse as a decider, and it being a close affair on all
Did you
3
see how much
maps.
time is
there
left?
There are
Because
no
I might take
landslide
a
victories. They're clutch on
like a
both sides.
5-minute break.
There was a bit of an upset, starting off strong there for Weibo. But DC in the
Wildcard and
end,
Fury should be at map 3. Definitely. I'm excited for that game.
Definitely. Look, I want to.
But you know how you know what they do? They're gonna finish talking about the game and everything, and they're gonna give us a 30-minute break.
Were very rough around the edges, but they got 3 attacks here on Clubhouse because they brought out pocket strat after pocket strat. And even though Weibo
That was a good whatever it was.
in the series, it doesn't matter how convincing each round is.
It was a good call from Callout. Really good call from
on
him.
each map. And
The fake roam got him. It really did.
For a second map in a row, DZ will knock them from the tournaments and continue marching towards that ever-elusive trophy.
what did Iconic send at desk? Being the first game sets the tone for playoffs. How about that? How about setting that kind of tone?
It's certainly a massive statement for Dark Zero. Let's hear from someone who's won the last 2 majors over on the stage.
Yes, my friends, I'm here with our victors, Dark Zero, and it's Kino. Joining me here for a
Who's on wild card? Spiker, Bay.
Against Weibo. You're trying to slow things down. You're banning hard breachers. You're trying to make it difficult for
I
them
don't know
to
why they're the
roam
only
around.
ones. Spiker,
Was that the
Bay,
plan from the
Baby
start?
Shark.
Yeah, it's the plan on these maps like Clubhouse, Nighthaven.
Let me get the rest.
When they ban
Adrian.
the Bandit, the Cade, the Mira, and they have all the hard breach out, the Thermite, they're ripping all the walls. It's pretty hard to defend. So.
Is something to slow it down for you? Is this something that you
Kenzen,
noticed that
Adrian, Bay,
Weibo later
Baby
in
Shark,
a
and
round will
Spiker.
stall
And the
out
coaches,
for
the
time,
Goonies.
and that's something that you can play to your advantage?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was part
The
of the
Baby
game
Shark's
plan.
the only good one?
When
Nah,
they're
nah,
very
nah,
slow,
nah,
their
nah,
executes
don't think
were
about that,
not the
don't think
best,
about
even though like they had some really good executes today. So
I feel like they're all
that was the game
good.
plan.
An overall great game between both of you. We have to say it. It got tight a lot of times, especially map 1. There were some things to think about. You're going back. You're now not just the player, but the team with the most experience. You got call out behind you as well. When you're in a moment where you have to
How
come
did
back,
Bay
what
make
goes
PL?
into your mind? Because you got young gunners on the other side
idea.
that are hungry for semifinals
But
and more.
he's doing pretty good.
We're super present
You know?
on this team. We're not really thinking about the score. I mean, and if you do, any team, that goes for any player. If you're looking at the score, you're down, you're looking at scoreboard, all that, like it's gonna get in your head. You're gonna play worse.
So you don't have high
And it doesn't
hopes for
help.
wildcard?
So
Nah,
I just
I
look at
think
the group,
wildcard.
we all laugh,
Wildcard
we all
won
have fun,
NA.
and that's what matters.
Their last
Heard
stage.
is what I keep hearing.
You know, they
from
were
the
number
team.
1.
We're
They
all
beat.
locked in together in your
Who did they
tactical
beat? They
timeouts,
beat M80,
especially now.
actually?
This is the
Did they beat them, or
quarterfinal.
did
You've
they
been in
beat
this
M80?
position before, and you advance to semis. The option is Furia or an all NA matchup. The top 2 teams in North America, Dark Zero, Wildcard. What do you expect to see, and what do you really want to see then?
I expect to see a good game, for sure. 2 really good teams. And what I want to happen, it really does not matter. We're just here to play, and we're just going to do our thing regardless of the opponent.
So far, so good. But actually, you know one thing, our good friends over at the Chess broadcast were saying that the crowd here at Rainbow Six is getting a bit too loud for them. So how about we make Chess hear just a little bit how loud we could get at Rainbow Six on 3, Dark Zero. 1, 2, 3.
Bay on stage? Is that how?
We'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, Dark Zero.
I'll say the team surrounding him is really good. Remember, Adrian came from Secret.
Dark Zero, come here. It's time
The
to
Secret
crush
roster
some
that
keys, and
won
really,
EWC,
it's Weibo on the other side. Do you want to crush a Kino, or do you want
last
one
year?
of your teammates to go for it?
Actually, I want NJ
Is
Yar
that
to do
Tens?
it.
No, it's Kino.
You don't seem too excited about it. Why? Come on in.
Or are you
Let's
talking about
go,
somebody in
let's
the
go
crowd?
together. Why?
That wasn't in the crowd.
Where's the hesitation?
I don't think you want my answer.
Let's get this one open. It's our doors, and it's our crusher. I'm going to call her
Oh, now how's
Gertrude
Angela,
for
bro?
today. Please come on in.
In the crowd?
Our
Dude, I
key
didn't see it,
master
man.
here will tell you where to go. We'll guide
I
you
didn't see it.
through. Dark Zero
Also,
have
Jose,
been in this
TikTok
position time
banned
and
my,
time again. And this year,
what did they do? They
they've done
restricted
it in
my,
Salt Lake City, here to make it to the semifinals.
whatever it was.
They crushed Weibo and the
No, you're
Asia
good,
Pacific
Jose.
Hawks,
I'm
and
mad.
they're down to nothing.
They restricted something. Like, people can't discover it anymore. It's
That's
not on the For
Weibo
You page.
despite all their best efforts. Dark Zero advance, and now it's time to tell what really happened in the game with our one
Why
take
be
it away.
for like reproduce content? They don't like. They don't like what's it called? They don't like you doing watch
One
parties and
story
stuff.
can continue, and it was not the side of Weibo Gaming that would see their
It's the
first
AI.
semifinal. They'll have to
That's
wait
all.
another day as their key is crushed in typical esports World Cup fashion. It would be Dark Zero who would claim the next step, next part of the evolution of this playoff.
But it's fine
we'll see
because
how
I think
that
we get like a
continues on,
15 to 20
but
minute
from
break before
Kino's
the next game.
words and the
So
rest of DZ,
I'm gonna
they
end my
say they are
live,
staying
fill up on some
present.
water,
They're
maybe
not
eat something,
worried
and I'll be
about the
back to
future, and I
watch.
love that approach as we come back
Superior
to the
versus
desk.
Wildcard.
Iconic and Alphama. This
Interesting
is
game.
one
Gonna
of
go to
those
match three for
games that
sure.
went down to the wire. I think both
And
teams can
Promo can
probably
see
be
if
happy with
they
what they did today.
is truly an
Obviously,
L on
Weibo
stage.
going home would have wanted a different result, but you know
Yo,
they
Mac
mentioned
Clone.
it. 4 flawless rounds,
Yeah,
took
I
them to a
didn't- I
third
didn't- I
map.
didn't see
I mean, it was a decent performance that could have ended up in a win. They just didn't have what it took to get past easy in the end.
And of course, I feel like too, it's very important stepping stones. You know, look at the course of a year. It's not about one event, but about how you can just really fuel your year and kind of go from event to event and learn how to improve. And that was really a great showing that they're building that resilience, that great mental fortitude.
But
But like all
loses
great
this game
things,
for them.
it takes
You're a
time.
real
And you can't really
Bay
put
hater,
a
huh?
timer on it. You just have to kind of
That
go through it
sucks.
as a team and
What
go
did Bay
through
do
those
to
losses
What did
and
Bay
learn from
do
it.
to you?
I think the result was expected, but the way it happened was unexpected. I think that's the biggest takeaway, right? We expected that DZ are going to be the heavy favorites. They're going to win this matchup. We expected that Weibo, they've always
let's
struggled
actually
to
take
get
a
to
look
the
at the
semifinals.
bracket,
It's always going to
since
be
these guys are yapping.
a big question for them. Can they actually beat one team of the top 4 to make the top 4? I think they had it in them. I'm not going to lie. I think even if you look at that last map, how close it was, a 5-7 loss. And once again,
tomorrow
Reeves,
we'll see
being
DZ
the
go up
best rated
against
player.
Wildcard or Furia.
I think
I'm
overall,
low-key thinking Furia could
I think
win,
we can be proud of the
but I'm
performance
gonna go
of
with
Weibo.
Wildcard.
We've seen the evolution from that
But
team.
whoever
They're getting
wins
closer
this
and closer
game
every single time. They've added a new
should make
player
it to the major,
to the
or should make
lineup.
it to the grand final.
And once again,
And then tomorrow,
DZ in
FaZe
terms of
Planet.
mental,
This
they
is so
have to be
free
that
for
one
FaZe.
team that has the.
That's so.
I don't know. They have that magic in them that the comeback is always possible for these guys. They always believe. They never look at the score.
Years of
Listen,
Bay
someone who,
rankings.
again, I'll say this phrase a couple of times over this week. You'll hear it the eye test,
All right,
right?
watch like we go up against
basically,
Frozen,
what do you
right?
see and
Be
what's the
pretty nice.
takeaway without doing too much analytics? They have a great mentality, but not just in terms of executing, in terms
I
of
look masculine.
realizing what is their responsibility, but also
I'm a
Iconic,
man,
realizing
bro.
what
Like,
isn't their
I'm
responsibility.
gonna
You've
look
played with
masculine.
these guys quite often. You know, you were excited to see some of your former teammates be successful, but the way that they're successful, it's not like every single esport athlete, even in R6, but across all esports, has that same mentality.
And of course, you see how important it is just staying in the present moment, because that's all we really do have. You know, that's why they call it the present. It's a gift. And being there, anything is possible to make sure you can actually take those steps forward as a team and not really feel that pressure mounting upon you. And, you know, we'll try to pin narrative towards them, pin expectations on them, but
you pin that
your
comment, yo.
expectations,
Appreciate
they try
it,
to
son.
put the limit on it, and they don't have a limit. They just go out there, have fun, and that will just give them just a endless product.
Well, we set up two narratives coming into this. Alphama, you raised the question, can North America do it back-to-back? That's the challenge for you. You know they've won, they've been in the mix, but can they do it twice? Now Dark Zero continue on that journey.
Yeah, can they build that legacy? I think the answer is yes. I think that they're not feeling the expectations. That's the biggest thing. I think many people would feel the pressure looking at a scoreboard, or you looking at your achievements. You'd feel like we've won the last major. Everyone expects us to be the best team coming at the EWC, and we need to be that best team. I think DZ they don't think that way, and they are probably one of the only teams, if not the only teams, that think that way. Let's not think about us winning EWC. Yeah. Let's take not even every match by match. Let's take it round by round, and like you said, be in the present. And that just speaks a lot about that team's mentality. That's unlike any other in our scene.
You kind of set up a story, and I think this was important, about how they ran out of options towards the end. And even Kino was mentioning that, you know, they had some pretty good executes on the day, but they knew that that was maybe where the weakness would be. They took advantage of it. One player who was in the front to stop, I think, the momentum and stop the bleeding from when Weibo took that first map, and then was able to finish it off with that 1v1. Newers, who was the MVP of this matchup. Talk to me, Iconic.
I think
and
it should go to
Alpha
Reeks.
about
I'm not gonna lie to you, but you know what? Whatever.
that this
It
player
always got to go. It has to go to the winners, right?
I mean, going all the way back to Charlotte when he first made his debut, just been a player with immense impact no matter what team he's been on, and I'm just so glad to see him really finding the success, because he even said it when he joined this team that he didn't know how serious you could take this game until he was in the part of this system, and I feel like he's really getting the best and most consistent version of himself, and I'm just happy for him. Like the last major too, his grandma was there, they did a big chant, so I was very, very happy for him.
I think first thing first with Newer is that giving credit for firing up DZ. He's the one that wins the 1v3 on the very first map on map 2. He's the one that wins the clutch 2 in map 2. He's the one then that goes and gets multiple kills, multiple multi-kills on the last map as well, so that DZ takes the series. He was the one that was the entry, winning the opening engagements on the side of DZ, and in defense he was the time buyer. He was the one roaming and flanking in the last moment to win those moments where Weibo had great executes. So in my opinion, MVP by far, not only by the score, but of actually the impact he had in the game.
An incredible clutch, a lot of moments that I said stop the bleeding. Alphama just said also save the day for this team. Dark Zero probably couldn't have done it without Newer's heroics. However, on the other side, to every victory there is a loss. There's a defeat that hopefully is learned from. We have a chance to talk to Speakeasy about falling to Dark Zero here in the playoffs.
Don't even talk to Speakeasy.
We're talking to Speakeasy after our elimination. Unfortunate result here. My first question for you would be, did you expect to play Lair today?
Yes, we prepped 4 maps: Chalet, Lair, Labs, and Club. And I mean, if you look at that, we kind of won the build.
This has got to be brutal for them.
Game.
I mean, that's my main question about the second map as well. You got really close to an overtime. What do you think went wrong on that map?
I think it's just the attacks that
you
tried
said
to lead
me?
with the guys. Like
Nah,
it doesn't
I'm
work
good.
well. And also understanding like their win con. I tried to play with the shields, but I think DZ did a great job countering me. I think, yeah, props to them.
And what do you then talk about after map 2 to get the momentum back and the vibes back from map 3 as well?
We just talk about like the pressures on them, and you know, and we're just here to play our game. And yeah, I think we just need to keep our mental high, and I think we showed that like really well.
That's really good. It's very impressive as well. And I think, I'm not sure if you heard it, but it really seemed like the crowd was on your side today here. So anything you want to say for the fans after their support in this tournament?
Thank you to the fans like all around the world, and I see like there's like at least 15 like Weibo fans, and thank you for coming and watching us. And I promise like we will try to do a lot more than just top 8.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, and best of luck for stage 2. We'll send it back to you, the studio, for now.
Gotta be brutal. Gotta be brutal.
Well, thanks,
I mean, dude,
Weibo
that guy had a
and
little
Speakeasy saying that they're
had
going to
some
do a
tears
little bit
coming
better
out.
next time they come
That's
out. But I know
brutal.
the fans back at home watching, and the fans, he was right, filling up these stands are happy with what they've done, and will continue to support them. Gentlemen, as we kind of transition from this match
there's a
to
lot
our
of people in
second
the
series of the
stands,
day,
man.
some closing thoughts and takeaways from what we've seen so far. Dark Zero moving on.
I feel like this game was a great example of what EWC can bring in terms of rivalries and competitions. We've just seen 2 of the biggest regions face each other, the Titan of Asia facing the Titans of NA, and that was only quarterfinals. It went all the way to a 3rd map. We had multiple clutches. We had a lot of emotions and a lot of fans here in the crowd already.
Yeah.
And that's only the first day of playoffs, so that gets me excited for the rest.
I think mentality is king right now, especially this long tournament. You have to make sure that you're really able to push it over the finish line. And I feel like this going into this next series, Fury versus Wildcard, I mean, I'm excited for both. Speaking to both teams, they seem ready for it, ready to go out for the challenge, and it's going to be a bloodbath.
If it's anything like this one, we are going to have a show on our hands as well. Make sure you get your pick'ems in, because at the Esports World Cup, you have a chance to choose whether you believe a team is going to win or not, and earn your share of prizing, which is a great opportunity for you to also just get some bragging rights, say, I got this, I got that. I also was right about something. For those of you who picked Weibo, you were close, but it was DZ. So we'll see if maybe you can get on the right side of the pick here with Wildcard and Furia coming up next in our schedule. These 2 teams about to go head to head to finish off our series of the day. All right, coming up in just a moment, we'll have our final series. As I mentioned, Wildcard and Fury about to take the stage, but until then, we've got a treat for you. It's Pengu's Confessions, so stay tuned.
Pengu's Confession.
If any of you have been watching some of the other broadcasts over the last 5 weeks, you know exactly what this is. You are, unfortunately, well, you are the guinea pig this week for Pengu's Confessions.
My confessions?
Confessions,
okay,
yes.
what am I confessing to?
Well, Let's find out.
It's boring.
You know, these
I'm
are
not gonna
actually
lie to
pretty
you.
good. We've had some very, very tame weeks on this.
Okay.
Everyone's like, we work with a couple of companies that don't let you kind of say things. Now, these are a lot better than that. So,
loose lips.
well, I mean, you got to kind of, you'll be fine. Anyway, so let's look back at some of your earlier days, Pengu. So, looking back at it between 2016 and 2019, what percentage of your old behavior would you now class as competitive passion, and what percentage was you being an
Percentages, yeah?
Well, I mean, we can chat
So
about it.
there's two versions of this, right?
Okay.
There's the one where I'm going to be like defending myself, and I'll say 50-50.
Okay.
Not accurate whatsoever, by the way. Honestly, I'm going to have to go 80% being an absolute
Yeah, no, that's fair then.
and 20 is passion.
I need to look back at some of this because I'm actually all for the toxicity. I'm actually game.
You're all for, I mean, you're a COD kid, right? So
Yeah,
you would
well,
understand.
exactly. Yeah, no, so we can cook on that. Yeah, absolutely. At what point are you actually planning on getting a driver's license, or is it just somebody else's problem?
Oh my God. Okay, listen, everyone bothers me about the driver's license constantly, but get it, right? We have a great life here. We have shuttle transport. I live in Denmark with public transportation available for a cheap cost, etc. But I did
Cheap
get a
cost
house
in Denmark in the same sentence.
comparatively to getting a car, right?
Fair.
But I did get a house earlier this year. And I went to IKEA a couple of times, and I had to beg people, can you please drive me there? Get for me. So honestly, 2027, a goal for a driver's license.
Yeah, no, I had that problem, you know, having to drive around, but I was also like 17, so.
I'm 28.
Be honest, what is more satisfying, winning a major or getting a really good photo of a bird?
I only won one major.
Okay.
I've taken many photos of birds.
Okay.
Over that long stretch of time, I think I've gotten more satisfaction from the bird photos.
Yeah.
If it's 1-to-1, go to the major.
Got to be the major. What's the best bird photo you've had?
Oh my God! So it's actually of a shoebill, African stork.
Okay.
It's in the zoo in Tokyo, and it's basically an animal that almost doesn't exist at any zoos in the world.
Oh, the shoebill's the one with the huge
beak,
and they like clap it together and all that.
It
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
like a gun firing.
I know exactly what he
it's a
means.
crazy bird, beautiful, looks very dangerous.
Yes. No, they are dangerous though, aren't they? Like,
wouldn't know.
Wouldn't know.
But they look dangerous.
Okay. Have you packed,
Chris?
Have you packed more than one pair of socks for this event?
I have.
Okay.
But I will say there has been a couple of it. Oh my God, that's why this question is from. Oh my God, yeah. There's been events in the past where I would just bring the pair that I arrived in, realize 3 days in, that's the only pair that I have.
Yeah, that's
And guess what I did?
What'd you do?
I just stuck it out.
Oh, you just
One
filmed it?
One pair for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks?
But that's how the long events last for, Chris.
You don't get them, even sync wash them or anything?
No, because the thing is, I was 23 years old. I was a gamer.
That's fair.
And if there's no mom around, there's no laundry around. But now that I'm 28, I've learned, and I bring more than I need.
Well, that wasn't too bad.
It could have been worse.
That could have been.
It could have been
worse. I need to
It can always get worse.
I need to delve a little bit more than the rest of the week. Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. That wasn't too bad.
Everyone is playing, you're not yet. EWC Play is your all-in-one platform to compete in fantasy, pick'em, and quests for a grand total of $300,000 in prize pool. Build your dream fantasy team in 5 different games and track your score with live results tables. Predict the winner of every game, every group stage, and every tournament. Complete daily and weekly challenges to earn boosters that help you climb the global leaderboard. Got what it takes? Join EWC Play now.
An update from the Gidea City Grid, a big moment in the club championship. A game that AJL were looking towards to not even just pick up points, but to go far in. Hasn't went well.
Did not go well at all. I think a little bit of an upset for them in that regard. Had 2 opportunities in those last 2 matches to get 12 points. It was a very doable point gap, but they weren't able to manage it. Ended up getting pushed by Nongshim Red Force, and at the end of the day, they couldn't stand up against them.
And that's a conversation, I mean, we were just having off camera, how that's a big moment for AGL, or one that they would have probably banked on picking something up in, and now all of a sudden the rest of their week kind of looking for them is realistically down to something potentially in chess or potentially in weeks gone by. This is a big moment for Falcons to retake the lead, right?
Absolutely. I think that they were banking on at least a top 8 finish, a couple extra additional points when it comes to CC leaderboard, maintaining that first place spot for a little bit longer, and now they're gonna have to work even harder if they want to stay up there.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Well, we'll be keeping up to date throughout the rest of the week with you, Lauren, of course. When we get into the latter stages, see how things go. Thank you very much, guys. Back to you.
We were there for every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind, and we're here now. The proud founding partner of EWC, powering the biggest event in gaming, shoulder to shoulder with the world's best, making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion, reach your impossible.
Welcome back to the Lenovo Legion Gauntlet. We've had so much action already. It feels like we've got a full day of R6. But no, there's one more series to come, and it is not one you want to miss. Basically, the top performing team of the tournament wildcard about to take on some serious fan favorites in Furia who are already making some noise in our stands. So it's going to be an exciting one. My name is Rain Day. Welcome back to the panel. I'll be joined by some familiar and, well, no, they're just familiar faces. They just one hasn't been here for the first set. Laxing back. I'm sure you guys love seeing him here. We're going to get his analysis and Alphama again to join us. Laxing, since you didn't get a chance to talk about that first series, I know you're watching. What's the takeaway, man?
I mean, I think you guys broke it down very well. It was a very good series. It had to go with the third map, and that's always what we love to see in Siege. Now, you know, some of those games can get a little grueling, but it was how close it was with each and every single one of those maps. And for DZ to be able to close out, especially on a map like Clubhouse, I mean, we talk about this as the very default map. It's the gauntlet. It's the Coliseum, essentially. You have to win off based-off fundamentals. And for Dark Zero to close it out the way they did, it really speaks into their fundamentals and mentality.
I just love
I warned you.
The reason he's smiling has nothing to do with what he's saying. It's the drums, it's the band that is behind us now.
I just love that we brought the loudest analyst on the desk. At the moment where they started kicking off the drums, obviously you guys are picking us up. You remember EWC 2025?
Yes. I was down there.
You remember Furia and their drums and their fans, and Brazil is here in Paris with those fans.
Brazil.
I just love it.
Come on, man. Let's go.
Vamos Brazil.
Vamos Brazil. Toc la bola. That's what I know, because I was over there playing some soccer. Man, 20 years ago. Can you believe it? That's when I was over there. Big shout out Fluminense. Big shout out my Brazilian people as well. Got a lot of Brazilian talent managers also. So, you know, Abner, Norton, Gio, we got to send love to you guys.
Last time Fury and Wildcard faced each other, Wildcard 2-0.
Storylines to say, even though we've got drums as well. And that's why we want to introduce our PS5 story of the day. Wildcard. From wildcard to favorites. Talk to me about that.
I mean, when you just look at the progression of this team and where they've been, they came into 2025 kind of as a wild card, essentially, and their first event was Reload. It was kind of a little bit of a goofy event, fun format, but a lot of people kind of wrote them off as like, okay, you know, this was an event for everyone to kind of just get a feel of the water, see what they look like, but wildcard inevitably ends up making, close to a grand final, semifinal finish, but everyone wrote them off. It was kind of like, oh, that was a fluke event. They aren't going to be able to replicate it, but since then, they've been able to replicate a main stage appearance at every single event since that 2025 Reload. Wow.
It's a a beautiful story, I think, of the grassroots system that we have, and young players coming out of NA, out of nowhere. Spiker, IGLing youngest IGL.
Youngest IGL, yeah.
Youngest IGL in the world. And just coming here and IGLing to a crazy level, base, surprising everyone.
Yeah.
Players that came out of nowhere in NA just simply started attending STR events and making impressive records every single time. They just never got to the point where we believed they could make a grand final. And I think after what they've shown in the last few months, they might just now have become, instead of wildcards, favorites.
I agree. Wow. I love that. Well, the PS5 story is set up perfectly by our analysts there. Laxing Alphama talking a little bit about what this team can bring. You mentioned Bay. He has the highest player rating coming into this playoff run. Also undefeated so far, which is an incredible, just little star to add to already a great performance.
Again, it's exactly what you want out of these players, and Bay being one of their top fraggers, essentially their entries, to be able to be putting up the numbers that he does. I mean, that's the confidence you want. You heard him in his interview where they got into the playoffs. His mom was flying all the way over here. We have a lot of their parents in the crowd. We have Baby Shark, a French living here. He has his family here, so they have all the support of their family here. And I'm telling you, to not only be able to feed off the crowd and the energy there, but you have your mom in the crowd, you have your sister, your brother, your dad. I mean, that really sparks and ignites a fire from underneath you.
I mean, when you look at the recent results of this team, there's a reason we're talking about them, whether you just look at the group stages and how they've done, but you had kind of touched on this. Laxing Alphama, obviously, since Reload, they have been nearly unstoppable in reaching the playoff rounds for every tournament.
Yeah, they've been unstoppable. They've always made main stage. And the biggest question is that form. It's the momentum, right? And the fact that they reached Salt Lake City without playing with Adrian, their main recruit from EML during the 2026 Mercato after SI. And now they have it. Now they're with Adrian. And finally, for the first time ever, they win the NAL Stage 1. And that's the biggest thing to me, Lax. They won NAL. They are undefeated in this tournament. They look unstoppable across the last 3 months.
And that's the thing. They always were met by some sort of threshold, whether it was a top 6, top 4, top 8, and then even domestically, right? They were never that good domestically. They were always kind of 3rd, 4th. They would squeak into an event, but then they would always be the best coming into the event from North America. But this is the first time where they are managed to get first place and actually taste that victory. And then you see the performance and the level of tenacity that they bring into each and every single one of these matches. It's hard not to believe in this team.
Is it going to be a big break
got something going for it, whether you've been watching them in the group stages, where you've seen their run over this last year, winning NAL coming into this. Wildcard have been phenomenal. You talk about Bay's performance, but maybe even looking deeper at Adrian, a champion himself, who had a chance to catch up with Ann before the match.
We're speaking to Adrian from the game today. Now, Adrian, you guys got to pick with Wildcard, and you picked Furia. Do you feel like there's a specific reason that you picked Furia?
There's definitely a specific reason, but I'm not the person to know it. That's all up to Lagonis, the coach, and Spiker mostly as the captain and IGL. I'd assume they saw something or just have a game plan in mind before, and they chose them over Weibo.
All right, awesome. Well, you've had a really dominant tournament so far. You've only showed us like 3 maps as well. Do you feel like we're going to see new things from you guys in the playoffs?
Definitely new things. There'll definitely be new things. We don't like to keep the same.
It's awesome. I think Wildcard has had some really good, consistent international results. There's just this one thing that's missing for you guys to reach the finals. Do you feel like you are that missing piece, or you think it could be something else?
I could be the missing piece. It could be something that I've brought in from Secret as well, or it's just something we've learned together as a team, I think. I don't think it's one specific thing, though. I think it'll be multiple things working out on the day throughout these next 4 days.
I mean, you are coming in as the EWC Championship defender. You were the MVP last year as well. Is that giving you any kind of motivation as well to perform even better this year?
I think the motivation's always there, but I think it helps me kind of guide the others, especially because this is their first EWC, so I can help them as well, kind of guide them what kind of goes on, how it's done, and how to kind of... I mean, they already know how to get into the top 4s and stuff. It's just that, I guess, extra little step as well, and I guess once we're there, I'll be able to help as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck with your game today.
Thank you as well.
Wildcard obviously coming in as potential favorites now, but Adrian himself, I mentioned champion, won this tournament last year on the side of Team Secret, recently acquired for Wildcard and helping them maybe push to that next level. And we're jamming again. You guys can see it in the background right there. They're having fun, man. I feel like I'm in Rio. I feel like I'm in Rio. Hopefully you guys hear it too. Okay, let's dive in a little bit onto this team who's making so much noise though, because I know we've talked about Adrian. We heard that interview. Now I want to switch gears towards Furia. What does this team look like for you? Where do they come in this?
I mean, I know Leo is looking at me because obviously he's surrounded by NA talent, and he always kind of gives us a little bit of crap because, you know, we're choosing our teams. But I got to give a lot of respect to Furia. I mean, this is a brand new team that just came into the SAL just this year. But when you have to look at the team, you have to look at some of the players. They have a world champion inside of Herds. They have two major champions, one's also being Herds, the other being Volps. And then you have to look at the runner-up from last year of Loira, who was on G2 that lost to Secret last year in the Esports World Cup. I mean, they have big names on this team, and this is their first international event, and they're on a main stage. They're on the up and up.
I'm gonna get your thoughts in just a second, but first I want to introduce the roster of Furia because we've got to get to it. This team comes in with experience. They come in with a bone to pick, trying to get themselves into a top 4. We have 2 other Brazilian teams that want to also be there with them and FaZe and Liquid. This is one of those teams, though, that you have to respect. We had a chance to speak with them before the game as well, and hopefully you can hear them a little bit better than I can hear right now.
We're speaking to Laura ahead of their game. Now, Laura, you guys got picked by Wildcard. What do you feel like was the reason they picked you instead of Weibo?
I think they picked us mainly because the teams expected us to be a little bit better at the beginning of the tournament, I guess, because we were good at the Brazilian League. So when they saw us not being that dominant on the first matches, I think they expect us to be worse than maybe Weibo or any other team. So that's the reason.
I want to talk about that a little bit more because you guys had some visa issues with Salt Lake City, like limited scrim time as well. Do you feel like this is a redemption for you guys so far? Is this a better representation of what Furia is?
Yeah, 100%. Like, we had a terrible preparation for Salt Lake City because of what you said, the visa problems. Like, we couldn't scrim for 1 or even 2 weeks before the tournament. So we were, like, slow. But now we had a great boot camp. We are in Paris for more than 2 weeks already, I think. So for sure, we are in a better shape, but still growing in international tournaments.
It's awesome. And you played the finals as well last year with G2. Is that giving you any kind of extra motivation to get there again and do a little bit better this year?
100%. Also, like, I always say I love EWC because of last year and also because it's summer. It's like nice vibes. So, of course, extra motivation. I want to be there in the final again, win this time. So, pretty confident.
And then speaking of the vibes, what are they like with Furia before the game today?
So good, so good. The vibes are always good. Also because we are a new team, like 6 months maybe we have. And the vibes are always good with this guy, so all good.
That's great. Sounds very good. Thank you for your time and good luck with the game.
Thank you.
It's summer in Paris, and it feels like summer in Rio as well at the same time. But Furia, Alphama, they feel confident and ready to go for this one.
Absolutely, and I have to say this is an important one for them, especially for one player on their side, and that is Hertz. Hertz, who won everything with the same roster. We think of Felipox, we think of Nate, we think of Casey, we think of these guys that he won everything with. Everyone abandoned him.
Dude, this is taking
after a
forever.
side.
I would have
All
thought
4
that
teammates. The brothers that
the game would have
he called
started
the family,
already.
all left and rebuilt everything with Liquid. He was left alone and he had to rebuild everything from scratch. Now is the time for him to prove on an international stage that he can reach the same heights without these guys, that he was the leader that they needed. And I think that overall,
Dude, I'm just gonna end it. I'm just gonna end it
Salt
and
Lake
then
City
start
was
it
a
right
fluke.
before the
They
game
struggled, they got grouped.
That way
This
we can get through all
time,
the
they had
yapping
the
and
boot
stuff.
camp. They've had a great SEL stage. You've mentioned it, Lax.